fiercely grabbed Hu Xian's head with both hands. Booming magnet. Hu Xian raised his hand and a bolt of lightning struck over. Lightning instantly covered the creature's entire body. Arcs flashed, but the creature was surprisingly fine. Light evolution. A beam of holy light from Bau hit the monster. A headless monster screamed in pain, white smoke coming out of its body. After a while, it collapsed to the ground and turned into a pile of ashes. This is an Undead creature, Bau said in a deep voice. Aren't we in the Death Desert? How come we ended up in such a strange city and encountered Undead creatures? Octilia said in a deep voice. No one knows what happened. Let's go, everyone has a high level of cultivation. There's no need to be afraid, Hu Xian said and walked forward. He firmly believed that weirdness and danger must be accompanied by great opportunities. Wang Xingyu and the others smiled bitterly even though they had become very powerful now. The fear in their hearts still existed after all, they were born on the earth of ordinary people. On the contrary, Shen Yuanian and the others were born in the genetic world and have been endowed with powerful strength since childhood. So they are more calm. Not far. Big brother, will you marry me? On the left, the locked door suddenly opened and a cold girl's voice was heard. Everyone subconsciously stopped and looked over. A woman dressed in red, with a veil, and looking like a bride came out. Judy and the others all frowned, wondering what tricks this weird bride would play next. Hu Xian remained calm, watching the bride come to him. The bride stopped at a distance of 1 step, and the cold voice rang out again. Big brother, will you marry me? Hu Xian asked, what are the benefits of marrying you? The other party was silent, as if he didn't expect that this guy was not afraid at all and actually asked for benefits. Even Nidier and the others behind him were speechless. It was the first time they knew Hu Xian was so bold. After a while, the strange bride said, if you marry me, I can bring you eternal life. Hu Xian asked curiously, and can you give birth to a baby for me? Chapter 273. Ghost Bride. The atmosphere fell into silence. Wang Xingyu and the others became nervous. They didn't expect that Hu Xian would even dare to tease the weird bride. After a long time, the strange bride said, you can do whatever you want. Will you marry me now? Hu Xian chuckled and said, no hurry, why don't we go to the bridal chamber first? He took a brave step forward and approached the strange bride. The two came into close contact. Wang Xingyu and the others were so nervous that their throats were at their throats. What's even more shocking is yet to come. Hu Xian slowly raised his hand and hugged the strange bride in his arms. The strange bride didn't seem to expect this to happen and didn't give birth for a long time. After 3 full minutes, a cold voice sounded, then carry me into the bridal chamber. Hu Xian thought, let me see what tricks you can play. Picked up the strange bride and walked into the house. Wang Xingyu was about to speak. However, Lian pulled her and shook her head at her. She firmly believed that Hu Xian must have his own purpose in doing this. A group of people waited patiently outside. In the room, Hu Xian held the strange bride in his arms and felt her getting heavier and heavier. Fortunately, it did not have much impact on him. He came to the quaint bed and put the strange bride down on the bed and sat down. Rubbing his hands, he said, my lady, a night of love is worth 1,000 gold coins. So I won't be polite. As he spoke, he slowly lifted the veil. I am very curious about what kind of face is under the veil. The strange bride did not stop him and sat calmly on the edge of the bed. The veil was lifted little by little, revealing a pale chin. Apart from white, there doesn't seem to be anything scary, Hu Xian thought. At this moment, Hu Xian suddenly lifted the entire veil, and a peerless face came into view except for her pale face. She looked no different from an ordinary person. Husband. Am I beautiful? The strange bride asked coldly. Hu Xian reacted, nodded and said, it's a bit beyond my expectations. And let's get married first and then go into the bridal chamber. He stood up slowly. A gust of cool wind blew, and the whole room turned into a festive auditorium. The strange bride reached out and grabbed Hu Xian's hand, pulling him to the wedding hall. No hurry, it's the same if you enter the bridal chamber first and then the wedding ceremony. Disappointed, he tore the strange bride's clothes into pieces. The strange bride's expression changed drastically. But before she could explode, Hu Xian hugged her and threw her on the bed, then pounced on her. You damn stranger, you are such a beast that you don't even let ghosts go. The weird bride finally revealed her true colors. The face began to fester, and became extremely terrifying. Hu Xian did a spiral in the air, landed on the ground, and said with a smile, didn't you ask me to marry you? What's wrong with marrying an oriental man as a husband? I'm in this state, and you still dare to marry me? The weird bride asked in a roar. Why not? As long as you are still a female creature, there is nothing I dare not do. You are such a beast. System, if I capture the weird bride, would I be considered an alien? Dang, take down the weird bride and you can open the weird totem. Every time you light up a weird totem, the heroine's combat power will increase by 10 times. Yes. Huaxian took a deep breath. The combat power increase of a strange totem was so terrifying. Get it, must get it. Moreover, being tied to the women's football team doesn't mean you have to sleep with them, it's just a status. My lady, you are wrong from the beginning to the end. It was you who asked me to marry you. I fell in love with you at first sight. Since my lady wants to get married in the church first, then let's do it first. While speaking, his eyes were fixed on the strange bride's breasts whose clothes had been torn by him. It was also pale. Okay, then we'll get married. The strange bride readily agreed, and a puff of smoke appeared on her body. The torn clothes returned to their original state, and her horrible face also returned to normal. He walked over and pulled Huaxian to the center of the room. Right above them were two weird portraits, one of a man and one of a woman. They looked very young and did not look like the parents of the weird bride. Who are they? My parents, the weird bride replied. But they don't look very big. They died when I was 6. Oh my god, were you alive when you were 6? I am dead too. So now you. I am now 1,200 years old. Please worship in the hall. Bow to heaven and earth. The strange bride shouted to herself, pulled Huaxian around and knelt towards the door. Huaxian felt strange, as this was his first marriage. Bow to your parents. Turn around and kneel down to worship the two portraits. Huaxian looked at the portrait curiously. Suddenly, there was movement in the two portraits. The woman smiled at him, and the man winked at him. Everything is full of weirdness. Huaxian suddenly wondered if there was something wrong with this wedding ceremony. Otherwise, why would the strange bride keep asking to be married in the wedding hall? Husband and wife bow to each other. Huaxian completed the couple's greeting with a heavy heart. The next moment, gray smoke rose from the entire room, and Huaxian was shocked to find that the gray smoke was actually coming towards him. Ding! Death energy is found invading the host. Do you want to refine the death energy into death gene points? Fuck, do I need to say this? Refine? It is not difficult to imagine that once the death energy completes the invasion and the vitality dissipates, I am afraid that I will really become a ghost couple with the weird bride. Ding! Every time you refine a point of death energy, you need to consume an equal amount of True God gene points. Other True God level attribute gene points can also be used instead. Refining death energy. Huaxian was shocked again. This death energy is so terrifying that it starts at the True God level. Of course, this also proves the power of this death gene point. Fortunately, I obtained the fire attributed True God level gene points. Otherwise my 1001 points of True God power would really not be enough. I secretly reflected on myself for being careless. Or to be more precise, for being arrogant. I relied on the system and became fearless. And almost fell into a trap. It seems I have to be more careful in the future. Send her to the bridal chamber. After the wedding ceremony was completed, the strange bride pulled Huaxian towards the bed. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have activated the strange totem, bound the ghost bride Shaolin Lin, and gained a 10,000-fold increase in combat power. Huaxian smiled bitterly inwardly. It seemed that this binding must be completed through a wedding ceremony. I also understand that this strange totem, which can increase the combat power by 10 times by binding a strange female protagonist, is very tempting. But this strange female protagonist is not so easy to bind. If you are not careful, you might lose your life. While she was worried, the strange bride had already pulled Huaxian to the bedside, sat on the edge of the bed, and said shyly, "Husband, you can enter the bridal chamber now." The mosquito net fell down automatically, and the clothes on the strange bride disappeared instantly. When Huaxian reacted, what came into his eyes was a pale and flawless body. Apart from the paleness, everything else looked no different from that of an ordinary person. The strange bride looked at Huaxian, who was surrounded by the aura of death, and actually smiled, but it was very strange and even scary. "Hubby, didn't you say that a night of love is worth 1,000 gold? It's time for us to enter the bridal chamber." Chapter 274. Each has its own advantages. Huaxian looked at Shaolin Lin, his eyes involuntarily falling on places he shouldn't be looking at. Thinking, is this okay? Husband. Shaolin Lin called out to him and actually rushed over on her own initiative. Because he discovered that even though Huaxian was entangled in the aura of death, his vitality did not disappear. Only dual cultivation could quickly take away Huaxian's vitality. "Don't be anxious, my lady." Huaxian pushed Shaolin Lin away and said, "Reason overcoming impulse, it is better not to mess with weird things. System, can you help me pretend that my vitality has dissipated?" Ding! Disguise vitality dissipates, consuming 1,000 reinforcement points per second. Do you want to disguise? 1,000 reinforcement points can be completely ignored. Camouflage. I want to see what tricks this weird heroine is going to play. Ding, the host is pretending to be alive, consuming 1000 reinforcement points per second. Seeing the vitality in Huaxian quickly draining away, the ghost bride's smile became even brighter. My husband. Are you coming? Let's go into the bridal chamber. Don't you want me to give birth to your child? Throw yourself into his arms again. The more this happened, the less likely Huaxian was to act recklessly. Bing. Hidden mission. Enter the bridal chamber with the first weird heroine Shaolin Lin. Complete the mission and get a mysterious gift package reward. Unexpectedly, it triggered a mission. So, Huaxian thought. He gave it a go. Mainly the big gift packages rewarded by the system are extremely tempting. My dear, if that's the case, I won't be polite. Huaxian finally entered the bridal chamber. Apart from feeling cold, he is no different from a normal person. It's not that scary. Within 3 hours, billions of elite soldiers in Huaxian's body exploded. Ding, the hero's essence was taken away by the weird heroine. His lifespan was reduced by 100 years, and his spirit was depressed for 3 days. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the task of entering the bridal chamber with the first weird heroine, and received a mysterious gift package as a reward. I'll go? Huaxian cursed loudly. I didn't expect that sleeping with the weird heroine would have such a huge price to pay. My lifespan would be shortened by 100 years, which is a lifetime for an ordinary person. At the same time, I also felt a little dizzy and in a bad mood. Ding! The host took away the first drop of the weird blood of the weird heroine, also known as the blood of death, which nourishes the body of death and can absorb the dead air infinitely. The air of the undead improves the death gene realm. The current death gene realm is the 63rd level of the true god. Ding, the host's soul attribute genes are too low to withstand the true god level power. The system has sealed the true god level death gene realm. Huaxian, who had just felt sad about the loss of 100 years of life, trembled with extreme excitement. It took me a while to come back to my senses. I was extremely excited and muttered to myself, as expected. Threats and opportunities coexist. Not only did he open the weird totem, find a weird heroine to gain a 10,000 times increase, but he also took the first blood of the weird heroine. The most important thing is that he can ignore the deathly aura and look at Shaolin Lin in his arms. Doesn't this mean that he can practice dual cultivation an unlimited number of times? The Death Gene Realm True God level 63 is simply terrifying. Although it is not available now, as long as all attributes are improved, it will be a natural process to become a true god. From this, we can see how difficult it is to break through the true god gene realm, and it actually requires the improvement of all attributes. Huaxian turned over and climbed up this time. He was no longer nervous and was extremely brave. Shaolin Lin was also in shock. She couldn't understand why her husband was so lifeless and dead. But after they came together just now, she had taken away his essence of life and gained 100 years of cultivation. It's incredible. She was even a little dazed when Huaxian exploded. It took him a while to react and he actively cooperated, also wanting to verify whether he could also obtain the essence of life and improve his cultivation this time. The battle lasted almost another 3 hours. Buzz. With a muffled sound, Shaolin Lin, who had obtained the essence of life again, unexpectedly broke through from the 40th level of the extraordinary gene to the 41st level. What shocked Shaolin Lin even more was that in the past she could only borrow the death energy carried by the power of the death gene. But now, a little bit of the power of the death gene had actually merged into her body. More importantly, she can directly control this power of the death gene and exert super strong combat power. You know, she was originally a dead creature, and accidentally cultivated into a ghost body. But the power of the death gene is at the level of a true god. She can only borrow the death energy carried by the death gene, and cannot use the power of the death gene directly. Now, she met a man who was not afraid of her and got married. She thought it would just change her boring life, but she didn't expect it would bring such huge benefits. Once she can master the power of the death gene and achieve the realm of true god, she will no longer be just a ghost, equivalent to new life. Hubby, thank you, Shaolin Lin said with sincere gratitude. What's there to write? You're my wife. It would be impolite to say thank you. Huaxian naturally noticed the changes in Shaolin Lin. Both parties gained huge benefits and everyone was happy. Wife, let's go, your sisters are still waiting outside. Huaxian summoned the ultimate charm suit and put it on, instantly bursting with infinite charm, and his appearance soared. Huaxian had obtained this system reward suit a long time ago, but he had never worn it. His looks were so high that even Shaolin Lin was stunned. Huaxian pulled her open the door and walked out of the room. Wang Xingyu and the others all looked over. Everyone was stunned when they saw Huaxian walking out with a pale woman, and his face was full of disbelief. Honey? Is that the weird bride? Murong Fr asked in disbelief. At this moment, Shaolin Lin, wearing a red long skirt and with a pale face, looked very strange and scary. Yes, that's right, she is the weird bride. Uxian nodded and replied. Everyone screamed. Husband, did you really get married with her? Huang Xingyu was extremely shocked. Yes, she is my wife now, and she is your sister. After he finished speaking, he turned to Shaolin Lin and said, Wife, please introduce yourself. Hello everyone, my name is Shaolin Lin, I'm very happy to meet you all, and I hope we can get along well and serve my husband together. Everyone looked at each other, and felt it was very strange to be sisters with a strange bride. Never thought about it. Huang Xingyu said speechlessly. Hubby, you really are a catch-all for both humans and ghosts. The situation is special, please understand my wives. But don't worry, no matter how many wives I have in the future, my love for you will be absolutely fair, and I will definitely love you with all my heart and treat you well. They have no doubt about this apart from being fickle. They fall in love with every girl they meet and are really good to her. Murong Feir asked, Sister Shaolin Lin, since we are all family, please tell us what kind of world this is. Hearing this, everyone perked up and looked at Shaolin Lin. The main reason is that this place is too weird. It is clearly the Death Desert, but I ended up here for no apparent reason. Shaolin Lin said, I don't know what kind of world this is. I was originally from this city, but one day, an irresistible force instantly destroyed everything. When I came to my senses, everything became like this. Besides, it took me a long time to realize that I was dead. I have been alone for more than 1,000 years. You are the first living people I have met. Also, I can't leave this house 100 meters away, so I don't know what's going on outside. Chapter 275. Fulfilling the promise. Everyone was quite disappointed. Uxian said, Okay, let's explore this world on our own. Danger and opportunity coexist, and we will definitely gain a lot this time. Huang Xingyu said speechlessly, Hubby, I'm worried that there's danger. I always feel that this place is too weird. Me too. I've always felt uneasy, Murong Feir said. Okay. And I'll think of a way to improve your cultivation first. System, open the mysterious gift package. Pray in your heart. Hoping to be rewarded with a huge amount of evolutionary gene points. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have opened the mysterious gift package. And the host's wish has been tested to obtain a huge evolutionary gene point reward. The system automatically converts all rewards into evolutionary gene points. So the host has obtained a reward of 10 trillion evolutionary gene points. Uxian was stunned, and then felt heartbroken. It was exchanged for 10 trillion evolution gene points, which shows how generous the original reward was. However, there are finally enough evolutionary gene points to improve the heroines. Huang Xingyu asked happily, Hubby, in addition to the reward you promised us before and the upgrade of our to small realms, can you calculate some interest as an additional reward? Chen Yuanian also quickly said, That's right, husband. You give us interest and give us extra rewards. Uxian smiled bitterly and said, Okay, you are all my wives, and I am not stingy with you. You all know that there is a powerful god behind me. This time I will ask the god to raise the cultivation of all of you who are below the 30th level of evolutionary genes to the 30th level of evolutionary genes. How do you think? Yeah, thank you husband, love you husband. Chen Yuanian and the others were overjoyed after all. Their realm was generally only around level 24 in terms of genetic evolution. The worst one was only at level 21 of evolutionary gene realm, and was promoted to level 30, a surge of 9 levels. How could one not be excited? Huang Xingyu refused to accept it. Hubby, you are biased. Our evolutionary genes were originally level 28, and we only increased to levels by level 30. Murong Feir and the others also said in unison. Hubby, you are biased. Uxian said with a headache. How about this, husband will give you an extra level 5 fire at Rebute Extraordinary Gene Realm as a reward. Is that okay? What? Leon and the others were all shocked. At the Attribute Gene level, could her husband also be rewarded directly? Uxian quickly said, The gods behind me love me very much. Basically, they will agree to whatever I ask for as long as it is achievable. Huang Xingyu and the others were overjoyed. Yes. Thank you, husband, we will be promoted now. Everyone was so excited. Chen Yuanian and the others were extremely envious. However, when I thought about the fact that I had upgraded my evolutionary gene from level 23 or 24 to the maximum level 30, it was not bad, and I felt a little better. Okay, I will pray to the gods behind you now. After saying this, he pretended to be praying. System. When you raise the heroine's rel later, create some strange phenomena to disguise it. Ding, it can be arranged. Generally, the additional conditions related to the heroine are 0 consumption. System upgrade all 14 heroines from Earth to level 35 of the fire at Rebute Extraordinary Gene. Buzz. The sky trembled, and fiery red rays of light fell, covering Huang Xingyu and the other 14 people. This scene made everyone stunned. Under the red glow, Wang Xingyu and the others were all covered in flames. But luckily they were wearing love protection suits that protected them from water and fire. Otherwise they would have been naked. Afterwards, the fire at Redute Gene Realm began to surge. And the corresponding glow began to fade when the glow completely disappeared. Wang Xingyu and the others had reached the 35th level of the Extraordinary Gene Realm. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have strengthened the 14 female protagonists from Earth to the Extraordinary Gene level 35. Consuming 150 trillion evolutionary gene points, consuming 1.7 million fire at Redute Extraordinary Gene points in integer calculation. And the remaining fire at Redute Gene points are 378. 3 million. The shock in the hearts of the others took a long time to subside. For the first time, I saw that the evolutionary gene realm of level 28 directly crossed over a major realm and reached the terrifying extraordinary gene realm of level 35. In the pseudo-god world, some powerful pseudo-gods use special secret methods to help people improve one or even two realms. But if they want to break through to a larger realm, the challenge is extremely huge and they may not succeed. Here, Huaxian just prayed simply, and everything went smoothly and simply. They made great progress, just like eating and drinking. So, what level is the god behind him? Super God? Or God Lord? Or something higher? At the same time, the recognition of Huaxian by all the female protagonists is rising steadily. There is a great god behind him who at least has super god genes. How can they not love such a man who treats them so well? Ding, congratulations to the host. The favorability of all the heroines has skyrocketed by 1.0 points, and the combined combat power of the 37 heroines has increased by 37.0. A pleasant surprise. This made Huaxian ecstatic. Adding to the previous 3,200 times, the heroine's cumulative combat power increase actually reached a terrifying 40,200 times. Now the favorability of all the heroines is 1,500, and it seems that it can be increased infinitely. It's exciting just to think about it. I thought to myself, it seems that I have to show off in front of the heroine to improve her favorability. System raised the cultivation level of all the female protagonists in the genetic world to the maximum level of evolution gene 30. Buzz. A strange phenomenon appeared in the sky again. A dazzling white genetic light fell down, covering Chen Yuanian and other 18 heroines whose evolutionary genetic realm was less than level 30. The situation was the same as Huang Xingyu and the others. After being enveloped, their cultivation began to grow wildly. After a minute or two, the white genetic light disappeared, and all of them had reached the 30th level of evolutionary genes. Ding, congratulations to the host. The 18 female protagonists in the evolutionary gene world have been strengthened to the 30th level of evolutionary gene, consuming 200 trillion 350 trillion evolutionary gene points. And the remaining evolutionary gene points are 990 trillion 75 trillion points. Oh my god, I really reached the 30th level of evolutionary genes. Zheng Xiaowan, who has the least presence among all the female protagonists of Huaxian, shouted excitedly. Whether in terms of beauty or importance in Huaxian's heart, she could not compare to others, so she always felt inferior. Thus because it was pure coincidence that she became Huaxian's heroine. The key to her excitement is her talent. If she hadn't met Huaxian, she wouldn't be able to reach the peak 30th level of evolutionary genes, let alone the entry-level of evolutionary elites. Now, as long as she follows Huaxian, she will have a greater chance of reaching the extraordinary gene realm. Or even the pseudo-god gene realm. Just thinking about it makes her excited. The others were similar, all extremely excited. They felt more than ever that following Huaxian was the greatest luck in their lives. In this world where martial arts are respected, as a woman, what could be more important than meeting a strong man who is excellent, powerful, and loves you? Thank you, husband. Chen Yuanian and the others expressed their gratitude repeatedly. Chuo Hina and Lu Yun were both envious and asked in unison, "Abi, where is our reward?" Although Zhang Hong and Kang Yuting had their divine bases repaired by Huaxian before, they still looked at him with fiery eyes. A weird bright Shaolin Lin also said, "Abi, I want one too." Chapter 276, Everyone, you must buy buns before leaving. Okay. There are rewards. The system raised Chuo Hina's realm to the 35th level of the fire at Redute Extraordinary Gene, and raised Lu Yun, Zhang Hong, and Kang Yuting's realms to the 50th level of the fire at Redute Pseudo-God Gene. Immediately four rays of fire fell from the sky, covering Lu Yun and the other three. However, the fire at Redute of the extraordinary gene that envelops Chuo Hina is relatively dim. Their cultivation levels all began to improve. In just a few minutes, a huge breakthrough was achieved. Ding, congratulations to the host. A heroine Chuo Hina has been upgraded to the fire at Redute Extraordinary Gene level 35. And Lu Yun, Zhang Hong, and Kang Yuting have been upgraded to the fire at Rebutsu God Jiu level 50. Consuming extraordinary. Huaxian has a lot of both fire at Rebut extraordinary gene points and fire at Rebut God gene points. As long as they are not upgraded to the maximum level, he will not feel bad about spending them. Only the weird bride Shaolin Lin was left, staring at Huaxian eagerly. System, please raise Shaolin Lin's realm to the 50th level of the pseudo god gene realm for me. Ding, the weird bride Shaolin Lin needs death energy to upgrade. The host currently does not have a grasp of the death energy value and cannot upgrade. Huaxian was stunned. He didn't expect that the improvement of the heroine of the weird totem would be restricted. He walked toward Shaolin Lin, who was looking at him eagerly with a wry smile, hugged her and said, "Wife, didn't you receive your reward a long time ago? Have you forgotten that every time we have sex, you can get great benefits? Don't worry, your husband will sleep with you often." This is the only way to deceive Shaolin Lin. Shaolin Lin thought about it carefully and realized that it was true. So she didn't care about it and said gratefully, "Thank you, husband." Ding, trigger the hidden task. Upgrade all the heroines to level 50, and you will get a luxurious mysterious gift package. When Huaxian heard about this task, his body trembled with excitement. The mysterious gift package was already very rich, and the luxurious mysterious gift package made him look forward to it extremely. I thought to myself, it seems that I should not only work hard to improve myself, but also madly improve the heroine. These days seem to be getting more and more difficult. Okay, now that everyone has achieved great improvement, you won't be afraid anymore, right? Huaxian asked everyone. Hubby, we are not afraid anymore. By the way, honey, can we continue to get rewards if we perform well? Chen Yuanian asked expectantly. The other heroines also looked at him with burning eyes. Yes, that's right, as long as you perform well, you will get rewards. Yeah, hubby, let's go explore this world, Deng Yao said excitedly and took the lead. The treasure of strength is also the treasure of their confidence. Even Huang Xingyu and the others were full of expectations for this strange world. Ding, consumption task countdown 6,5,958. Huaxian was shocked. He was so excited that he forgot his consumption task. System, transfer 260 trillion yuan of betrothal gifts to Weinan. Ding, congratulations to the host. The betrothal gift cost 260 trillion gold coins, and 10 top grade strengthening pills were awarded. Ding, new mission. Within 16 hours, complete the consumption of 270 trillion gold coins. If the mission fails, the host's 3 highest realms will be deducted. If the mission is completed, 10 top-grade strengthening pills will be awarded. I feel lucky that I can spend the betrothal gift. Otherwise I would feel bad. Weinan, who received the gold coin boost, asked in shock, "Husband, why did you transfer 260 trillion gold coins to me?" Upon hearing this, the others also looked at Huaxian with curiosity. Huaxian said seriously, "Didn't I say that I would give gifts to all of you? These 260 trillion gold coins are my gifts to you." Gao Hongjing rolled her eyes and said, "Hubby, do you think I'm the worst? You actually gave me the least betrothal gift." Deng Yao immediately said, "I don't have much either. Sincerely, we both love each other sincerely, whether the betrothal gift is a lot or a little. It means the same thing, my dear. Will you leave me just because I gave you a small betrothal gift? Hubby, you are so shameless. Thicker than a city wall." The few people who received less gifts were speechless. Huaxian chuckled and said, "Okay, don't worry about the gift. Let's continue exploring this mysterious world." "Hey, Shaolin Lin's wife, why don't you leave?" Huaxian asked. Shaolin Lin said bitterly, "Hubby, I can't leave this room. Whenever I left before, I would be beaten back by a mysterious force. It hurt a lot. That was in the past, things are different now. Let's go." With Huaxian's encouragement, Shaolin Lin bravely walked over. Soon she was far away from the house, overjoyed. "Honey, I can really walk out of there. Thank you, husband." In excitement, he hugged Huaxian and chewed him for a while. "It feels a little cold and not as good as a living person." Huaxian thought to himself. "Let's go and explore this strange world. How far per week?" A bun shop appeared on the right side in front, and an uncle was kneading dough. Seeing someone coming, he grinned enthusiastically and asked, "Everyone, be sure to buy some buns before leaving." But his pale face made everyone understand that this uncle was not a living person either. The cracked smile was even more weird compared with Shaolin Lin. This uncle had a strong aura of horror. "Honey," he said, "we must buy the buns before leaving. If we leave without buying them, will something bad happen?" Hot Tilly automatically thought about it. "You'll know once you give it a try." After Huaxian finished speaking, he led the way and left. Everyone followed and left. "I'm leaving after buying some buns." The uncle's voice seemed to be angry, becoming harsh and scary. Since Huaxian didn't stop, naturally the others wouldn't stop either. I just feel a little nervous and don't know what will happen. I told you to buy some buns before leaving. The uncle's voice became extremely manic and terrifying, giving people chills. Violaya couldn't help but look back, wanting to see how angry the uncle was. The scene she saw made her scream in horror. Ding dong. The next moment, the body fell to the ground. A faint soul light was restrained by a strange force and floated towards the tree. Husband, save me. Husband, save me. Dahlia's soul struggled hard, crying out for help. Fortunately, Huaxian's soul is now strong. He discovered the abnormality at the first moment and looked back. The others were also attracted by Dahlia's scream and turned back subconsciously. Suddenly, I felt a powerful and strange force forcibly separating my soul from my body and floating towards the uncle selling buns. Boom boom boom. All the bodies fell to the ground. Huaxian was no exception. It was as if his actual soul was sucked out. Of course, he could have resisted, but he didn't because he didn't know how to rescue the heroines. Only then did everyone realize that the uncle selling buns had his entire head turned into a giant, pitch black mouth, and the strange power that sucked away souls came from the uncle's giant mouth. What a powerful soul, you are mine. Feeling the power of Huaxian's soul, the uncle made a strange sound of excitement. Chapter 277, Devouring the Soul. Whoosh. He actually gave up the souls of others and concentrated all his strange power to wrap Huaxian. After all, the soul power of the others was too weak. And more than 30 people combined were not as strong as Huaxian. Even Shaolin Lin's ghost body is only slightly stronger than that of other people. Wang Xingyu and the others quickly returned to their bodies and woke up with heavy heads. I quickly looked at the uncle selling buns. At this moment, Huaxian had been sucked to his mouth by his strange power. Soul, what a delicious soul. The voice was excited and kept chattering. Husband, Wang Xingyu and the others were very worried. Alaya even blamed herself. It's all my fault if I hadn't turned back. The soul wouldn't have been sucked away, and everyone and my husband wouldn't have been in danger. Huaxian's soul turned around and smiled comfortingly. Don't be afraid, I will be fine. Seeing Huaxian so confident, everyone's nervous hearts finally relaxed. The uncle's voice sounded, human soul, you are too confident. As long as you enter my stomach, no matter what means you use, you will become a part of my soul. After he finished speaking, he suddenly exploded and sucked Huaxian into his stomach. Huaxian immediately felt that the extremely strong decomposition force surrounded and tore him apart, trying to tear him apart and merge him. Apart from the intense pain, Huaxian did not feel any other discomfort after all. His soul was sealed with a strength of nearly 100 million times. But such pain is nothing to Huaxian, who has level for willpower. Buzz. The uncle didn't know what it was, but its soul was very powerful. Unable to tear Huaxian's soul apart, it actually decomposed itself and completely wrapped up Huaxian's soul, trying to devour it alive and refine it. But it touched the system seal that sealed Huaxian's soul. Suddenly, the system seal trembled slightly, and a sealing force suppressed the uncle's strange soul. This was within Huaxian's expectations. Suddenly I thought, can I also swallow the uncle's strange soul? With this idea in mind, Huaxian couldn't control himself at all and began to devour the uncle's soul. No. Feeling his soul being eaten away, the uncle's desperate voice rang out. Boom! There was a loud bang. As Huang Xingyu and the others watched, the uncle's body exploded. An ugly, weird, almost solid soul body with something like a whirlpool all over its body came into everyone's sight. Has my husband's soul been devoured by him? Value asked worriedly. Don't be afraid. Who is your husband? So nothing will happen to him, Lu Yun said confidently. After hearing this, the others also remembered that there was a powerful existence behind Huaxian. Roar, roar, roar. The uncle's soul kept screaming, roaring, and begging for mercy. The heroines cannot hear the painful screams of the soul because their souls are too weak. But they can see that the uncle's soul is struggling in pain. He deserves it. He even dared to eat our husband. I guess this uncle's soul is regretting it to death now, Yao Hongjing said angrily. Time passes by every second. As he continued to devour the uncle's soul, Huaxian also mastered the technique, and was devouring more and more souls. When it reaches 1/3. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have obtained 1/3 of the power of swallowing souls, and can directly swallow souls weaker than your own to strengthen your own soul. Huaxian, who was madly devouring the uncle's soul, suddenly stopped, and I was overjoyed. It turns out that the uncle is a soul leader. No wonder it is so weird. You have only devoured 1/3 of the uncle's devouring soul, and you have gained such a huge benefit. What if you devour all of it? Thinking of this, Huaxian was overjoyed, and directly used the soul-devouring effect to devour the uncle madly. The uncle who was suppressed by the system felt that Huaxian also had his own soul-devouring effect, and he was angry and full of regret. under the gaze of Huang Xingyu and the others. Wu Xian had already rushed out of the uncle's soul body, and instead took control of the uncle's soul, devouring it madly. Li Yan muttered in disbelief, I didn't expect my husband's soul to be so powerful. As genetic practitioners, everyone understands that the soul is the most difficult to improve, which is why everyone is shocked. Dan Yuting said, the god behind my husband is probably beyond our imagination. I feel that he is even more powerful than the Lord God. Zhang Hong said, I feel the same way. Look, my husband actually swallowed the uncle's soul in one gulp, Chen Yuanian said in shock. Xiao Linlin said in a trembling voice, my husband actually obtained the uncle's devouring soul. She was so excited that her husband actually defeated the uncle's devouring soul and obtained the devouring characteristics. Devouring souls, everyone else looked at Xiao Linlin curiously. Xiao Linlin introduced, soul devouring is a spiritual talent. The uncle is a soul devourer, and he is very powerful. So he can suck our souls away from the air. And I didn't expect that the uncle's soul devouring skill would be defeated by our husband. Wang Xingyu said, isn't this normal? There is a super god behind our husband. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have devoured souls and gained the soul devouring trait. Because the power of the devoured souls is too strong. A deification has been formed. The excess soul power will be automatically exchanged for soul gene points for the host. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have exchanged for 35 million soul gene points. Wu Xian was extremely shocked. He didn't expect the uncle's soul to be so powerful. Thinking that the uncle was a soul leader and had no idea how many souls he had devoured. I felt relieved. Obtaining 35 million soul gene points was a pleasant surprise, and could be used to strengthen the heroine. The soul returned to the body and woke up. I feel top heavy, which is not something I'm used to. Honey, how are you? Huang Xingyu asked. As Hu Xian's first woman, although her cultivation was not the highest, she considered herself superior to others in front of Hu Xian. Hu Xian adjusted for a while and said with a smile, it's not bad. Uncle Kang gave voluntarily let me devour him, and even gave me the soul devouring talent. Everyone rolled their eyes. No one believed that the uncle would voluntarily let him swallow him. Let's go see if there are any uncles around selling noodles or something. Hu Xian, who had gained great benefits, was overjoyed and walked ahead. Everyone smiled bitterly, thinking that their husbands must have gained a great benefit. Otherwise they would not be so happy. I thought that when the time is right, I must help my husband improve his level again. As he walked along, Hu Xian was thinking about what would happen if he encountered something strange. A hint of paleness suddenly appeared in the distant sky. The next second, the world they were in changed, and when they looked around again, it had turned into a desolate desert. Everyone was stunned. Holy Xiao Linlin was overjoyed and screamed, hubby, I really got out of that place. He hugged Hu Xian and bit him again, venting the uncontrollable joy in his heart. After 1,000 years, I am finally free. Chapter 278, Fantasy Beast. Honey, I finally understand why people who enter the Death Desert can't get out. In this situation, who can get out? Chen Yuanian said bitterly. Then can we go out? Huang Xingyu looked at Hu Xian and asked. Hu Xian smiled and said, it's only a matter of time before we get out. Don't worry, this place isn't that bad. Let us go and see what we'll encounter next. This time I chose to head west. The endless yellow sand was enough to make people collapse. Not far. What is that? Ichigo Hana asked loudly, pointing at an object in front of her. Hu Xian, Huang Xingyu and others were stunned when they saw the object. Car? This thing is currently only available on Earth. Simply because it is too low level. Everyone walked over quickly. When I saw the car logo, I realized it was an Audi SUV. Connie, this desert can't be. Thinking, if it is the Earth, wouldn't that mean I'm home? Hu Xian said, let's take a look. A off-road vehicle that was half buried in the yellow sand was pulled out. Yellow sand was exposed at the front of the car, and inside it was a dried-up corpse. Illyria said excitedly, he is wearing our American brand clothing. He is an American. This further proves that this off-road vehicle comes from Earth. So the question is, this is the Forbidden F Desert in the genetic world. Would this place lead to any world? Look, over there. Yao Hongjing shouted excitedly. Everyone looked over and saw more than 10 people, each leading a camel, heading west. This was also the first time they met a living person. So they were a little excited. Honey, let's catch up and ask where this place is. Huang Xingyu said expectantly. Good. Everyone chased after him. The lowest level of their evolutionary genes is 30. And the desert has little impact on them. Just when they were about to catch up, the scene suddenly changed and they found themselves in a primeval rainforest. Roar. A deafening roar was heard. Click click, click, click. Countless towering trees snapped in response. When everyone was puzzled, a nimble figure came running towards them from a distance. Run. The middle-aged man with his upper body naked discovered Hu Xian and the others and shouted anxiously. Click. Another big tree opened up, revealing what was behind it. Dinosaur? Huang Xingyu exclaimed. Aren't they the dinosaurs in the history of the Earth? Sharp teeth, strong and ferocious, it was clearly the Tyrannosaurus Rex. But this volume is much larger than people calculated based on the traces left behind. The middle-aged man had already approached them and shouted angrily. What are you standing there for? Run. Ruler. The dinosaur must have noticed that there were too many people, so it opened its mouth and spewed out a breath of dragon's breath. All the trees wherever it passed were melted instantly, which shows how high the temperature was. Lu Yun said. It's a fire dragon beast. Run, adult fire dragon beasts are at least at the peak of pseudo-god level. Deng Yuting also shouted in shock. Everyone followed the middle-aged man and ran away. Hu Xian was no different. He wanted to see where the middle-aged man was taking him and others to escape. Everyone followed the middle-aged man nimbly, dodging the fire dragon beast's wave after wave of attacks. Soon they arrived at a cliff. The uncle was moved and stopped. Looking below the broken river, there was a raging torrent. Ruler, the fire dragon beast is chasing after us. My whole body started to go crazy. Oh no, this is the fire dragon beast's most angry state. When an adult fire dragon beast enters this state, it can fight against a true god. Kang Yuting exclaimed again. The middle-aged man glanced at everyone and said, there is no other way, we have to jump down. After saying that, he took the lead and jumped into the raging torrent. Honey, are we going to jump into? Transparent eyes. Hu Xian's eyes changed and he looked towards the cliff. Took a deep breath. It turned out to be a giant beast with its mouth wide open. But the giant beast seemed to be fast asleep, just relying on its huge mouth without any reaction. The fire dragon in the original rainforest in front of us also disappeared, turning into a desert. Of course, it just disappeared in the transparent eyes. Husband, the fire dragon beast is coming, Huang Xingyu shouted nervously. Hu Xian said, everyone close your eyes. No one doubted Hu Xian and everyone closed their eyes. Boom! With a loud bang, everyone opened their eyes subconsciously. The rainforest disappeared, the fire dragon beast was sold, and when they reincarnated, they found that the cliff and rapids had disappeared as well, and everyone was shocked, because they all saw the sleeping beast with its huge mouth open. After a while, Huang Xingyu asked, honey, what kind of beast is this? It's so big. No one could recognize it and everyone was shocked. Systems can this beast? Ding, lazy fantasy beast. Lazy in nature, likes to lie flat, creating very solutions to prepare prey to enter its mouth automatically. Hu Xian was speechless. However, the scene just now was too real. And the uncle was real, and Shaolin Lin beside him was also real. This also proves that in addition to the fantasy beasts, there is also overlapping space in the Death Desert. True or false, this Death Desert truly lives up to its reputation. Most people who come in here will never come back. Husband, why are you in a daze? Do you know what kind of giant beast this is? Murong Fir also asked. Phantom beast. What? This is the fantasy beast, Lu Yun exclaimed. Do you know the fantasy beast? Hu Xian asked. Lian shook her head and replied, I don't know. I only saw a simple description in a book. According to records, the fantasy beast is huge, lazy, and sleepy. It usually relies on its big mouth to create illusions to lure prey into its stomach. The giant beast's thoughts were exactly the same as those of the integrated phantom beast. Huang Xingyu looked at Shaolin Lin and frowned. If everything here is an environment created by a fantasy beast, then is she real? Shaolin Lin said, I think it's true. Hu Xian also arrived. In addition to the fantasy beasts, there should be overlapping space worlds here, so this Death Desert is worthy of its name. Let's go, we can always get out. Everyone continued to leave. About 5 hours. Look, there's a city over there. And it's an ancient city, Murong Fir screamed in surprise. Huang Xingyu asked, isn't this another illusion? Whether it is an illusion or not, we will know if we go over and take a look. Hu Xian took the lead and strode over. Everyone followed closely. Soon they arrived at the city gate. The ancient city gate has 3 doors. The middle one is the largest and tightly closed. People enter from the right and exit from the left. And many people come and go. When everyone looked back, there was no longer any desert there, but clearly forests and hills. Their modern attire also caused the ancient people to point and talk. Honey, it looks like it's real this time, Huang Xingyu said. The others nodded in tacit understanding. Vialia, who had suffered a loss before, said to Hu Xian, hubby, you go in front this time. She didn't want to be scared again. Okay, I'll go ahead. Hu Xian took the lead and walked towards the city gate. Gee. A fairy-like woman in white whipped the horse hard and galloped over. Chapter 279, Demonic Python. Everyone had very good eyesight. So even though they were far away, they could still see that the woman was in tears and extremely sad. Meng Qian Aroyu, you can't escape, you killed the prince. The master gave you a chance to be his concubine and help him give birth to a prince. This is the greatest tolerance for you. Behind her, a large group of soldiers on war horses were chasing the woman rapidly. When everyone along the way saw the army, they were all panicked and quickly made way. Ma. A little girl couldn't escape in time and fell on the road. Her mother turned back to protect her child. Get lost. Although the official road was wide and the army would not be affected, an officer still whipped the woman hard with his whip. The woman was panicked and looked terrified, but for the sake of her child, she resolutely rushed over and protected the child under her body. Too much. Wang Xingyu cursed angrily and disappeared from the spot. Bang! The soldier wielding the whip was kicked away by her. Only then did everyone realize that this ancient city was real. Because Hu Xian and his group blocked the official road with so many people, Meng Qian Aroyu, who was fleeing, also stopped and looked back, just in time to see Huang Xingyu floating to the ground. Meng Qian Aroyu said urgently, "Lady, run quickly, these officers and soldiers have done all kinds of evil things. They are capable of doing anything." Chen Yuanian said, "Since they have done so many bad things, let's kill them all." When the people nearby heard this, they were all frightened and trembled and their faces turned pale. Anyone who dares to say such words in front of officers and soldiers will die. Hey, where did this group of beautiful girls dressed in strange clothes come from? Not bad, not bad. Each one is beautiful, very good. I will take you back with me. And the master will be very happy. Take them all away. A group of soldiers, about 20 people, armed with spears, rushed towards Hu Xian and his men. "Honey, I'm going to kill someone," Wang Xingyu asked. "Just kill the evil person," Hu Xian said inferently. Wang Xingyu took action immediately, and after a chaotic noise, all the officers, soldiers and the general died. The streets near the city gate fell silent. Countless people were stunned and looked at Hu Xian and the others with fear. After a while, tap tap tap, a large group of city guards rushed over, each of them looking murderous and ill-intentioned. Surround them, the leading general gave the order murderously. This army consisted of 200 men, all of them were murderous and experienced in battle. In the eyes of the people around them, Hu Xian and his men were doomed to die. Surrounding Hu Xian and his men, the general shouted, "You are tired of living by killing the people from the prefectural government in Qiangyu City. Take them down." Wait, it was Meng Qian Aroyu who shouted loudly. "You are Meng Qian Aroyu. I know that you killed the prince, and the governor asked you to marry someone higher up than you. But you refused to give me face. I will capture you as well and hand you over to the governor for disposal." Hu Xian said calmly, "You probably take yourselves too seriously." The body slowly floated up. The whole audience was stunned. After a while, someone shouted, "King Wu, the powerful King Wu has come to our Qiangyu city. Greetings, Lord Wu Wang." Countless people knelt down. Even the soldiers who surrounded Hu Xian and his men knelt down. Snort. Hu Xian snorted angrily. Puff. The leading general was suppressed to the point of vomiting blood. And blood flowed from his nose, ears and other orifices, which was extremely scary. This scene frightened everyone at the scene. Meng Qian Aroyu was also shocked. And he knelt down and said, "Lord Wu Wang, please help me, save my sister." "What's wrong with your sister?" Hu Xian asked with a frown. Maybe it's because Meng Qian Aroyu is beautiful, or maybe it's because he likes her, so he wants to help her. Wang Xingyu and the others silently thought to themselves that it seemed like they would have another sister. My sister was only 7 years old when he imprisoned her in the dungeon of the prefectural government. Okay, take me to the governor's mansion to rescue your sister. Thank you, Lord Wu Wang. Meng Qian Aroyu was overjoyed and hurried to lead the way. Not daring to waste any time, he jogged all the way to the prefectural government. A quarter of an hour later, the majestic building of the prefectural government came into everyone's sight. Ding mission, kill the monster that confuses the governor. And you will get a random reward. Ask? Random rewards. Hu Xian was a little stunned. He didn't expect that this could trigger an ask. Moreover, this random reward appears for the first time. And no one knows what the reward is. Your Majesty King Wu. This is the prefectural government residence. Meng Qian Aroyu was extremely respectful. Don't always call me Lord Wu Wang if you don't mind. Just call me Brother Hu Xian. Is it okay? Meng Qian Aroyu asked excitedly. Sure. Brother Hu Xian, she shouted happily and silently remembered the name. She thought to herself, it turns out that Lord Wu Wang's name is Hu Xian. Qian Aroyu will remember you for the rest of her life. Hu Xian took the lead and walked towards the prefectural government. How dare you to trespass into the important place of the governor's mansion? Capture it. Buzz. The space trembled. A terrifying aura burst out from Hu Xian's body. and he disappeared on the spot. Monster, come out and die. Huaxian suddenly had a strong premonition that the space might change again. So he took action directly. You are not from this world? A mental question sounded in Huaxian's mind. Huaxian said inferently, you are not a demon from this world either. The other party was silent for a while and then said, human, you and I have no grudges against each other. I advise you not to ruin my good deeds. Transparent eyes. Huaxian started looking for the other party directly. You don't know until you see it, and you will be furious once you see it. There were countless corpses underground in the prefectural government mansion, and hundreds of pairs of boys and girls were imprisoned. About 6 or 7 years old, the corpses were also of this size. And there were probably no less than 10,000 of them. From this we can see how many boys and girls this monster devoured and how many innocent people it killed. This is simply intolerable. Boom boom. In extreme anger, thunder flashed all over Huaxian's body, causing the lightning in the sky to resonate. And the changing wind in clouds shocked the whole world. Monster, you have done all kinds of unscrupulous things. You must die today. The transparent eye has already discovered the monster. It turned out to be a demon python with a human head. Boom. A terrifying bolt of lightning as thick as a bucket struck towards the prefectural government's mansion. The thunder at Rebute Pseudo-God Gene is at the peak of level 60. Plus the combat power increase of the half-step thunder body. Even without adding other aspects of combat power increase, Huaxian's thunder at Rebute combat power is close to that of a true god. Countless people and countless creatures within a radius of thousands of miles saw the terrifying lightning strike. The gods are clearly working, they must be working. Monsters are causing trouble and countless children are missing. The gods must be angry. God, we must destroy that monster. Save all the children in the world, and bring peace to the world. Countless people kowtowed and prayed towards the direction of the thunder and lightning, sincerely asking the gods to kill the monsters and bring peace to the world. Roar. The demon python sensed the danger and was extremely angry. You damn nosy fellow, you ruined my 100 years of recovery. I will eat you today. Boom. With a loud bang, the prefectural mansion that was not struck by lightning collapsed. Under the gaze of countless people, a demon python with a human head and a snake body opened its huge mouth and bit Huaxian, who was covered in lightning in the air. Chapter 280. Beheading. Everyone who saw this scene prayed for Huaxian in their hearts, hoping that he would defeat the python. It turns out that the demon python has been in this world for hundreds of years and has caused trouble in many areas. Whenever a region ran out of boys and girls who met the requirements, she would move on to another region to wreak havoc, using her magic to control the most powerful officials there to capture boys and girls for her. Countless times, armies from all sides joined forces to try to exterminate the evil python. But in the end, there were corpses everywhere and rivers of blood. No one dared to deal with the python anymore, and families with children tried every possible means to hide their children. Even so, those children will always be found. Now, a god has finally come down to earth to deal with the evil python. People pray with utmost sincerity, asking the god to kill the evil python. Court death. The thundering sword comes out. Thundering sword technique. After the lightning and sword, the thunder in the sky gradually dissipated. The dark clouds faded away, and the sun shone on the earth again. Countless people did not blink, staring at the motionless demon python in the sky. Their heartbeats became faster and faster, and they wondered excitedly, is the demon python dead? It sounds slow, but in fact everything happens very quickly. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, countless cracks suddenly appeared on the huge body of the demon python. Blood dripped, and the cracks grew bigger and bigger. The first thing that fell to the ground was a huge human head. As the head rolled to the ground, everyone discovered that the python had ferocious eyes, sharp teeth and fangs, and was extremely cruel. It's terrifying just to look at it, let alone to kill it. Kai with blood splattering. The body of the demon python shattered into pieces, turning into huge pieces of meat that fell to the ground. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the task of killing monsters, protecting the human race, and obtained the random reward of the Human King seal. Note, when saving the human race, the combat power will increase by 1 billion times. What? The mark of the Human King? Doesn't that mean I am the Human King? It took Huaxian a while to add up. The shook his head and thought to himself that he might as well make the best of it. He said loudly to the stunned people, everyone can pick up the flesh and blood of the demon python and take it home to eat. After eating the demon python, I want to eat it raw. Before Huaxian finished speaking, countless people rushed towards the flesh and blood of the demon python that fell to the ground. There really were people who held the demon python's flesh and blood and ate it raw. It was bloody, but no one found its carry. Instead, they felt relieved. Huaxian landed in the ruins of the prefectural government, opened a passage, and found the imprisoned boys and girls. Fortunately, they were all deep in the dungeon and were not harmed. Huang Xingyu and the others who were following behind saw these boys and girls and the countless skeletons of boys and girls. Their eyes instantly turned red, they were filled with anger, and tears flowed uncontrollably. I finally understood why Huaxian suddenly became so angry. Husband, this demon python is too easy to use, she should be cut into pieces. Huang Xingyu said murderously. Zhen Yuanian said angrily. Cut her into pieces 1,000 times and it won't make me feel better. They should roast her and eat her while roasting her, roast her for 100 years and eat her for 100 years. Elder's sister. A little girl threw herself into Menqian Royu's arms. Younger sister. The two sisters hugged each other and cried. At this time, more people arrived, including the army. Looking at the people in the ruins, they were all extremely excited. The image of Huaxian surrounded by lightning was remembered by countless people, and they knelt down again. Pray to the gods and kneel down to thank them for destroying the monsters. Huaxian gave everyone a look, and everyone followed him into the air. Greet the gods and send them off respectfully. Guessing that the god was about to leave, everyone knelt on the ground and sincerely bid farewell to him. Huaxian led everyone to fly high into the sky, and the scene suddenly changed, showing a world of yellow sand again. Everyone is still angry. After all, it is too cruel that so many children were harmed by monsters. Husband, if I encounter a monster in the future, I will kill it the first time, Huang Xingyu said firmly. Zhu Linger, Zi Meyer and the others were very embarrassed. Because after all, they also belonged to the demon race. Huaxian said, don't say that monsters are just like humans. They have good and bad sides. We can't bully any creature just because we are powerful. We must look at everything with kindness, only then can we truly punish evil and promote good. Honey, is this really the Death Desert? Zhen Yuanian couldn't help but ask. Huaxian said, we flew in together. If it's not the Death Desert, then where else could it be? Don't worry, my intuition tells me that we are moving forward and will soon be able to get out of the Death Desert. Hearing this, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Biayu said bitterly. I finally understand why the powerful people of my tribe prevented us from entering the Death Desert. This damn place is also thanks to your awesomeness. My husband, otherwise, I would definitely not be able to get out by myself. Upon hearing this, the others nodded in agreement. Alright, if your current cultivation level is placed outside, even in the upper realm, it is still a monster among monsters, and it will become even more powerful in the future. Husband, are we going to punish evil and promote good and save the world in the future? Morong Fir asked in a crazy way. Yes, punish evil and promote good. And save the world. I thought to myself, the human race is still waiting for me to rescue them. Let's go. Everyone followed Huaxian and continued on their journey. Night falls. As expected, the city with brilliant lights appeared again. Exactly the same. Honey, that weird city is back again. Thalia said fearfully, remembering the last time she broke in. She was almost scared to death by the mutated city. Huaxian was looking forward to it. Let's go and see what we can encounter tonight. Hubby, you go ahead. Huaxian took the lead in heading towards the city. As expected, they appeared again in the lifeless city full of weird atmosphere. And it was the same place where they were last time. Honey, this city seems to appear at night, Lu Yun said. That's right, let's go. Walking along the seemingly endless street, everything looked eerie and scary under the moonlight. Selling treasures, all kinds of treasures, selling at low prices, making a fortune by making the difference. A shout came from the front. Everyone became serious, and it was obvious that something was going to happen again. Soon, an old man who seemed to have no lower body was seen. In front of him, all kinds of strange objects were placed. Old man, how much do you sell these things for? Huaxian asked. The old man said without even looking up, any item. One is 10,000 gold coins, 2 are 100,000, 3 are 1 million, 4 are 10 million, 5 are 100 million. Based on this, if you ask, you must buy 100 items. Otherwise you will lose your life. Upon hearing this, Huang Xingyu and the others frowned. It sounds like the consumption is not much, but after careful calculation, it is a stage price. How many people can afford it if they encounter it? However, they also heard the hidden meaning, and thought that everything would be fine as long as they didn't ask. But Huaxian smiled. Spending gold coins? What he was least afraid of was spending. Okay, old man, I'll start shopping then, he said, taking away an item. It was just an ordinary wooden hairpin. Huaxian took a look at it and found nothing special about it. Ding, the host purchased an item strangely, and 10 Zaro gold coins were automatically deducted. Huaxian was stunned. I couldn't help but look at the old man carefully, and finally felt that something was abnormal. I don't need to make any decision. The money is automatically deducted. You know, my gold coins are in the system. Young man, the time to take the second item must not exceed 10 seconds, the old man reminded. Chapter 281, Ghost House. After that, Huaxian could only keep making purchases and making deductions. 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. The amount kept doubling and soon reached an extremely terrifying amount. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 270 trillion gold coins within 16 hours and received 10 top-grade strengthening pills as rewards. Ding! New mission. Complete the consumption of 30 million Rillion gold coins within 16 hours. If the mission fails, the host and the heroine will be killed. After the mission is completed, the gold coin system will be upgraded to a platinum coin consumption system. Huaxian was stunned when he heard about the consumption ask of gold coins that suddenly skyrocketed countless times. And he smiled bitterly in his ear. He was also thinking that he could take advantage of the fact that the old man was selling his goods tenfold to make some top-quality strengthening pills. After some calculation, the gold coins given by the system can just buy 100 items. Dreams shattered. So Huaxian lost his mood and quickly took away 100 items. Ding! Congratulations to the host, within 3 minutes. You have consumed 30 million Rillion gold coins, and the platinum consumption system has been activated. Ding! New mission. Within 36 hours, you will need to spend 1 platinum coin to complete it. If the mission fails, 1 level will be deducted from the host's highest gene level. If the mission is completed, you will be rewarded with 1 evolutionary gene pill. At this moment, the body of the old man in front of him suddenly broke apart and turned into ashes, leaving behind a strange coin-like object floating there. Huaxian even discovered that all the things he had just purchased had disappeared, as if they had never existed. Only that coin-like thing really exists. Everyone is extremely curious about this. Huaxian walked over and grabbed the coin. Ding! Get the weird coin. Increase the weird combat power by 100 million times. The host recognizes the owner and wears it. It cannot be given as a gift. Huaxian was stunned. Weird coin. Increase the weird combat power by 100 million times. The Death Gene realm is considered a weird system, right? What does 100 million times mean? She suddenly realized that this is how to play in the weird city. It seems that killing the uncle selling buns is the wrong thing to do, and the right thing to do is to buy his buns? It is not difficult to understand why it cannot be given away as a gift. After all, he bought 100 items and spent an astronomical amount of gold coins to get it. In other words, he had gained the recognition of the old man who bought the items. So this strange coin recognized him. If it fell into the hands of others, it would be a waste coin. An unexpected gain, truly an unexpected gain. Huaxian found that he was getting further and further on the road to invincibility. A smile appeared on my face involuntarily. Honey, what is this? Why does it make you so happy? Huang Xingyu asked, puzzled. Lie. Others looked at him in the same way. The strange coin is equivalent to a very great artifact that can increase the combat power of the strange system. However, it has already recognized me as its master, so I cannot give it to you. No one has any objection to this. The old man himself is very strange, and the items he sells are also very strange. If it were anyone else, who could fulfill his requirements? So everyone thought it was normal that Huaxian completed the old man's request and obtained the artifact. Lu Yun said, hubby, doesn't it mean that anyone you meet in this strange city has treasures? But you have to meet their requirements to get them. Huaxian nodded and said, you can think so. Suddenly, everyone thought of Shaolin Lin. Huang Xingyu asked, husband, sister Shaolin Lin is also from Weird City. What did you get when you met her request? The others also looked at Huaxian, waiting for his answer. Huaxian smiled and said, I have gained this much from a man this big. What do you think you have gained? Fortunately, Shaolin Lin is a strange creature and cannot blush. Otherwise she would be extremely shy. Everyone was speechless, but they all felt that this was the truth. Let's go and see what we will encounter at the next stop. Huaxian walked forward excitedly. This time, they walked a long way and came to a mansion. Very weird. The door of the mansion was closed and unattended. But the lanterns were on, and it was not the light of candles, but a dim light. Shaolin Lin said, hubby, this is a ghost house. Ghost house? Everyone repeated it, knowing from these 2 words that this was not a good place. You are a guest from afar, please come in. A cold and ethereal voice came from the ghost house, and at the same time the tightly closed door opened. Everyone looked at each other and finally looked at Huaxian. Huang Xingyu asked, husband, are we going in? Huaxian's thoughts are now focused on opportunities. He firmly believes in the saying that great danger equals great opportunity. If you think about it carefully, which of the great opportunities we have gained along the way was not obtained in great danger? Go in. He took the lead and walked towards the ghost house. From afar, the dim light of the lanterns inside illuminated the way ahead. If it were replaced with candlelight, it would definitely be a completely different scene. But now, it always gives me a tingling feeling on my scalp. After experiencing so many strange things, everyone is not so scared anymore. Mainly because they have enough confidence in Huixin. Not long after they walked away, a little paper man suddenly appeared. He looked back at Huixin and the others, pointed at himself, and pointed in a direction, and then trotted away. Everyone understood that the little paper man was leading the way for them. The mansion was very big. After following the little paper mansion for a long time, we finally arrived at a palace that looked like an imperial palace. On the left and right sides of the palace, there are two lifelike statues that look like dragons but are not dragons. They are carved to be extremely ferocious and scary. When the little paper man arrived here, he started to burn and finally turned into black ash. Huixin walked towards the palace. He took a step down, stumbled and fell down. Huang Xingyu and the others behind them were confused by what they saw. Huixin stood up in embarrassment and said to them, "This TIKN has gravity blessing, you should do it according to your ability." Having said that, he took another 100 steps and walked upwards. With every step you take, the gravity doubles, so this TIKN, which seems not far away, is likely to be able to stop quite a few people. Seeing Huixin walking away, Huang Xingyu and the others also got ready and set foot on the TIKN. After feeling it, his expression changed drastically. It just feels mysterious. Fortunately, everyone is a genetic practitioner, so they are not too shocked. A quarter of an hour. Huixin finally stepped onto the TIKN and felt his body as light as a feather and extremely comfortable. Looking back, Huang Xingyu and the others were struggling to hold on, while Kang Yuting, Zhang Hong and Lu Yun, who had the highest levels of cultivation, were about to come up. I didn't leave in a hurry and waited for them to come up. 3 hours later, Huang Xingyu and her companions who had extraordinary genes at level 35 all came up, leaving only Chen Yuanian and her companions who had evolutionary genes at level 30 still gritting their teeth and holding on. Each of them was sweating profusely, and veins were bulging all over their bodies from exerting too much effort. It was only 15 steps above TIKN, yet it seemed so far away. Huixin felt distressed. "Wives, if it doesn't work, you can just wait for us downstairs." "No, husband, don't abandon us, we can do it," Yizu was the first to shout. "That's right, husband, please don't abandon us, we are not useless. We don't want to hold you back, we can do it." Chapter 282. Dragon Robe. They spoke in unison, with unparalleled determination. "Okay, don't worry, your husband will wait for you," Huixin said hurriedly. Time passes by every second. They took each step very carefully, and only dared to take another step after they had adapted. When they came to the last 10 steps, each of them was trembling with exhaustion, but they did not give up and continued to work hard with pale faces. There was only one thought in our minds: we are not useless. We cannot hold our husbands back, we must keep up with our husbands' pace. Supported by this idea, they withstood the increasingly powerful gravity, which exceeded their limit, and their willpower was also undergoing a transformation. Huixin felt heartbroken but also proud. He said loudly, "Wise, you are great, keep it up, your husband believes in you." Hearing Huixin's encouragement and recognition, their willpower, which was on the verge of collapse, became firm again. Slow. Because their strength had long been exhausted. 1 hour, 3 hours, 5 hours. In this mansion, there seemed to be no difference between day and night, and they did not enter any other world. A day passed. Relying on their strong willpower, they stood at the penultimate step, just one step away from success. Huang Xingyu and the others were impressed by their willpower. They clenched their fists and cheered them on silently in their hearts. At the same time, I was also thinking in my mind, if it were me, would I be able to stick to it? Another day has passed. Ding dong. Yao Hongjing was the first to come up. She succeeded, but also fainted from exhaustion. Huixin hurried over and fed her some honey. Although honey is a product of the earth, it is a good thing. Yizu is the second, Biayu is the third, Zimeyer is the fourth. As time went by, they came up one after another. Another day passed, and only 3 people were left: Zheng Xiaowan, Kai Yaoyun and Zhang Luxian. "Husband, have I embarrassed you?" Yao Hongjing woke up, and the first thing she did was to find Huixin to ask this question. Huixin held her in his arms and said, distressed, "Lie. Silly girl, you have not embarrassed me, you are all the best. None of my women are bad, I firmly believe in my own judgment." Ding dong. Zhang Luxian also came up. Then there is Kai Yaoyun. Another 5 hours passed, nearly 3 days and 3 nights. And Zheng Xiaowan finally came up. For the first time, Huixin looked Zheng Xiaowan in the eye. He knew how strong the gravity was this time. With the level of their evolutionary genes, it would be impossible for them to reach level 30. However, none of them gave up and moved forward relying on their willpower. Huixin also knew that all this was just because they wanted to catch up with him and be worthy of him. He admitted that they succeeded in impressing him. He fed Zheng Xiaowan some honey, held her in his arms, and walked into the palace. Yao Yun, Zhao Luxian and Deng Yao were held by others. Walking into the palace gate, it was dark and empty, without any unnecessary decorations. Look up at the throne high up. A man wearing a dragon robe, whose face could not be seen clearly, sat there in a dignified manner. Snap, snap, snap. The man suddenly clapped his hands. It was so inexplicable. Not bad, very good. You are indeed a person with the talent of a human king. You can make the people around you break through the limits of their body and will for you. Hearing this, Huaxian frowned and asked in a deep voice. Are you? Who am I? Am I the emperor of a country? No, am I the emperor of a divine realm? I don't even know who I am. But I know that I am waiting for someone. It is not an exaggeration to say that I am waiting for you now. Wait for me? Why wait for me? Huaxian was even more confused. The other party said, you have the breath of that guy's dragon soul on you. He should have told you something. I was also a member of the Justice League when I was alive. The reason why I am not dead is to complete my mission. The others knew nothing about the ice dragon's soul. So when they heard the conversation between this guy and Huaxian, they were all confused. Huaxian asked, what mission? I was kind of looking forward to it, wondering if the other party was going to give me some treasure or something like that. You have the talent to be a human king, even if you are not the future human king. The fact that you can come to me proves that you are extremely lucky. So your future must be promising. And those with a promising future are destined to be unable to escape the mission of carrying the heavy responsibility of the human race. So, regardless of whether you are a human king or not, my mission is to cover up your good fortune and prevent you from being killed by the enemy before you grow up. After he finished speaking, an extremely terrifying aura suddenly erupted from the other person's body. It was not directed at anyone, but it made everyone feel scared. Boom, boom, boom. This extremely powerful aura was no longer something their willpower could resist. Their legs fell to their knees uncontrollably, even Huaxian did the same. There was only one thought in my mind, it was strong. Terrifyingly strong. The next moment, that vast and powerful force actually swarmed towards Huaxian, but did not enter his body. Instead, it constructed an extremely mysterious formation in the form of energy around him. After this formation was formed, it gradually shrank smaller and smaller, and finally entered Huaxian's body. And then nothing happened. Some have regained their composure. System, what use is this formation to me? Ding, this is a formation that seals the luck and the breath of the human king. The system is useless, but the formation contains extremely powerful divine power. When the host reaches a certain level, he can refine the divine power for his own use. Can't we refine it now? Ding, the host is too weak to be refined. Huaxian was speechless, but this was also an opportunity. At least it could be refined in the future. Looking up at the throne, there was no trace of that guy anywhere, only a dragon robe was left scattered on the throne. Huaxian walked over quickly, curious whether this dragon treasure was a treasure. Reach out and touch. Buzz. A powerful force burst out from the dragon robe. Just when Huaxian was about to be blown away, he seemed to sense something and his strength disappeared again. Huaxian grabbed the dragon robe in his hand and felt that it was ordinary and nothing special. However, the powerful force just now made him realize that this dragon robe was by no means simple. System, can this dragon robe be strengthened? Ding. The super artifact dragon robe can extract 10 trillion super god gene points. The host realm is too weak to extract. Huaxian was shocked. No wonder the power just now was so terrifying. He didn't expect that this dragon robe was actually a super artifact. Honey, there doesn't seem to be anything special here. Huan Xingyu and the others said after looking around the entire palace. In that case, let's leave. Led by Huaxian, everyone walked out of the ghost house. The scene before my eyes changed and turned into a desert again. Biu, how did you get out of the death desert? Chapter 283. Out of the desert of death. A majestic questioning voice came. Biu was not afraid when he heard the familiar voice. Instead, he was overjoyed. Grandpa Jaco Stiliu, it's really you. We have finally walked out of the death desert. She threw herself into the arms of a white-haired old man, tears rolling down her cheeks. The old man frowned and looked at everyone, and finally asked Biu, how did so many of you from a team to enter the death desert? And come out? No, there is such a strong aura of death on you. Are you a creature from the Indeed City in the death desert? The old man stared at Shaolin Lin and said, and the holy light power burst out from his body. He was about to take action against Shaolin Lin. Biu quickly stopped him and said, Grandpa Ju, don't be impulsive, she is one of ours. Get out of the way, how can an Indeed creature be one of us? Grandpa Ju, you are just stubborn. We in the Angel Clan still have some bad guys who are guilty of heinous crimes. How come there are no good people among the Indeed creatures? Biu said angrily. What did you say? The old man was furious and slapped Bau with his hand. Huaxian instantly appeared beside Bau, grabbed the old man's wrist and said, "You dare to touch my woman." The voice was icy cold and carried a strong murderous aura, which made the old man tremble in his heart and was extremely frightened. He didn't expect that this young guy was so well hidden that he didn't realize he was a master. "Ubby, don't be angry, my knife grandpa is just stubborn. He's a very good person." Bau was worried about something happening, so he quickly explained. When the old man heard Bau address Huaxian, he couldn't believe it and asked sternly, "Bau, what did you call him?" Bau said proudly, "Husband." Seeing Bau's proud expression, the old man was so angry that he almost vomited blood, and said angrily, "Bau, have you forgotten that you are engaged to the inheritor of the angel clan in the upper world?" Bau said fearlessly, "Grandpa Ju, of course I remember. It's just an engagement. Bau is not worthy of you and me, so I can naturally pursue a better husband." The old man looked gloomy, and his face turned into a pig liver snake with anger. "Bau, you sneaked out, and you really learned bad things in the human world. You even said shamelessly that the inheritors of the angels in the upper world are not as good as you?" Bau said, "As a matter of course, you are not as good as me. Uncle Jiu, what's the matter that requires you to notify me to come here so urgently?" Before the person arrived, a questioning voice was heard. Bau was overjoyed when he heard the voice. "It's Dad. Dad is here." The next moment, a middle-aged man with a kind look arrived. "Dad, where's Mommy?" Bau threw herself into the middle-aged man's arms and asked in a coquettish tone, You finally decided to come back. Who are they?" The middle-aged man looked at Huaxian and the others and asked. Your daughter is so bold and arrogant that she teamed up with these guys to cross the Death Desert. She even said that Bao, the inheritor of the angel clan in the upper realm, was not worthy of her, so she found a human husband." "What?" The middle-aged man was extremely shocked. He didn't even hear the old man's next words. He looked at Bau in disbelief and asked, Did you really cross the Death Desert and come out alive?" You said proudly, "Yes, I crossed the Death Desert with my husband and other sisters. We experienced a lot, and we also saw the fantasy beast." It sounded light, but it sounded extremely shocking. You didn't get hurt, did you?" "Dad, I won't get hurt because my husband is protecting me." Hearing Bau referring to her husband all the time, she looked at the only man in the crowd, Huaxian. This human looks ordinary. Is he really as powerful as you say?" Bau said proudly, "Dad, my husband is super awesome. Look at what level I am at." Bai Linshan frowned and stared at Bau. Shocked that he couldn't see through him, he quickly grabbed Bau's wrist and sent a beam of light into his body to investigate. He was even more shocked and blurted out, You are actually at level 30 of the evolution gene? What? Impossible." The old man at the side couldn't believe it at all. Bau was naughty and often came to make trouble with him. He remembered clearly that 2 months ago, Bau was still at the 27th level of evolutionary gene. How could it be possible that he was at the 30th level of evolutionary gene? Seeing that Bai Linshan looked shocked and didn't seem to be joking, he also grabbed Bau's hand to investigate. Then his expression changed drastically, and it took him a while to adjust to the situation before he asked, Bau, how did you do that?" Bau said proudly, "My husband asked the gods behind him to bestow divine blessings on me and help me improve." Huaxian didn't want to be so high profile, so he quickly sent a message through the female protagonist's privilege. "Wife, the matter of improving your cultivation needs to be kept secret. Don't tell others our little secret." Bau's body trembled, and he answered in his heart, "I know, husband, don't be angry with Bau. Bau will never say nonsense again." God's gift? Improve your cultivation," Bai Linshan exclaimed repeatedly, looking at the old man. "Uncle Ju." The old man was silent for a while, then shook his head and said, "This is the first time I've heard of this. However, I guess at least a super god level person would be able to do this." And he looked at Huaxian and asked, "What realm are you in now?" After all, he is Bau's elder and seems to have a good relationship with Bau. Huaxian shouted, "Grandpa Ju, Dad, I am now at the 29th level of evolutionary genes." Buff. Bau burst out laughing, then said, "Husband, don't joke with me. How could you have only evolved to level 29? The old man and Bai Linshan grabbed Huaxian's left and right wrists at the same time to explore Huaxian's realm. Then they all frowned. "What is your level of light?" Bai Linshan asked. "Buzz." Huaxian unleashed the light gene realm. "Why is it only level 22? Bai Linshan frowned. Seeing this, Bau hurriedly said, "Dad, Grandpa Ju, my husband's most powerful gene is at the Thunder Attribute level." Hearing this, the old man said dissatisfied, "You are still hiding something and you still don't tell the truth about your lightning attribute gene realm." Huaxian smiled and said, I am a relatively low-key person. My Thunder Attribute Gene realm has barely reached the Pseudo-God Gene level 60. What? Your Lightning Attribute has reached the 60th level of the Pseudo-God Gene? B.I. Linchin and the old man were both extremely shocked and looked at Huaxian in disbelief. I forgot to check Huaxian's bone age just now, so I grabbed Huaxian's hand to check it again. Your bone age is not more than 30 years old? It is even more shocking. Even without counting the Thunder Attribute Gene realm. The normal realm is the 29th level of Evolution Gene. And the Light Attribute is the 22nd level of Evolution Gene. To possess such a realm within the age of 30 is already a demon among demons. Tell me the truth, what is the level of your Thunder Attribute Gene? The old man asked majestically. Chapter 284, Angel Realm. Huaxian said helplessly. To be honest, you don't believe it. It's the level 60 Pseudo-God Gene. Ba, you can testify to it. Biu said quickly, I can testify for my husband that he is a level 60 Pseudo-God Gene. Super powerful. Come with me, Bi Linchin said, then turned and left. Huaxian glanced at Bau. Bau said, Dad must be testing you. Let's go. He took Huaxian and left. Everyone followed Ba Phosphorus Sky and flew towards the center of the angel realm. From afar, they could see an enormous statue of a 12-winged angel. Seeing that everyone was looking at him curiously, Diu introduced, that's our ancestor, the most powerful 12-winged angel. Is the 12-winged angel the strongest? Huaxian asked subconsciously. I don't know, but the 12-winged angel recorded in our family tree is the most powerful. Biu answered seriously, and was very curious whether there would be a 14-winged angel. Along the way, there were flowers everywhere. The whole paradise was very beautiful, which made everyone in a good mood. I didn't expect the angel realm to be so beautiful. It's such a great place, Huang Xingyu said. Biu hurriedly said. Sister Xingyu, you can live here if you like. This is definitely the most beautiful place in the world. I thought, it would be wonderful if my husband could live here too. Along the way, we met many angels, but they all had their wings folded and looked no different from ordinary people. Soon they arrived at the location of the largest statue. Directly above it was a majestic palace following Bi Linchin. They entered the palace unimpeded. The palace is guarded by angels in combat mode. But they are all two-winged angels. Huaxian suddenly thought of a question. Biu, what level are the four-winged angels here? Diu replied, hubby, my father is a four-winged angel. And he seems to be a pseudo-god level. My father is stingy and won't tell me exactly what level he is. After saying that, she pouted. Where is your mother? Huang Xingyu asked. I have never seen my mother. My father said she was dead, but I feel like she is not dead. Anyway, no one told me. But I will definitely find my mother. As he spoke, he had already arrived at the backyard of the palace and walked into a testing room filled with advanced equipment. Bi Linchin pointed to a test site that looked extremely advanced and said, Son-in-law, go in and test it. The commanding tone made Huaxian very unhappy. But he was his father-in-law after all, so he had no choice but to go in. System, block some of my more evil abilities. Ding! Options appear, please select the ability you want to block. Huaxian was left with the ordinary gene realm, the light gene realm and the lightning gene realm. When the test started, the most powerful lightning gene realm instantly reacted strongly. The terrifying data soared all the way, and soon broke through the 50th level of the Thunder Gene Pseudo-God realm. Bi Linchin was extremely shocked when he saw the data produced by the instrument in just a few seconds. If you don't have a really strong lightning talent, there will definitely not be such a strong test effect. Less than a minute. Beep beep beep. The instrument immediately sounded a safety alarm, and the accumulated genetic Pseudo-God realm reached the maximum level of 60. The highest test level of this instrument is the maximum level of Pseudo-God realm. The combat power value on the side went through the roof. Bi Linchin was stunned, looking at the off-the-charts combat power value. I was shocked beyond words. My son-in-law's combat power had definitely reached the lowest level of true god. That's why he was shocked. The gap between a false god and a true god is a gap in all attributes. The gap in combat power is even greater than the chasm. But the son-in-law has achieved it. This is definitely a qualification that surpasses that of an evil genius. I also completely accepted Huaxian in my heart. At this time, the light of the ordinary gene realm and the light attribute gene realm became brighter and reached its limit in a few minutes. The ordinary gene is the 29th level of the evolutionary gene. Its combat power also shocked Ba Linchin. It is far beyond the evolutionary gene and is comparable to the 35th level of the extraordinary gene. It can only be described as terrifying. The realm of the light gene is level 22. And the combat power is even more terrifying. It has leapt 11 realms and reached the extraordinary gene level 33. And this combat power is only the combat power of the body itself and its genes, and does not include the bonus of skills and equipment. In other words, the actual combat power will be even higher. White Phosphorus Day is numb. The test is over. Huaxian came out and asked with a smile. Dad, I didn't lie to you, did I? The word dad made Bai Linchen's body tremble and he was very excited. Okay, good son-in-law, no, from now on you are my biological son, Bai Linchen said excitedly. Bai was speechless. Son-in-law, come with me, he pulled Huaxian and left. Huang Xingyu said quickly, husband, let's test the realm attributes here. Good. Bai Phosphorus Tin Chao said to Bai who was following behind. You should stay as well since these beauties are all my son-in-law's wives. You are sisters after they finish their tests, bring them all to the holy pool of light and let them be baptized as well. Bai was surprised and said, Dad, you have always been stingy. Why are you so generous this time? Bai Linchen rolled his eyes and said, when have I ever been stingy? If you weren't a spendthrift, I wouldn't be so strict with you. Bai stuck out his tongue and left. Bai Linchen held Huaxian's hand all the way, unable to hide his excitement. Soon they arrived at a cave where holy light was flashing. Huaxian sensed a vague murderous intent and realized that a killing formation had been set up here. Bai Linchen then let go of Huaxian, and he formed seals with his hands. The power of light burst out, and strange runes appeared like caves. The next moment, the formation at the cave location was directly activated. After a series of changes, a portal made of the power of light was revealed. Bai Linchen asked, son-in-law, remember the hand seals? Just use the power of light to perform, and then recite silently. He came to Huaxian's ear and whispered for a while. Got it? Huaxian nodded and said, Dad, I understand. He was also a little moved, he didn't expect Bai Linchen to treat him as one of his own. Okay. Go in addition to the holy pool of light in my angel realm. There are also treasures accumulated in my light realm. Feel free to use whatever you think is useful. Don't treat yourself as an outsider. Bau is a naughty girl and unreliable, I'll go to the testing room to take a look. After saying that, he strode away. Huaxian looked at the cave and walked in with excitement. It felt like I had broken through a transparent barrier. After entering, I could only feel the pure and rich power of light. Every breath I took felt like I was practicing, making me feel refreshed and comfortable. Looking back, the light gate had closed. Just when Huaxian couldn't wait to go to the holy pool of light. A voice sounded, human, you have the scent of my daughter. Bai Linchen called you son-in-law. Does this mean, you are my daughter's husband? Chapter 285, Mysterious Mother-in-law. Buzz. A powerful and irresistible force of light swarmed in from all directions of the cave and then pressed down on Huaxian. Huaxian felt as if he was being scrutinized, with his entire body, inside and out, being seen clearly, with no secrets at all. At this moment, Huaxian felt that the system might not be able to hide. It was just because the force that was probing him was too strong. Etc. Daughter? Is she Bau's mother? To be so powerful. What realm is this? Huaxian was shocked. However, an even more shocked voice sounded. You are in your 20s, but you have such a powerful son. Death gene, light gene, fire gene, lightning gene, true god power. Murderous gene, what kind of monster are you? It's so shocking. A guy in his 20s actually possesses so much terrifying genetic power. His future achievements are unimaginable. Huaxian breathed a sigh of relief, as the other party had not noticed the existence of the system. Mao, my kid has average talent, I hope I'm not embarrassing you. Huaxian shouted shamelessly. What did you call me? The other party asked in shock. Mom, you are Bau's mother. Bau is my wife, it's right for me to call you mom. I didn't expect you to be so shameless, but since you are a little devil, I will allow you to call me that for now. Hey, mom, do you have a gift? Huaxian asked, rubbing his hands. I thought to myself that since you are so powerful, any gift you give me must be very amazing. The other party was silent for a while and then said, Go to the holy pond of light, your other powers are very strong. At your light gene is to weak, let me help you. Huaxian was extremely excited and rushed into the cave. There is a huge pool in the center, protected by a transparent protective shield. A power of light surges inside it is definitely a good place. Huaxian didn't care about anything and just jumped in. You kid, why are you so impatient? It will be more effective if you take off all your clothes before entering the holy pool of light. Huaxian said in embarrassment. Mom, this is not good. I feel like you're always looking at me, I'm afraid I'll be exposed. The other party said angrily, as for what you have, I have just seen it, it's barely passable. Huaxian was speechless. How could this be said so bluntly? I quickly took off my clothes and the effect was better. Mom, we can start now. Buzz. The space above his head trembled. And the next moment, something like an eye appeared. Just as Hu Xin was puzzled, a pure and indescribable light force floated down from the eye. It fell directly on Hu Xin's head and spread throughout his body. A shocking scene appeared even though the light power in the holy pool of light had condensed into liquid. It actively avoided the indescribably pure light power. It was as frightening as a servant meeting his master. Ding, accept the initiation and power transmission. And gain 1 level of extraordinary gene realm every second. After the system prompted, Hu Xin was shocked to find that his evolutionary gene level had risen rapidly to level 22. It's not the gene points that increase, it's the realm that increases. Level 22, level 23, level 30, it's not over yet, extraordinary genes at level 31. Level 32, level 33, level 45 still no haste, pseudo-god genes at level 46, level 47, level 48, level 60. Finally, the realm of the light gene stopped when it reached the 60th level of the pseudo-god gene. Hu Xin was stunned with shock. He thought the system was powerful enough. But he didn't expect there was such a terrifying existence that could improve his realm so easily. It's hard to imagine how terrifying Bau's mother. This cheap mother-in-law is. I thought this was the end. Ding, the body is being baptized by the power of light. And it is expected that the holy body of light will be obtained. Hu Xin has become numb. A few minutes later. Ding. Congratulations to the host for baptizing the holy body of light and gaining a 100 million-fold increase in light-related combat power. 100 million times increase? The false god's level 60 bright realm bursts out. Plus a 100 million-fold increase. Even a true god can be crushed directly. Right? Excited, too excited. How about it? Do you like the gift your mother gave you? The voice came again. Mom, you are my real mommy. Son loves you very much. You are such a sweet talker. Boy, you should keep this light power and use it to improve my daughter in the future. You must take good care of my daughter, do you understand? Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained 100 million points of pure level less light power. Hu Xin was overjoyed. Mom, don't worry. In my heart, Bau and the others are more important than my life. You still have the nerve to mention them. If you can't grow up to the level that satisfies me, I will castrate you. Hu Xin's body trembled and he took a deep breath. The presence of my mother-in-law was so scary that she was about to castrate me, leaving me powerless to fight back. Mom, don't worry. Your son will never let you down. When the sound stopped, Hu Xin was sure that he had left, and then he jumped out of the holy pool of light. With his current realm and holy body of light, this ordinary holy pool of light is no longer of much use. There were footsteps. After a while, Bau arrived excitedly with Huang Xingyu and the others who looked happy. Obviously, they were very satisfied with the test results. They were talking and laughing along the way, but they only quieted down when they saw Hu Xin. Honey, why don't you take a bath? Bau asked. I'm almost done soaking. You guys go in. And husband, let's go take a bath. When we felt the strong power of light, we were all excited. They jumped down one by one. Bau hurriedly said, Sisters, don't be anxious. It will be best if you take off your clothes before bathing in the holy pool of light. Hearing this, Hu Xin grinned. Huang Xingyu and the others all looked over and said, Hubby, are you waiting for all of us to take off our clothes? Hu Xin chuckled and said, What's the big deal? You are all my wives. It's not like I haven't seen it before. Zheng Xiaowan said. Hubby, you haven't seen mine. I thought to myself. I've followed you for so long, but you rarely look me in the eye. Just start taking off your clothes. Hu Xin looked at Zheng Xiaowan and said, Well, just watch it this time. Go take a bath quickly. I thought to myself, this girl is actually not bad. I might as well get her when I get the chance. The others also quickly took off their clothes. Hu Xin opened his eyes wide, dazzled, and reacted very strongly. Sisters, hurry up and get into the holy pool of light. There's a pervert watching us. Mu Rong Fer shouted and jumped down. Everyone followed suit and jumped into the holy pool of light. Only Hu Xin and Shaolin Lin were left at the scene. As an Anid creature, he was under tremendous pressure just to be able to walk in here. So naturally he didn't dare to enter his nemesis, the holy pool of light. Shaolin Lin looked at Hu Xin pitifully. Hubby, they are all improving their cultivation. But I am not. You are biased. Chapter 200 Itexus, Love Rival arrives. Hu Xin just happened to react strongly. He pulled Shaolin Lin and said, Wife, let's go. Your husband will help you improve your cultivation. Watching the two people walk away, Huang Xingyu said, My husband took Sister Lin Lin away. He must be going to do something bad. Zhen Yuanian laughed and said, Didn't you see that after my husband saw so many of us sisters naked? He had a strong reaction. He probably couldn't help himself a long time ago. Hu Xin took Shaolin Lin to a nearby cave. When they got inside, they saw various items placed there, all of which were treasures. I guess this is one of the treasure troves. The entrance to the cave was protected by a layer of mysterious power. So there was no light power inside Shaolin Lin, who had been feeling unwell. Finally felt better. Hubby, I want me too. Shaolin Lin was very proactive. There was no other way but to practice dual cultivation with Hu Xian to gain benefits. Good. Hu Xian was furious and took this opportunity to vent. A day and a night passed in the blink of an eye. Hu Xian and Shaolin Lin fought non-stop. Shaolin Lin was an innate creature and would never get tired. Hu Xian had a super strong physique, was young and strong, and was also extremely powerful. After one day and one night, Shaolin Lin's realm was raised from level 41 to level 43. Honey, you're so awesome. Such an improvement made Shaolin Lin extremely excited. That's good to know, however. It's time to rest, otherwise I can't bear it if you keep going on like this, and your cultivation level won't be stable. Only then did he pull Shaolin Lin out of the treasure house. As for the things in the treasure house, Hu Xian also took them away. That's right, everything was taken away without leaving anything behind. Then he took Shaolin Lin to visit other treasure houses and also made huge gains. I don't know how many years this has been the Angel Realm's inventory, but the quantity is very huge. At this time, they walked into a cave. It was very cold, there were no treasures inside, only a divine crystal coffin surrounded by cold air. Husband, there is a terrifying existence in this coffin. As an innate creature, Shaolin Lin has a keen sense of innate creatures. Hu Xian nodded and walked over curiously. Looking inside the divine crystal coffin, he was stunned. Lying inside was a young woman of extraordinary beauty. And what shocked him was that the young woman looked almost exactly like Bau. Suddenly, Hu Xian thought of a possibility: could this young woman be Bau's mother? It felt wrong. Bau's mother had communicated with him before and gave him a great opportunity. So who is this woman? Hu Xian took a look, suppressed the urge to open the divine crystal coffin and took Shaolin Lin out of the cave. Then I went to other places. In the end, he was so bored that he started practicing dual cultivation with Shaolin Lin again. This happens over and over again. 7 days later, Shaolin Lin's realm has been raised to level 45. Such rapid improvement naturally made Shaolin Lin very happy. After the breakthrough, she will reach the pseudo-god realm. However, breaking through to the pseudo-god level was obviously very difficult. 3 days ago, she had reached the extraordinary level 45. But she still failed to break through after 3 days. I felt that Huang Xingyu and the others had completed the baptism in the holy pool of light. Hu Xingkai brought Shaolin Lin to find everyone. How are you? Wives. You introduced. If you are not from our angel clan, or if you do not have the talent for light, you can only soak in the holy pool of light for 7 days. After that, there will be no benefit. Hu Xian nodded and asked everyone. So after soaking for 7 days, do you feel any changes? Honey, I feel like all the dirt in my body has been cleaned out. And all those miscellaneous negative things have been evolved by the holy pool of light. Wang Xingyu said. I feel the same way. I feel that my cultivation will be smoother in the future. Chen Yu and Nian spoke. Others felt roughly the same way. Well, now that everyone has benefited, it's time for us to leave. By the way, Bau, do you know that there is a divine crystal coffin in the cave over there? Hu Xian asked. Bau was stunned and asked, is there a cave over there? Why don't I know about it? Hu Xian immediately understood that Bau had no idea, and that it was always his father-in-law who did it on purpose. Fearing that there was some secret, so he said, yes. I have taken it away. I just want to ask if I can take it away. By the way, I've taken all the treasures you have here. Bau said inferently, just take it if you want. My dad saved me anyway from now on. These things are mine. And they are yours, my husband. That would be great. Son-in-law, how are you and your daughter? Bai Linchen's voice came from outside. Let's go, Dad is playing the flute. Bau pulled Hu Xian and led the way. The others hurried to follow. As soon as he walked out, an angry voice came. Bau, do you know that you are my fiancé? Bau's body trembled and he looked towards the place where the sound came from. Everyone looked over in tacit understanding. The young man with an extraordinary appearance and 2 pairs of angel wings on his back was glaring at them. When Bau and Hu Xian finally held hands, a strong murderous aura burst out from the young man. Roll up the mat like Hu Xian. How dare you, lowly human. Desecrate my woman. Buzz. A powerful force burst out, and a heavenly blade appeared in his hand. Bai Linchen walked aside directly with an expression that said, I don't care about what you young people do. Next to him stood another old man with a gloomy face, looking at this side coldly. Bau said, Bau, I advise you not to do anything rash, otherwise my husband will beat you to a pulp. He was a little surprised in his heart. He remembered correctly that Bau was a 2-winged angel before, but now he is a 4-winged angel. And this aura has clearly reached the pseudo-god level. In the upper realm, it is not a pseudo-god realm. To be able to enter the pseudo-god level at this age is definitely a monstrous existence. Biayu's address to Huaxian as her husband completely angered Biao. Damn human, only if you die will Biao change his mind about me. Whoosh. He disappeared from the spot in an instant and slashed Huaxian with a single blow. Biao shook his head and said, Biao, don't blame me for not reminding you. My husband has a bad temper, you will be beaten. After that, he said to the others, sisters, there's a fight, step back and watch the show. I am afraid that the world will not be in chaos. Wang Xingyu and the others all smiled bitterly and were speechless. Biao was so angry that he just wanted to kill Huaxian with a knife. However, he slashed with an extremely powerful sword, only to find that the target hadn't moved at all. What's going on? Despise yourself? Look down on yourself. Roar. Biao was so angry that he roared like a beast, and his violence increased dramatically. I just want to kill Huaxian as soon as possible. Huaxian shook his head and said, you are full of murderous and violent aura. You, a member of the angel tribe known for justice, seem to be a bit bad. With a slight shake, Huaxian dodged Biao's angry attack missed, and he couldn't control his strength and rushed away. With a loud bang, a building was knocked down by Biao, who was so angry that he almost lost his mind. Ah, I must kill you. Biao is completely possessed, and the holy power of light actually began to take on a black aura. Not good. Chapter 287, Golden Angel. The old man beside Biao Linchin cried out in surprise and disappeared instantly. A powerful force burst out and suppressed Biao forcefully, shouting, calm down, wake up. I want to kill him, kill him. Biao stared at Huaxian and roared madly. Since his debut, everything has been going smoothly for him, but this was his first time meeting an opponent and he was beaten so badly. How could Biao accept this? Snap, snap, snap. In order to stop Biao from falling, the old man slapped him hard. Finally, Biao's face was swollen and Yi King woke up. Huaxian said at this time, you can't even handle this little blow. I really don't know how you got these 2 pairs of angel wings. Did you take drugs to get them? Shut up, the old man shouted angrily. At the same time, a powerful aura pressed down on Huaxian. I thought I could teach Huaxian a lesson, but I was ignored. Biao Linchin, who knew Huaxian's background, watched with a smile on his face, feeling very happy. The angels from the upper realm have been oppressing them and they have suffered countless grievances. Now they can finally get some relief. Biao said, see? I've already told you that you are trash and waste in front of my husband. But you still don't believe me and you almost made yourself fall down because of anger. You are also a talent. This is a poisonous mouth. Huaxian felt that if he stopped, he would probably be angry to death. Biao was so angry that his face turned green. Light purifies. The old man used a light skill to hit Biao, which purified the anger in his heart. Huaxian's eyes lit up when he saw this. This purification skill was pretty good. Biao took a few deep breaths to control his purified emotions, stared at Biao and said, Biao, no matter how much you dislike me, it's useless. Our engagement has been made. You can only be my Biao's woman for the rest of your life. Biao spread her hands and said, and you are wrong. My husband has slept with me a long time ago. Maybe in a while, I will give birth to a baby. What's the point of an engagement? Biao, you are betraying me, the old man scolded in a deep voice. And he looked at Biao Linchin, you just stood there and watched the show. Doing nothing, watching your daughter rebel. Did you support it? Biao Linchin's heart sank, and he hurriedly said, Master Biao, ahong. You made it very clear when you came here that young people should solve their own problems. I am strictly following your words. When Biao heard this, his face turned as dark as ink. Okay, very good. In that case, I will report the facts of Biao's betrayal of the angels. Biao, and his affair with the human race. Bi Phosphorus Tiandao. Who is it, Biao, who betrayed the angel clan? According to the rules of our angel clan, the things you want can be obtained through fighting. Although my daughter is engaged to Biao, they have not yet married. Huaxian naturally has the right to pursue her, and my daughter also has the right to choose whoever she wants. If Biao is dissatisfied, then he can fight with my son-in-law to decide the matter. Biao roared, but Huaxian is a human, not an angel. Our rules don't apply to him. Biao said, who said my husband is not an angel? Husband, show him your angel wings. Huaxian said. Low-key, I am a low-key person. He said this but summoned angel wings. A golden light emanated, shocking everyone in the audience. Even Huaxian himself was shocked. Oh my god, it's the golden angel wings? Such a big commotion here has already attracted many people from the angel tribe to watch. Everyone was shocked when they saw the pair of golden angel wings summoned by Huaxian. You are actually the supreme golden angel. Bai Hong stared at Huaxian and muttered with horror on his face. Bai Linchen was also extremely shocked, and then he smiled bitterly. He had only thought about testing Huaxian's innate combat power and had not even looked at his angel wings. After the shock, there was indescribable joy. The Golden Angel is his son-in-law. He gets excited just thinking about it. Meet the Golden Angel. The old Taoist priest finally reacted and took the lead in kneeling down. Meet the Golden Angel. Golden angels are naturally one level higher in status than other angels. No matter in which world's angel realm, as long as they are not golden angels of the same level, their status will be one level lower than that of the golden angels. Even Ba Phosphoristian, as the king of the angel field in the evolutionary gene world, is one level lower than Huaxian. Of course, as Huaxian's father-in-law, he did not kneel down. Seeing Bai Hong kneeling down to Huaxian, Bai Linchen felt even more proud. Bai Hong felt very aggrieved. And he became even more angry when he saw Bai Linchen standing there. Bai Linchen, why don't you kneel in front of the Golden Angel? Bai Linchen laughed proudly and said, Master Bai Hong, I'm sorry, Master Golden Angel is my son-in-law as a father-in-law. If I kneel down to him, I'm afraid he won't agree. Huaxian gave Bai Linchen enough face and shouted, Dad, if you kneel down like me, wouldn't it shorten my life? I'll kneel down for you. Ding dong. Very happy, he knelt down in front of Bai Linchen. Dad, thank you for raising Bai so that my Dao can have such a beautiful and good daughter-in-law. I thought to myself, my mother-in-law has given me such a great benefit. So it would not be a loss for me to kneel down to my father-in-law. Bai Linchen was also shocked. How could one kneel down just like that? But her face was full of smiles. Son-in-law, we are all family members. There is no need to be like this. There are so many people watching us. When he said this, he looked at Bai Hong deliberately. Bai, you also came over? Dad, let's see if the husband I found myself is a good son-in-law for you. Good son-in-law, the best son-in-law in the world. Bai Phosphorus Tian Hui passed. He had never been so happy since Bai's mother passed away. Bai looked at Bai and said, now you know how rubbish you are. You understand that you are not worthy of me. I was also surprised. My husband's angel wings were white before, so why did they turn golden now? Take the time to ask. Lord Golden Angel, we still have things to deal with. So we'll take our leave first. After Bai Hong finished speaking, he grabbed the dazed Bai and left. Staying here would just make you a laughing stock and bring humiliation upon yourself. It can be seen that Bai was almost overwhelmed by the blow. Son-in-law, let's go home and talk. Everyone else should do what they are supposed to do. After Bai Linchen finished speaking, he pulled Huaxian away, showing his great love for him. Everyone followed and came to the reception room of the main hall. Son-in-law, what are your plans next? Bai Linchen asked. Dad, I don't have any plans for now. My goal is to keep getting stronger. After all, I have many beautiful wives. If I'm too weak, I'm afraid my wife will be taken away by someone else. Hearing this, Huang Xingyu and the others all laughed. You kid, can't you be more serious? After saying that, he looked around seriously and said, Son-in-law, everyone here is your wife. There are no outsiders, and I also believe that your wife loves you sincerely and will never betray you. I'll tell you something, you humans are in dire straits right now. So, unless necessary, I suggest you use the identity angels when you grow up. Although those forces are powerful, they don't dare to declare war on our angels directly. Chapter 288, Find. Hearing the news of the human race's distress again, Huaxian felt heavy-hearted. Wang Xingyu and the others were a little bit incredulous when they heard the news for the first time. The human race, as the greatest lord of the billion universes, is actually in trouble? As a human being, I suddenly feel a huge responsibility. Dad, I know, but I am a human, so how can I escape? Don't worry. My human race will rise, and justice will not perish. Huaxian is full of confidence. Bai Linchen smiled bitterly. In fact, we, the angels and humans, are also the Justice League. But the situation is different this time. A powerful force has risen in the darkness and has implicated our angels. So we can't help. Of course, this is not the most critical point. The most important thing is that some of the leaders of your human race fell into darkness and betrayed the human race. This is the reason for the catastrophe of the human race. It can also be regarded as an internal conflict of your human race. Huaxian smiled bitterly and said, Sure enough, the only ones who can defeat us humans are ourselves. That's right, your human race has a very large population. So there are countless strong people. You have ascended to the position of overlord of the 100. Zera universes. Several times you are the biggest force in suppressing darkness and evil. Unfortunately, even the most powerful races will encounter disasters. It doesn't matter, the catastrophe baptizes the termites that have accumulated over countless years. To put it bluntly, it's a catastrophe. To put it nicely, It's the self-baptism of the human race. Only by getting rid of those termites can the human race become stronger. Hiss. Hearing this, Bialinchin was shocked. I didn't expect anyone would think this way. This person is also his son-in-law. Anyone who can think like this will not perish and will surely be able to stand at the top and even surpass the top. I deeply realized that my son-in-law's future is immeasurable. Daughter, you must assist your son-in-law well. After a long time, Bialinchin said to Bau. Wang Xingyu and the others also felt Hu Xin's great ambition and were excited. They knew that this was their man. Hearing what Bialinchin said to Bau, wasn't he speaking to them? Then we will have dinner together. Halfway through the meal, an angel guard arrived and said, King, 3 humans from the upper realm have arrived. They said they are looking for the golden angel. Bialinchin immediately looked at Hu Xin. Hu Xin answered vaguely while eating, they are just 3 pieces of trash. Ignore them. Go and drive them away. Yes. Outside the angel realm, Hu Xinai and his companions arrived along the outskirts of the Death Desert, which was the safe passage that the angels took. Otherwise, with their strength, it would be impossible for them to pass through the Death Desert. There was also a group of sand people following them. Hey, 3 of you, I have brought you to the angel realm safely. You must fulfill your promise and take me to the upper realm, said the sand people. Qi Yunxiao said impatiently. Get out of the way, we'll take you with us when we return to the upper realm. At this time, when they saw the angels who went to report had returned, but did not see Hu Xin and the others, the faces of the 3 of them suddenly became gloomy. Damn Hu Xin, even if you are powerful, you can't be so disrespectful to us. Right? Hu Jetta clenched his fists and said angrily. I'm sorry, Master Hu Xin, I don't want to see you, please leave. Why doesn't he want to see us? Go and tell him that the general from the upper realm wants to summon him. Hu Jita said in a commanding tone. This made the angel angry. Get lost, you are so arrogant even though I gave you face. If it weren't for Master Hu Xin, I would have kicked you out long ago. Shame on you, what do you think our angel realm is? Do you think your human race is superior to our angel race? Hu Jita then realized that the other party was an angel. And he was so arrogant in his haste. Hu Xinai stared at him and said, Hu Jetta, I will report your performance in the lower realm truthfully after I return. Hu Jita's face turned pale instantly. If he offended the angels and the higher-ups knew about it, his future would be over. Qi Yunxiao wiped the cold sweat from his forehead thankfully and muttered to himself that it was a good thing that he didn't say anything nonsense. Hu Xinai looked at the angel and said, Dear angel, we are military personnel from Lord Hu Xin's superiors. We are here to look for Lord Hu Xin. Can you take me to see Lord Hu Xin? Even the angels called Hu Xin sir. Hu Xinai was not stupid. So he naturally followed Sui. They also realized that Hu Xin's background was definitely not simple. Sorry, Master Hu Xin said he doesn't want to see you 3 pieces of trash. So he told you to get lost. The word garbage made the 3 of them look unhappy. But there was nothing they could do. All I can do is walk away and wait. Hu Xin had lunch and took everyone for a stroll in the angel realm. Wang Xingyu and the others all liked the beautiful angel realm and had a lot of fun playing there. Until night falls. Yao Hongjing said, Husband, our human race is in trouble. So let's work hard to improve ourselves. Everyone understands the implication. Okay, then let's go and say goodbye to my father-in-law. No need, you guys can go now, just remember to come back and see me often. Bialinchin walked out and said, Dad, I can't bear to leave you. Biu rushed over and hugged him. Girl, don't you know your father's personality? He used to try every means to run to the human world to play. But now you are reluctant to let you go. Dad, it's different than before. Now I want to follow my husband. We are leaving this world and going to the upper world. We will be very far away from you and everyone else. Your daughter is a little scared. What are you afraid of? Your son-in-law is so powerful, who can bully you? That's right. My husband is the best in the world, he is invincible. By the way, Dad, Bieo has suffered such a great blow. Will the angels from the upper realm come to trouble you? Bei Phosphorus Tiandao, my son-in-law is a golden angel. Unless the upper realm has a cramp, how dare they come to trouble me? Besides, we angels are very united. Even if Bieo and Biambia Hong are dissatisfied, others will not allow them to mess around on T. Worry about your father. Is that so? Then I can go out with my husband without any worries? Dad, when we come back again, I will definitely bring your grandchildren with us. Grandchildren, how many do you plan to have? Bialinchin asked with a wry smile. Biu counted on his fingers seriously and said, 1, 2, 3, oh. It depends on my husband. If he wants, he can give birth to a whole litter. Xian rolled his eyes speechless and said, Who do you think you are? Let's go. Dad, I'll come see you next time. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, son-in-law, as a man, since you dared to take down so many women, You must treat them well even if you suffer. You must not let the women who follow you sincerely suffer. Dad, I know that even if I die, they won't lose a hair. Huaxian said firmly. These ordinary words made Huang Xingyu and the others feel extremely warm in their hearts. And they felt that it was worth following Huaxian. Everyone walks out of the angelic realm. Gu Xinai and the others rushed over immediately. Huaxian. I thought you weren't coming out. Chapter 289, You lied. Huaxian simply ignored them. Led the way towards the Death Desert. Seeing this scene, not to mention Hu Jiedu and Shi Yunxiao, even Gu Xinai frowned. Thinking that Huaxian was too cold and arrogant. Huaxian. Can't you see us or hear us? Hu Jiedu shouted angrily. In his opinion, all the misfortunes he had suffered in the underworld were due to Huaxian. So he was very angry. Shut up, I'm not going to pay attention to you. Are you guys still acting so arrogantly? Huang Xingyu was angry. And the 35th level of the fire attribute extraordinary gene pressed over. Ding dong. Shi Yunxiao, who had the extraordinary gene level 34, but not bear the pressure from Huang Xingyu's realm and fell to the ground in embarrassment. Huang Xingyu's four attributes were already very powerful. Coupled with the increase in the fire attribute gene realm, as well as the increase after baptism in the holy pool of light. Even Gu Xinai and Hu Jiedu, who were also at the 35th level of the extraordinary gene realm, were oppressed to the point of almost being unable to stand. The three of them were extremely shocked. They thought that except Huaxian, everyone else in the crowd was ordinary. Now, the level of power that any random person could unleash could crush them. It's so discouraging. It feels like Huaxian and the others are geniuses from the upper realm, and they are trash from the lower realm. Huaxian still ignored them and led the way to the edge of the Death Desert. Seeing this scene, Gu Xinai and the others were shocked again. I secretly exclaimed, could it be that they really came across the Death Desert? The old man appeared again. Are you leaving, or are you leaving through the Death Desert? Beu said, Grandpa Ju, we are leaving. It is closer to go through the Death Desert. So let's go through the Death Desert. Okay, you all came here easily anyway. And you should have some experience in the past, but you still have to pay attention to safety. The changes in the Death Desert are random if you're lucky. The experience will be easy, but if you're unlucky, it will be a nightmare. Beu said confidently, Grandpa Ju, we are not afraid as long as my husband is here. Girl, you already have a partner, it's time for you to be sensible. Oh, Grandpa Ju, I'm very sensible if you ask my husband. I'm always mysterious and aloof outside. Huaxian said. Yes, Beu is outside and is very sensible. Don't always protect Beu. Let her suffer a loss. If she has a chance, then she will learn her lesson. Go in. Huaxian nodded and led the way into the Death Desert. Gu Xinai and the others were stunned. Shi Yunxiao said in a trembling voice. They have already entered the Death Desert. What should we do? Gu Xinai said, follow him in. Then he chased after him. Shi Yunxiao looked at Hu Jiedu. Hu Jiedu said in a deep voice. Madmen, they are seeking death, but I won't. Then follow them. The killer standing by was also shocked and said. They are too crazy. As a native of the Death Desert, I dare not go deep into the Death Desert. In the Desert of Death. As Huaxian and his companions walked, they disappeared from the sight of people outside. Because they entered at night, the city with dim lights came into their sight again. Everyone was used to it, except Gu Xinai, who followed in with a curious look on his face. I never thought there would be such a beautiful and prosperous city in the Death Desert. While talking, I was already walking towards the city curiously, wanting to go in and enjoy the beautiful scenery. When I reached the city entrance, I noticed that no one had followed me, so I asked curiously, aren't you going in? The Elias said, if you want to go in, just go in. We are not with you. I thought to myself, you will be scared to death if you go in. Huaxian was curious about what opportunities he would encounter this time, but he was not in a hurry. They had been heading west before, but this time they were heading east, and of course they had never been to the eastern streets. And I'll go in and take a look. Gu Xinai walked in inferently. Honey, let's go in too, otherwise I'm worried she will be scared to death. Huang Xingyu said. Although I don't like Gu Xinai, I don't want anything to happen to her. Huaxian nodded and led the way in. Ah, it's terrifying, so terrifying, Gu Xinai yelled. And when he saw Huaxian, he jumped directly into his arms and hugged him tightly. In front of them, a huge head was floating. When it saw Huaxian and the others, it asked with a smile, have you seen my body? Your body went over there. Huaxian pointed to the west. You lied to me, I came from that side. How dare you lie to me? So I'm going to eat your head. And then your body will be mine. He pounced directly at Huaxian. Huaxian raised his hand and used the light healing technique. I see you seem to be in a lot of pain. Let me heal you. Sizzle. Black smoke instantly came out of the head, making a sizzling sound, as if it was on fire when it got close to Huaxian. it turned into ashes. Biu said in surprise, hubby. You cast the healing spell, I didn't expect it to be so effective against Neat creatures. I'll give it a try too. By the way, Gu Xinai, you can come down now. A frightened Gu Xinai saw with his own eyes that Governor Huaxian destroyed the spirit's head. Upon hearing this, his face turned red and he jumped down shyly. Then he secretly looked at Huaxian. Let's go and see what we can encounter tonight. Walking towards the east, Gu Xinai felt a little disappointed when she saw that Huaxian didn't even look at her. After walking about a kilometer, we actually met a group of people. They surrounded the city and seemed to be watching a performance by a troupe. Snap, snap, snap. At this time, they all clapped their hands. And they all looked at Huaxian and the others. Gu Xinai looked out of curiosity and saw that they were all pale dead faces. He trembled with fear and was terrified. Snap, snap, snap. Huaxian also clapped his hands. Huang Xingyu and the others also quickly applauded. Only then did those people turn around and continue watching the show. Honey, what's going on this time? Huang Xingyu asked. Whatever, let's try passing by and give it a try. Soon he was closer than the crowd and the troupe. Just when they were about to pass by. Those with money can show their support with money. And those without money can show their support with their presence. As these words were spoken, the onlookers took out gold coins and threw them over. And they made way for a child about 5 years old, who was staggering as he walked, holding a woe plate, and walked towards Huaxian and the others. Huaxian and others had to stop passively. It's a money field, it's a people field. The little child spoke awkwardly. Only then did everyone realize that the child had his eyes closed. Or in other words, he was blind. Gu Xinai was generous and took out the gold coins and threw them into the compass. Thank you, sister, you are such a good person, please stay and take care of me. The little boy said to her without opening his eyes. It was so weird that Gu Xinai screamed and hid behind Huaxian in fear. Sister, you can't leave, you are already ours, come here. The child spoke again. Chapter 290, Cursed Neat Creature. A shocking scene appeared. Gu Xinai actually walked towards the child. No, Huaxian. Save me, my body is out of my control. Gu Xinai grabbed Huaxian's arm tightly and shouted. However, her feet and body did not seem to be her own. And she kept moving towards the child with force. The same thing happened when I grabbed Huaxian's hands. If I couldn't hold on at all, I would just let go. Huaxian frowned and grabbed Gu Xinai's right hand. I just felt a huge force controlling my arms and moving towards the child. Huaxian took out a platinum coin and threw it over. Ding, congratulations to the host, you spent 1 platinum coin within 36 hours and received an evolution gene pill as a reward. Ding, new mission, completed within 36 hours and consumed 2 platinum coins. If the mission fails, the host's highest gene realm level will be deducted. If the mission is completed, the reward is 1 evolution gene pill. Big brother, you are so kind, can you stay with this sister? As the child said this, Huaxian discovered that a strange force appeared out of nowhere and controlled the body to walk towards the child. When Huaxian tried to resist, this force became stronger and stronger with the intensity of his resistance. Everything was very strange. Huang Xingyu and the others were also ready to invest gold coins. Huaxian stopped him and said, don't mess around. And he walked over to the little child. Gu Xinai was not so scared when she saw that Huaxian was with her. Brother, sister, please follow me. The child put away the gold and platinum coins, hung the compass on his body, held Huaxian in one hand and Gu Xinai in the other, and turned to walk towards where they were performing. The child felt stiff and cold, and Gu Xinai was even more certain that the child was not alive. Those people made way for a larger gap. At this time, Huaxian and the others could see clearly that the place where these people were gathered was actually a huge oil pan with boiling hot oil, and a man and a woman were frying food inside. When they reached the edge of the oil pan, the child looked at Huaxian and Gu Xinai and said, Big brother, big sister, go down and swim with my parents. Gu Xinai found that his body was out of control again, and he walked towards the boiling oil pan. The same is true for Huaxian. I don't understand what is going on. In other words, how can you pass this level to get the reward? As for frying, he has a strong fire attribute and is naturally not afraid of the high temperature. Huaxian, save me. Gu Xinai struggled and shouted. You're. Huaxian gave himself a healing shot, and then gave Gu Xinai another one. After receiving the mysterious power, he was obviously afraid of the power of light and disappeared. The people watching the show around also dispersed instantly. Only the child and his parents in the frying pan were staring at them with great anger. He scared away our customers and destroyed our money-making furnaces. Just to starve us to death and fry you and eat you. The man in the frying pan roared, leapt up, and pounced towards Huaxian with oil dripping all over his body, while the woman pounced towards Gu Xinai. Wise, use the gold coins you have on you to hit them. Huaxian shouted loudly while pulling Gu Xinai back. Upon hearing this, Huang Xingyu and the others took out the few cash coins they had and threw them fiercely at the family of three. I have a lot of gold coins, Bau said. Huaxian asked curiously. Bau's wife, what are you going to do with so many gold coins? I collected the information to travel in the human world. No, I went to look for you, my husband. Now that I found you, I don't have time to spend it. Bau also learned it to be fancy. Huaxian rolled his eyes and said, put your gold coins in that oil pan and fill it up for them. A family of three, covered in grease, were hit by gold coins. They actually lay on the ground and kept picking up the gold coins. It was extremely strange. Bau listened to Huaxian's words, rushed over, and threw all the gold coins in the nano-space device into the oil pan. Soon the oil pan was filled with gold coins. I don't know how many gold coins Bau has. After filling it up, it has piled up into a small hill. The family of three were very excited after seeing this. He actually knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Huaxian and the others. And the body faded and turned into 3 rays of light flying towards the sky. A long sword, a whip and a short knife were left in their place. Everyone was extremely surprised by this. Honey, what is going on? Huang Xingyu asked. Huaxian shook his head and also indicated that he didn't understand. Xiao Linlin said, they must have been cursed. The secret to breaking the curse is that someone filled the oil pot with gold coins. So, when they see a stranger giving them gold coins, they think the stranger is very rich, and they will drag them into the oil pan to get the gold coins from the stranger. When the White Feather sisters fill up the oil pan, the curse on them will be broken. But husband, how did you know that filling the oil pan would break the curse? Huaxian spread his hands and said, I just felt that they wanted to trick me into throwing me into the oil pan. And I was unhappy. Plus, they like gold coins, so I let Bau fill the oil pan with gold coins. It was a blessing in disguise. As he spoke, he walked over, grabbed the sword and looked at it. Ding, an ETH sword. Cast by an ETH creatures, combat power increased by 10,000. Xiao Linlin excitedly grabbed the long whip and short knife, and said happily, honey, these 2 weapons are a pair. Please give them to me. Huaxian threw the long sword over as well and said, all 3 should be together. They are all in ETH weapons. They are all yours. Thank you, husband. Xiao Linlin was extremely excited. Let's go and see what we will encounter next. After experiencing several ETH creatures, Gu Xinai was not so scared anymore and followed everyone courageously. I looked at Huaxian from time to time and felt that he was very mysterious and seemed to be omnipotent. Looking at Huang Xingyu and the others, he was actually a little envious of them for being able to follow Huaxian. This time, after walking for a quarter of an hour, the doors of the shops on both sides were closed, and dense black leaves appeared on the road. It seemed that no living creatures had appeared there for a long time. Honey, it's even weirder here, Huang Xingyu said. Whatever, keep moving forward. After walking for a while, a place like an inn suddenly appeared in front of us. Moreover, the lanterns used actually emitted fiery red flames instead of eerie dim lights. From a distance, the entire inn looked very festive. As you walk in, the beautiful women with gorgeous clothes but pale skin came out of the inn. He shouted to Huaxian, young man, come in and play. Even if you haven't eaten pork, you've probably seen a pig run. After hearing this, Huang Xingyu and the others understood that this strange inn was actually a brothel. Let's look at the sect again. Why Ling Yuan? The name is very literary. Honey, do you want to go in and play? Lian asked with a smile. Others laughed too. My husband strongly recommends that you go and have some fun. That's right, husband, let's go and have some fun. This kind of place must be your man's favorite. Huaxian nodded and said, since the wives have all recommended me to go and have fun, it's hard to refuse such a kind invitation, so I will not refuse it. Chapter 291. Sorry everyone, Yiling Garden only accepts men. Huaxian strode towards Yiling Garden. Hey, sir, please come in. 2 gorgeous beauties, Wang Ling, immediately surrounded him enthusiastically and supported Huaxian on the left and right as he walked in. What should we do? Huang Xingyu asked. Let's go in and take a look. Yao Hongjing said. Take the lead and walk up. Immediately, a beautiful woman came out and said, I'm sorry, everyone. We at Yiling Garden only accept male guests. Inside Yiling Garden, Huaxian looked around and saw that there were still quite a few guests. They all stared at the stage in the center, where a beautiful woman was dancing. Her dancing posture was charming. If it weren't for her pale skin, she would be perfect, Huaxian thought. Sir, this is the courtesan one Pio Xiang from our Yiling Garden. How about her? Do you like her? Asked the beautiful woman on Huaxian's left. Huaxian nodded and said, not bad, I like it. Wan Pio Xiang? This guest has called you, but you still don't accept the guest. Wan Pio Xiang immediately stopped dancing and looked at Huaxian. It seemed that because Huaxian was handsome, The smile on her face was full of weirdness and horror under her pale skin. Why, he was able to order 1 Pio Xian later. I'll pay 10 0 gold coins, and 1 Pio Xian will be mine, and an young man said, growing over something similar to a nanospace device. 1 Pio Xian suddenly felt embarrassed. Sir, what do you think? She asked Hu Xian. Hu Xian took out 2 platinum coins and threw them over, saying, led the way. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have consumed 2 platinum coins within 36 hours and received an evolution gene pill as a reward. Ding, new mission. Within 36 hours, complete it and spend free platinum coins. If the mission fails, the host's highest gene realm level will be deducted. If the mission is completed, the reward is an evolution gene pill. Gold coins are nothing compared to platinum coins. After all, platinum coins contain primary genetic energy. Young man, please come upstairs. 1 Pio Xian welcomed him with a bright smile, but that smile was too weird. It didn't look pretty, but creepy. When the young man saw that it was a platinum coin, he obviously couldn't take it out, so he gave up dejectedly. Come to the 3rd floor. 1 Pio Xian opened the door enthusiastically, bent down 90 degrees, revealing her pale chest, and said enthusiastically, Sir, please come in. Hu Xian walked in with a swagger, wanting to see what would happen next. Even if he was really sleeping, he would not be afraid because he had a death value. 1 Pio Xian closed the door and walked towards Hu Xian with a swaying, extremely seductive step. When she came to Hu Xian, she was not shy at all. She sat on Hu Xian's thighs, snuggled in Hu Xian's arms, picked up the wine glass and handed it to Hu Xian's mouth, saying, Sir, I will feed you wine. Hu Xian looked at the drink, which was dark blue in color, and had no idea what it was. He shook his head and refused. A night of love is worth 1,000 gold. Drinking is just a waste of time. After saying that, he picked up 1 Pio Xian and walked towards the bed. I thought, let's see if you'll be scared. Oh, you are too impatient. Sir, if you want that, you have to answer a question first. 1 Pio Xian hugged Hu Xian's neck and refused to let him put her on the bed. What's the problem? Hu Xian was quite curious. Sir, do you think I'm pretty? Nice. Congratulations. Do you like me? Like? Sir, if you get me, it will take half of your life. Are you still willing to like me? After saying this, her long skirt disappeared, and Hu Xian discovered that 1 Pio Xian, whom he was holding, was naked. Gurgle. He swallowed his saliva and whispered in 1 Pio Xian's ear. If you and I practice dual cultivation together, it can improve your cultivation level. What will you do? 1 Pio Xian was stunned. Such an expression made Hu Xian stunned. Realized that this Anid creature 1 Pio Xian was different. And let's give it a try. 1 Pio Xian actually took the initiative. But you will lose half your life. Hu Xian refused. You think I'm stupid? I lost my life by sleeping with you. But your cultivation level also improved. I got nothing. You got me. And I don't want you now. That's beyond my control. What is this place? Yilin Garden, you right here. Why are you not sleeping? What are you doing here? I have plenty of money. I came in to spend it. After saying that, he took out 3 platinum coins and threw them at 1 Pio Xian. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 3 platinum coins within 36 hours and received an evolution gene pill as a reward. Ding, new mission, completed within 30 hours and consumed for platinum coins. If the mission fails, the host's highest level of gene realm will be deducted by 1 level. Complete the mission and you will be rewarded with 2 evolutionary gene pills. 1 Pio Xian smashed the platinum coin and came to Hu Xian in an instant. She hooked her hands around Hu Xian's neck and asked, Am I not beautiful? Look at me, smell me. I have never served a man before. You are the first one, aren't you looking forward to it? Infinite temptation. Hu Xian smiled slightly, with lightning in his right hand and light in his left, and asked, Then I'll give you a gift, choose one of the 2. Which one do you choose? 1 Pio Xian was so scared that she retreated far away, and said with a ferocious look, Human, if you give me half of my lifespan, I can be free. You can control my body, and you won't suffer any loss. So why do you want to hurt me? What are you relieved of? Hu Xian asked. I've been stuck in this damn place for 100,000 years. I've had enough. Aren't there a lot of indeed creatures out there with you? It's fake. They are all illusions created by me. So now, think of it as taking pity on me. I will use my virginity to exchange for half of your lifespan. Let me be free, okay? By the way, which series of indeed creature are you? Hu Xian asked instead of agreeing. The main reason was that the weird totem was bound to a weird female protagonist, and the combat power increased by 10,000 was too tempting. Roar. The next moment, an Anid creature with long hair, sharp teeth, and a bloodthirsty aura appeared in front of him. Human, now that you are satisfied, I tell you, you forced me to reveal my true form. So even if you don't want to, you have to trade with me. Huaxian's eyes lit up when he saw it. This was obviously not the same kind of an Eid creature as Shaolin Lin. Shaolin Lin is a weird one, and the one in front of him is an Eid. They look similar, but there are differences. Is this your true form? Bullshit, this is what I will become after I die. This is my true form. Wan Pio Xiang turned back into human form. Huaxian was surprised and asked, so, you are a human form that turned into a zombie-like thing? That's right, come here now. A strange smile suddenly appeared on Wan Pio Xiang's face. Huaxian was stunned. The next moment I was surprised. The strange situation that he had encountered in the oil pan happened again. His body was out of control, and a strange force controlled him to walk towards Wan Pio Xiang. Not only that, as he walked over, he also unrest himself. Heal, Huaxian used his mind to control the healing skill. But there was no response. Chapter 292, Insignificance. Huaxian tried to mobilize the power of thunder and lightning. But it didn't work. The fire attribute power is still not enough. It seems like they are about to confront each other. Huaxian also gave up. Ding, congratulations to the host. The second strange totem has been successfully bound. And the combat power has increased by 10,000. Ding. Congratulations to the host, you have taken the first drop of blood from the weird heroine and gained 1 million points of Indeed power. Huaxian was stunned. Indeed power? Isn't it different from the power of death genes? How could this happen? Why didn't your life disappear? Why wasn't I freed? Wan Pio Xiang stared at Huaxian and muttered in disbelief. Huaxian looked at Wan Pio Xiang with a smile and said, I've already said it before, it's more appropriate for you to be my person. And he took the initiative and squeezed Wan Pio Xiang madly. No, I won't accept it, I won't accept it. Wan Pio Xiang roared like crazy. Wan Xingyu and the others outside, hearing the miserable words of this stranger, couldn't understand what their husbands were doing in Yiling Garden. 2 hours later, a terrifying indeed force erupted from Yiling Garden. Wan Pio Xiang, who had been in a state of resignation, was shocked. Looking at Huaxian, I thought to myself, this man is not lying to me. Can sleeping with him improve my cultivation? She was already at the peak of the 47th level of the Ndi Gene realm and was on the verge of a breakthrough. After absorbing the essence from Huaxian, she broke through directly. After a while, he reacted, grabbed Huaxian's hand excitedly and asked, can you take me away from here? After asking the question, I was extremely nervous, fearing that the answer would be no. Sure. Then take me away now. He stood up. And the clothes on his body appeared automatically. And he pulled Huaxian away. Fortunately, Huaxian also has an exquisite charm suit that can be controlled by mind. Otherwise he would have been running naked. When she arrived at the gate of Yiling Garden, Wan Pio Xiang stopped. In the past, she was not allowed to leave Yiling Garden. Once she went out, she would be severely punished, which left her with a psychological trauma. Wan Xingyu and the others looked over curiously. Chen Yuanian said bitterly, it seems that we have added a special sister. Let's go. Huaxian pulled Wan Pio Xiang out. Wan Pio Xiang closed her eyes in fear, waiting for the punishment to come. After they had walked far away and no punishment had come, he suddenly opened his eyes and looked back. He found that he was far away from Yiling Garden and cried with joy. I have walked out. I have finally left this damn place. If you have never experienced it, you will never understand what kind of pain it is to be imprisoned in one place for 100,000 years. The next moment, the screen changes. Roar. Before everyone could adapt, they heard a roar, and then the sky seemed to darken. Looking up, they saw a huge foot that covered the sky and the sun stepping down. Get out of the way. Huaxian roared and rushed towards the giant foot, trying to stop it from stepping down. The heroines reacted and found that the giant foot was too big. Even though they were no match for it, they were too late to dodge. Huaxian rushed under the giant foot and used all his strength in both hands, trying to overturn the giant foot and its owner. Now that he possesses true god-level combat power, Huaxian is full of confidence. However, after doing that, I found that it was of no use at all. This giant foot weighed almost 10,000 tons, and he had no way of resisting it. Husband, here. Huan Xingyu found a huge rock, hid under it and shouted to Huaxian. Huaxian had no time to rush over, but fortunately he was able to teleport to the heroine's side. Where is my husband? Lian asked in shock when she saw Huaxian suddenly disappear under the giant feet. And here, Huaxian shouted in the crowd. Husband? You. Boom. It was deafening. The huge rocks behind them that were like mountains were actually shattered to the limit visible to the naked eye under this kick. The ground cracked and it shook violently as if a magnitude 100 earthquake had occurred. Fortunately, the huge rock, like a mountain, held up and was not completely stepped on. Otherwise they would all have died under this kick. Looking into the distance, a supergiant wearing armor and looking at a giant axe is walking away. To be precise, the giant only took 2 steps. They were too small and the giant was too big. The steps were too far for them. Biayu said with lingering fear. Grandpa Jayu said that the folded space in the Death Desert changes randomly. It seems that this time, we have come to an extremely huge world. So we seem very small. Huaxian was hit hard and said bitterly. I thought I had the fighting power of a true god, which was already amazing. Now it seems that I can't even withstand a kick from someone passing by. Husband, don't say that one day you will be able to trample all the strong people in the world under your feet. We believe in you, Yao Hongjing said firmly. Yes. Husband, we believe you. Buzz buzz buzz. At this time, a deafening sound came from the sky. Everyone subconsciously looked over and saw a huge dragonfly flying towards the distance. The buzzing sound was actually the friction sound of the dragonfly's wings hitting the air. What the hell is this world? Huaxian said depressedly. Ding dong. There was another loud noise, and everyone felt the ground shaking violently. All vision was blocked, as if it was dark when they looked up. They saw a giant grasshopper landed on the stone. Bang! The grasshopper jumped very far in one leap. Huan Xingyu said speechlessly. Abi, I discovered that our biological counterparts here are microorganisms. I also feel like they can't even see us. At this moment, the soil under their feet suddenly rolled up, covering a very large area. Oh no, something is coming out from below, let's run quickly. Huaxian yelled and took the leap to run away. Looking back, I saw a super huge earthworm breaking out of the ground. Everyone was speechless in the normal world. A tiny earthworm was now thousands of times larger than them. System, what kind of world is this? Ding, the host's consumption level is too low, and he has no right to ask anything about this world. Huaxian was speechless as expected. In this death desert, if you are unlucky, you will really die. Husband, what should we do now? Huang Xingyu asked. Everybody was looking at him. What else can I do? Let's go east. I hope we can get out of this damn place as soon as possible. Otherwise I'm worried that I will collapse. After saying that, he flew away. Fortunately, their realm was not affected. Otherwise how could they walk? I'm afraid I won't be able to get out of this hellhole for 10 years. Buzz. A huge bee suddenly flew out from the huge flower below. Careful. Huaxian only had time to shout be careful, before everyone was hit by the bees. Bees have dense hairs on their bodies, and of course, these hairs are as huge as towering trees to them. Everyone was hit so hard that they felt dizzy and extremely depressed. Soon, the bees led them to a super huge tree hole, which was full of propolis and honey. Chapter 293, Billion Times Nutrition. It smells so good. So good, this is the first time I smell such sweet honey. The mouse self is a typical foodie and was extremely excited when he smelled the aroma of honey. It smells really good, this honey might be special. Let's go and try some. After saying this, Huaxian took the lead and flew towards the nearest honey. They are so small that they are probably just microorganisms in the eyes of bees. So there is no need to worry about being discovered. Everyone fell on a drop of honey together. It was just a drop of honey. But to them it was like a city. It was so shocking. Eat. I never dreamed that one day would eat like this. Huaxian said speechlessly. Me too, I'm afraid few people have experienced this. Huaxian took a bite of honey. Ding, the host has taken in 100 million times the nutrients. His physique has been enhanced, all attributes have been enhanced. Reaching the level 40 extraordinary gene realm, and his special physique has reached the level 15 special gene realm. Huaxian was stunned. Just by taking a bite of the honey from this world, his genetic realm skyrocketed by 11 levels, and even his special physique gene realm that had been stagnant for a long time was raised by 1 level. Wow, honey, I feel like I'm going to explode. What should I do? Me too, honey, the power of this honey is so strong that I am about to explode. Honey, I can't do it anymore. All the heroines ate the honey. They, without a system, would be blown away by the terrifying billions of nutrients. System, help the heroines consume nutrients. Ding. Helping all the heroines consume nutrients. 3.8 billion strengthening points need to be deducted every second. With the help of the system, the heroine's situation was finally under control. I was so shocked. I never thought that after taking a mouthful of honey, a nutritional value was so terrifying that I almost burst. After taking control, the heroine's realms began to soar wildly. Just like Huaxian, with all their attributes soaring. Don't you two have sex? Huaxian asked Xiaolinlin and Wan Pao Xian, who were fine. Hearing this, the two grabbed a handful and took a bite, saying, we are strange creatures, our bodies are dead, and we cannot absorb the nutrients of honey. It was also very frustrating, seeing other people's strength improving but they couldn't. Life, it's okay, I believe there is always a way to improve you quickly. After saying that, he continued to eat honey. After a few mouthfuls, the genetic realm has been raised to pseudo-god level 60. And if it breaks through again, it will become a true god. The elite realm of special physique has also reached the 20th level of evolutionary genes. Huaxian continued to take it. His genetic level did not improve any further, but his evolutionary genes continued to improve. He kept eating and soon his special gene rel reached the peak of pseudo-god level 60. I never thought that one day, eating honey would make my realm soar. 3 days later, a heroine wakes up, and the three with the highest realm, Lu Yun, Zhang Hong and Kang Yuting, wake up first, and their all attribute gene realm reaches the pseudo-god level 60. The three of them all looked unsure of themselves, but after taking a bite of honey, they felt like they had reached heaven in one step. And the surprise in their hearts was indescribable. Looking at the honey under my feet, I thought it was a treasure. And of course I didn't dare to eat it. Although they didn't feel anything. They knew that Huaxian must have done something so that they could safely absorb all the nutrients. The higher the level of cultivation, the sooner one will reach the peak of pseudo-god level 60. And once he reaches it, he will wake up. Another day passed and everyone woke up. Everyone has fear in their hearts, but more of it is joy. Hubby, all of us are now at the peak level 60 of the pseudo-god realm. The next step is the unattainable true god realm, Huang Xingyu said excitedly. We are not, Shaolin Lin and Wanpao Xian said in unison. Seeing everyone getting stronger and gaining immense benefits, he secretly hated himself for being a weird creature. If he were a living person, he would have been improved differently. Lin, Pao Xian, don't be upset, trust your husband. With him around, you will be able to take care of us soon. Huang Xingyu comforted them. The temperament of a big sister gradually emerges. Okay, it's almost time, let's see if we can take some honey away. Let's get ready to leave. Honey, I tried it, and our nano-space device can't be used here. Xing Xiaowan said. System, can you take the honey away? Ding, the host's consumption level is too low apart from eating and using. He cannot take away any items from this world. It's depressing that such a good thing cannot be taken away. Otherwise, if I take it out, how many experts will be needed to make it? Let's go. If we can't take it with us, then we can't take it with us. We have gained such a huge benefit, and we should be content. You know, our current state is something that countless people cannot achieve even if they spend their entire lives. We are still young, and we will definitely go further in the future. Hubby, following you, we can definitely go very far. Until we are invincible, Biayu said with a clenched fist. With greatly increased strength, everyone's flying speed has also increased. Among microorganisms, they are considered special microorganisms among special microorganisms. Just flew to the tree hole. My eyes went dark and I saw an extremely large wooden stick poking in. Everyone quickly hid and heard a child's voice. Hurry! There's a lot of honey in there, it's a big harvest this time. Even a child's voice, at close range, sounded like an ultrasonic weapon to Huaxian and his friends, deafening enough to burst their eardrums. They hid in safe places one by one, covering their ears tightly. After a full hour, the entire beehive was torn to pieces by these children. Huaxian took the lead and flew out, and saw several super giant children leaving happily with honey in their hands. Buzz buzz buzz. There were also many bees buzzing nearby. It has no impact on Huaxian and others because they are too small. Fly towards the east. Along the way, we saw giant butterflies, ants, tigers as big as planets, wild boars and countless other super huge creatures. Finally, they felt the space tremble, and the next moment, they appeared in the yellow sand. Just about to be happy. Roar! But the roar, a huge mace came crashing down at them. Everyone dodged in panic. Looking over, although this time it was not a super creature, the green-skinned man holding a mace was also 10 meters tall. One stick missed, and another one came. Whoosh! After a sharp gust of wind. Phew! Blood splattered as the arrogant green-skinned creature was shot in the head by an arrow. Huaxian and the others looked in horror towards the direction where the arrow came from. A beautiful wild woman with dark skin, naked upper body and wrapped in animal skins on the lower body, ran over nimbly. Why is she called a wild beauty? Because although her face is dark, her skin is whiter than that of Agnes, a pure black woman, and her face shape is very beautiful. The beautiful woman walked over and seemed to have just noticed Huaxian and the others. She stopped, put away her bow and arrow, squatted down and looked at them curiously. The strange language asked, "What tribe are you from?" No one understood and could only look at Huaxian. System. Strengthen the languages of all races in the billion universes for me. Ding, there are a total of 90 trillion languages in the billion universes, which are divided into low level, elementary, intermediate, and advanced levels. The enhancement points consumed for different levels are 100 for low level, 1000 for elementary, etc. It is estimated that all enhancements will require 1 trillion enhancement points. Do you want to enhance? Chapter 294, Fragrance Giant Tribe. Forget it. System, please strengthen the language of this beautiful woman in front of me and the heroine. Ding, congratulations to the host. The primary language has been strengthened successfully, consuming 1000 strengthening points. Hey, I'm asking you a question. The tall and extremely beautiful woman asked again. Although not as tall as the 10-meter tall green-skinned giant holding a wolf go club, this beauty is also about 5 meters tall. Huaxian looked at her long legs and thought they might be as tall as him. The language reinforcement was completed and everyone understood what she said. What are you asking us? Huang Xingyu asked curiously. And directly used the language of beautiful women. Hey, you can speak our language? Which tribe are you from? The beautiful woman asked in surprise. We are human. Huaxian replied. Human race, such a familiar name. I remember now, according to historical records, the human race is insidious and cunning, but the strong reproductive capacity, and is spread across countless universes. Are you the cunning human race? Huaxian rolled his eyes. Do you think I'm a cunning person? The beauty looked at Huaxian and shook her head. No, you look more like a loser who can't do anything. Puff. Huang Xingyu and the others all burst out laughing. Huaxian said, speechless lie, beauty, don't think that you can bully me just because you are taller than me. If you push me to the limit, I will marry you and make you my wife. Huang Xingyu and the others glared at Huaxian fiercely, and subconsciously looked at the giant beauty, thinking that they were a little uncomfortable with such sisters. You want to marry me? The beauty looked surprised. Then he asked seriously, are you confessing to me? Then you come with me. After the beauty finished speaking, she pulled Huaxian away. Then she complained that Huaxian's legs were too short. So she picked him up like a princess and ran away. Huaxian looked at the beautiful woman's huge breasts and exclaimed. If he took her to be his wife, she would probably be suffocated if she turned over. Huang Xingyu and the others followed behind him, depressed lie. After a while, many huge stone-wall thatched houses appeared in the distance, surrounded by sharp thorny vines, and there were giants working there. The strange thing is that these working giants are all women. Hey, Xi, Yua, you're back, what are you holding? Someone asked curiously. A man like me who has confessed his love to me, I will take him back to ask mother whether to accept his confession. Xi, Yua, where did you find such a weak man? Hey, there are still so many weak women. Hey, don't ask. It's better to have a man than to have no man at all. At least he is much better looking than those green-skinned giants. Xiiwa brought Huaxian to the thatched hut inside. The houses here are located according to rules. The higher your status, the closer you live to the inside. Xiiwa's thatched house is only a few houses away from the exquisite thatched house in the center, which shows that Xiiwa's family has great power in the tribe. Mother, look what I brought back. Xiiwa shouted from a distance. The door of the house opened, and a woman who was as big as a green giant walked out. Except that she was taller than Xiiwa, she was much younger, and the two of them looked more like sisters. When the woman saw Huaxian, her expression suddenly changed. Where did you bring him from? Mother, I went out hunting and saw a hateful green-skinned giant bullying people, so I killed the green-skinned giant. It turned out that the green-skinned giant was dealing with them, and this man confessed his love to me. Should I agree to him? Confession, did you agree? Mother, Xiiwa doesn't dare to act on her own, so she brought him back to ask for your permission. Promise it, the woman replied with a smile. Oh, Xiiwa looked at Huaxian and said, human man, I accept your confession. You must work hard to keep fit, otherwise we won't be able to give birth to a strong child. Ding, congratulations to the host, bound to the alien Xian. Giant tribe heroine Xiiwa, combat power increased by 50. Ding. Congratulations to the host, the alien heroine's totem has been bound to more than 10 people. The special effect has been activated. The combat power increase of all alien heroines has been increased from 50 per person to 500 per person. This is a pleasant surprise. What made Huaxian speechless was that he was actually just joking about marrying the giant Xiiwa, but the main reason was that the other party's height was too oppressive. Even if two people are together, how can they practice dual cultivation? I really can't do it in front of Xiiwa. Not worthy. The woman seemed to see through Huaxian's intentions and explained. Respected human king, don't worry, although the stronger our tribe is, the taller they are, but we can also become the normal height of you humans. Come with me to meet the king of our tribe. After she finished speaking, as if out of respect for Huaxian, the woman's huge height began to shrink, and soon became exactly the same height as Huaxian. When Xiiwa saw that her mother had become smaller, she also quickly became smaller. Everyone looked at Xiiwa after she became smaller and felt that she was more delicate and beautiful. looking like a Barbie. Human, from now on you will be my Xie's man. You must take good care of yourself and exercise at home. Before he finished speaking, the woman interrupted. Xiewa, he is different from other men when you follow him in the future. You must obey his instructions and arrangements, you can't make your own decisions. Do you understand? Xiewa was shocked, but she didn't dare to stop talking to her mother. She said a grieved lie. Xiewa understands. In the Xiang giant tribe, women are superior to men without the consent of the heroine. Men cannot go out and see people. So Xiewa always spoke to Hu Xian in an imperative tone. Soon we arrived at the huge thatched house in the center. The human man in your language has appeared. Right outside the door. What? The human king appeared. A shocked voice was heard in the room, followed by hurried footsteps. Hu Xian frowned. Didn't he, the emperor in Weird City, use his powerful cultivation to hide his ori as a human king? Besides, the system was also blocked. How did this giant tribe that respected women recognize his identity? I'll have to ask later. The huge door opened and a giant woman no less than 15 meters tall walked out. He also looked very young, with nothing on his upper body. And his lower body was wrapped in dragon skin. From Hu Xian's angle, it looked like she was not wearing any dragon skin, and he could see clearly what he should and shouldn't see. He really is the human king. Muttering, the guy's body quickly shrank, eventually becoming shorter than Hu Xian as a sign of respect. Please, king of humanity. Hu Xian felt something in his nose. And when he touched it, he found it was a nosebleed. He secretly said, one should not look at things that one should not look at. It was so embarrassing that I quickly walked into the largest thatched house. The king of the incense giants followed closely behind. Hu Xian asked, I'm very curious. I hid myself very well. How did you recognize me as the human king? Chapter 295. The human king's seal is just an important task. It seems that I don't feel the ori of the human king from you. Which means someone is hiding it for you. But our clan has a secret method that can predict who the human king will be in advance. So we memorized your appearance, and you didn't hide your appearance. So naturally we could recognize you at a glance. Hu Xian understood that perhaps when he didn't have a Tao system yet, they had already predicted their future selves. And why are you so excited to see me? Because our Xiang giants are also members of the Human Justice League. In fact, we are also classified as human, so after the incident, our Xiang giants were also suppressed. Hu Xian frowned. He had heard from the third powerful man that something had happened to the human race. So, the situation of the human race was probably very serious. As it seen through Hu Xian's thoughts, the Xiang giant king said, don't worry, human king, something happened to the human race. Except for those universes close to the enemy, our inner universe is unaware of it. It was forcibly suppressed by the human race's high-level officials. We know this because of inside information. It allows us to prepare in advance and look for the human king. Now that you've come to me, what are you going to do? Hu Xian asked curiously. A giant king glanced at Xiewa and said, originally, I should have served the human king personally. Hearing this, Hu Xian was moved, thinking to himself, I have seen everything I should and shouldn't see, and I am still very interested in you. The king of the fragrant giants continued, however, since Xiewa, the genius of my tribe, has confirmed her relationship with you, I think it must be God's will, so I will pass the position of the king of the fragrant giants to Xiewa. Xiewa was extremely shocked. But there's nothing to regret, you are the future king of our clan. Now I am just passing it on to you in advance. After saying this, he took off the crown on his head. That is, a vine weaving. Huang Xingyu and the others were very curious. Is this crown woven from a vine important? The king of the incense giants saw through their doubts and explained with a smile. Don't think that this is just a vine, it is the vine of the supreme divine tree. But this vine, Xiewa, can shrink in practice like you humans. And she can also gain 1 billion times more combat power. What? 1 billion times? Everyone was shocked. Hu Xian was also shocked. He didn't expect that this inconspicuous crown of the giants, which no one would pick up if it fell on the ground, was so terrifying. While speaking to the giant king, he had already put the crown on Xiewa's head. Suddenly, an ancient, powerful, indescribable force erupted. At this moment, everyone found that they were unable to move. Then, even the thoughts were frozen. The only person who was not affected at the scene was Hu Xian. Seeing the shocked expressions of the others, as if frozen in that moment, Hu Xian was also confused. For a full 3 minutes, Xiewa's temperament changed drastically, giving people the feeling of being strong, terrifyingly strong. After a few more minutes, Xiewa returned to normal, and everyone recovered from their confinement. What happened just now? Chen Yuanayan asked subconsciously. Other people also had such doubts. feeling that something had happened but knowing nothing. Okay, the human king stays, and everyone else goes out. The king of the incense giants said. Xaiyi's mother excitedly pulled her away. Wang Xingyu and the others also went out. After everyone walked out, the door closed automatically. Just when Hu Xian was wondering what the giant king was going to do, but she untied the only dragon skin on her body, and Hu Xian was stunned. The king of the fragrant giant tribe smiled and said, Human king, I saw the previous scene, although I am not qualified to be the woman of the human king. I am willing to dedicate myself to the human king. As she said this, she leaned gently into Hu Xian's arms. Hu Xian's breathing became rapid. Online question, should I take advantage of this or not? Do I want to be a bastard? You should know that now that I have Xaiwa, I will not let you down, Hu Xian asked solemnly. She raised her head, looked at Hu Xian tenderly and said, I know that besides the human race, only one person from each race can stay by the side of the human king. But this does not affect my becoming the human king's woman. Perhaps, N years later, the human king will still remember me and come to visit me. Hu Xian had an extremely intense struggle in his heart. A collision between reason and morality, and willpower played a key role. He pushed the giant king away, turned his back to her and said, I'm sorry, you are very good since I can't let you down. I can't hurt you. After saying that, he walked quickly towards the door. The king of the fragrant giants behind him suddenly burst into laughter. But the sound of his voice became older and older as he laughed. Hu Xian felt confused and stopped, but in the end no human turned around to look. The scene before him shocked him. I saw a giant with wrinkles all over her face. Her skin was wrinkled, she was old and decrepit, and looked like she would die at any time. He rushed over quickly, frowned and asked, What's going on? The king of the fragrant giants raised his head and looked at Hu Xian. Congratulations, human king, you have passed the test of our tribe. As for my appearance, the new king of the incense giants was born. The moment I handed over the crown, the powerful genes in my body were also taken away by the crown. I only had a little support, and after it was exhausted, I looked like this now. Hu Xian frowned and asked, What would have happened if I had lost control and pushed you down? The heart of a human king is broken even if he doesn't die. His achievements will be limited. Hu Xian grabbed her hand and felt it, and found that she was already an ordinary person. He said in a deep voice, In fact, you don't have to pass the throne to Xaiwa. Because from the moment she followed me, she was destined to be infrequent. The confident words startled the king of the incense giants. Then he said, You are the most confident human king I know. Perhaps you can surpass all the human kings who have appeared in history. When Hu Xian heard this, he said, You are wrong. Even if I don't have that damned human king mark, I can still surpass all the human kings of all generations. And this mark of the human king only gives me an additional important responsibility. The king of the incense giants was completely stunned. Then came the shock. Yes, why can't someone who is not a human king be invincible? Why can't someone who is not a human king surpass all the human kings of previous generations? Limitations. It turns out that limited thinking is the biggest obstacle to becoming stronger. The king of the incense giant tribe suddenly saw through it, understood it, and realized it. Buzz. There was a sudden buzzing sound inside her aging body, as if some shackles were broken. The next moment, golden genetic particles of heaven and earth, as if being summoned, madly poured into the body of Kaimu, the king of the fragrant giants. Outside, golden particles within a radius of billions of miles were rushing towards the territory of the Xiang giants. All ethnic groups in this world were shocked and extremely surprised when they saw this scene. An equally old man saw this scene and said enviously, Breakthrough, who broke through the last shackles? Chapter 295. Breaking the shackles. In Hu Xian's eyes, the body of Kaimu, the king of the fragrance giants, was visibly recovering vitality. And his aura was becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. In just a quarter of an hour, the king of the fragrant giants regained his youthful appearance of 20 years old. Not only that, his originally dark skin also faded away, as if he was reborn, and his whole body became fair and tender, almost perfect. The realm that Hu Xian could not perceive was also soaring. This process sounds slow, but it is actually extremely fast. After about half an hour, everything returned to calm and the king of the Xianggu giants opened his eyes. A terrifying pressure flashed by. Tap 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 tap. Hu Xian was unable to resist and retreated again and again, only stopping at the corner of the wall. Blood was oozing from the corners of his mouth. If it weren't for the terrifying power that the king of the fragrant giants controlled, he would have probably exploded and died. And this power was brought about simply by the king of the incense giants opening his eyes. Every move he made truly carried great power. Hu Xian couldn't even imagine such a terrifying state. I also understand that the king of the incense giants is probably an ancient being who has lived for countless years. Human king, are you okay? The king of the fragrant giant tribe, who had transformed into a peerless beauty like the human race. But still naked, she came to Hu Xian, with her own charm and body fragrance. Hu Xian could not resist it all and fell in love with her directly. He suddenly hugged the king of the giants, kissed, demanded, and then, the king of the fragrant giants cooperated wholeheartedly with a smile on her face. The human king allowed her to break through, which was equivalent to a new life. She believed that everything she had belonged to the human king. Therefore she deliberately did not restrain her charm and body fragrance, which she could freely control, and release them in full. Now the throne of the fragrant giants has been passed to Xia. Xia Xianian is free of all worries. The human king has given her a new life. So she decides that the rest of her life belongs to the human king. Ding! Congratulations to the host for helping the alien heroine Xia Xianian. Due to the duplicate totem, you cannot get the combat power increase reward. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have obtained the first drop of blood of the alien heroine Xia Xianian. Obtained the inherited blood of the incense giants. And obtained a billion times increase in combat power because the host's realm is too low and cannot withstand this combat power increase. The system automatically seals it. Hu Xian, who was busy, was stunned. It's fine that it's the inherited bloodline of the fragrant giants, but the billion-fold increase in combat power is too terrifying. Even if you can't use it now, you can always use it in the future. What shocked him the most was that the first drop of blood for eternity. Didn't it mean that Xia Xianian lived for eternity? And her body was still intact. It's unbelievable. How did she manage to never let men touch her? What realm is Xia Xianian in? Seeing through Hu Xian's thoughts, he explained, don't think about it, the king of our fragrant giants can only be owned by the human king. Otherwise, I would rather stay single for life. And the previous human king didn't think highly of me. So you got the chance. Hu Xian heard this and chuckled. In that case I won't be polite. 10 hours later, the two walked out of the room. Wang Xingyu and the others all looked over. Surrounding him were the masters of the incense giant clan, who, of course, had now become normal human size. Everyone was stunned when they saw the beautiful Xia Xianian. Only a few elders of the fragrance giants recognized him. You are the former king, you didn't die? What, he is the previous king? Does that mean he doesn't have to? The previous king passes on the throne? The entire incense giant tribe was stunned. Xia Xianian explained. Yes, I am the previous king of the fragrant giants. I should have fallen, but with the help of the human king. Not only did I not fall, but I even reached a higher level. Now, the power of the king of the fragrant giants has been passed on to Xia. I will no longer be involved in anything related to the fragrant giants and will only follow the human king. That's great, king, you didn't die. Xia rushed over excitedly and grabbed Xia Xianian's arm and said. Xia Xianian smiled bitterly. Ava, you are the king of the fragrant giants now. You can't do this anymore. I know, but I'm just happy that you're okay. Ding. Husband, congratulations on having two beautiful babies. Wang Xingyu said in a sarcastic tone. Hu Xian smiled awkwardly. Wife, I said this is destined, do you believe it? I believe it. Why wouldn't I believe it? Xia Xianian said on behalf of Hu Xian. Sister, there are definitely more people around our husband. So you have to be mentally prepared. You have to know that even if you are the king of mankind, the future of the human race in the billion universes will be decided by your husband. There are so many excellent women, even if you don't provoke them. There will always be someone who will come to you. So what you, and everyone, including me, can do is to make yourself excellent enough, so that you can have the confidence to fight off those excellent rivals. Hu Xian was overjoyed when he heard this, and thought that Xia Xianian, his long-lived wife, was really a great one. Wives, don't be jealous, I'll try to control myself, it's almost time. We should leave. Former king, are you also going to leave with the human king? Asked an elder of the giant clan. That's right, we are leaving. And you should be prepared, because the war could come at any time. We are always prepared, even though most of the people are women. They are not equipped for war, their strong physiques seem destined to be born for war. Hu Xian took the lead, and a total of 40 heroines followed him away. Hu Xinai seemed so redundant in the crowd. Finally, she mustered up the courage and came to Hu Xian. Hu Xian, I am from the Chan tribe. I noticed that you have a wife from each tribe. Can I be your woman, too? Cicada tribe, Hu Xian muttered, looking confused. Hu Xinai didn't say much, his body changed and he turned into a cicada. Hu Xian understood what was going on. I thought that with genetic evolution, it would not be surprising if the cicadas could also evolve. Well, since you already know my identity as the human king, I can only accept you remember. Don't tell anyone about what we went through. Wu Xinai was extremely excited. Thank you, husband. He hugged Hu Xian and started biting him fiercely. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have bound the alien Cicada clan female protagonist Gu Xinai. And your combat power has increased by 500. This time they flew very far. For 3 full hours the scene in front of them changed. And they were already at the edge of the death desert. Finally it came out, otherwise I would be worried that my husband would capture some strange sisters of some race. Wang Xingyu said in a strange tone. Wife, one day you will understand that although your husband is a playboy, he definitely has his own reasons for finding so many wives of different races. As everyone walked out of the death desert together, Wu Xinai's communication started to ring. After reading it, he said to Hu Xian, honey, it's the military from the upper realm calling. Please answer it. Chapter 297, Take Down. Wu Xinai. Have you walked out of the death desert? The first sentence was asked in shock. Hu Xian's system transmitted a message. Tell the other party that we walked out from the edge. Sir, no, I followed them around the edge of the death desert. Hearing this answer, a familiar voice said, General, I told you they are just showing off. How could they possibly cross the death desert? My husband is this guy Hu Jetta. I guess he went back first and said a lot of bad things about us. Wu Xinai said with disgust. Wu Xinai, what are you talking about? I am just reporting the truth to the general. Who am I? Hu Jetta, do I have the right to speak ill of others? The general said, okay, bring Hu Xian and the others up quickly. The higher-ups want to see them. Good general. The communication was disconnected. Honey, do we need to go up now? Hu Xian looked at everyone and asked. Lies, we are about to go to the upper world, do you have anything else to prepare? Honey, I'll call home and tell them and then I can go to the upper realm. Me too. I'm an orphan, I don't have anything to worry about. Everyone expressed their opinions. Everyone understands that my husband is the king of men. And they also know that the human race is in great trouble and has a heavy responsibility. So even if they are concerned about their families and want to see them, I don't want to waste time, so a video call is enough. A quarter of an hour later, everyone came back one after another. Chen Yuan said, hubby, my parents have returned to the Star Realm Research Institute. They told me to stay with you and not to worry about them. My husband and my family members asked me to work hard and not hold him back, said Zhang Luxian. Zheng Xiaowan said sadly, I transferred all the gold coins I had to my family. They only like gold coins and don't care about me at all. Hearing this, Hu Xian said to Wei Nan, I don't have any gold coins on me now. Only platinum coins, honey. Please transfer 1 million gold coins to Zheng Xiaowan. Okay, husband. Zheng Xiaowan asked in panic, hubby, what are you giving me 1 million gold coins for? Please don't abandon me, I really can't leave you now. Also my family likes gold coins, which I don't like now. Really please, your husband, don't abandon me? Hu Xian rolled his eyes and said, who said I was going to abandon you? This 1 trillion gold coins is for you to transfer to your family. Really? Then I'll transfer the money to them right away. Zheng Xiaowan transferred the money quickly, fearing that Hu Xian would doctor away because of the 1 trillion yuan. Hu Xian looked at the others and asked, are you all ready? If there is no problem, let's go to the upper realm. Honey, we're fine. Okay, let's go to the upper realm. Lu Yun, my dear wife, take out your spaceship and get going. Okay, husband. Everyone boarded Lu Yun's spaceship. Husband, for safety reasons, there is only one star gate from the genetic world to enter Nuyan Star. In Xinghong City, the most powerful city in the genetic world. Yao Hongjing said. Okay, let's go to Xinghong City first. After locking the position, the spacecraft flew to Xinghong City at the fastest speed. Then I had some free time. With nothing to do, Hu Xian looked at the 41 heroines and felt like doing something early. At this time, Sing Xiaowan plucked up the courage to come to him and said shyly, hubby, can you? Is shy to say it. Can I ask what? Hu Xian understood what she meant and asked with a deliberate smile. Honey, I want to. Wang Xingyu just walked to Hu Xian's side. And when she heard this, she said speechless lie, you want to sleep with your husband. Right? Sing Xiaowan was suddenly at a loss. I thought to myself, I'm a girl, this is too shy. Why be shy? Apart from your husband, there is no one else here, Huang Xingyu said as a matter of course. Everyone else looked over. Xiaowan muttered, I haven't even slept with my husband yet. Zheng Xiaowan was afraid that someone would get there first. So she mustered up her courage and said, hubby, can we go to sleep? The last 2 words were spoken in a very small voice. Of course, Hu Xian laughed, picked up Zheng Xiaowan and walked towards the nearest room. Zheng Xiaowan's heart beat faster and she lowered her head. Not daring to look up, she was extremely shy and excited. After walking into the room and closing the door, Hu Xian put her down and looked at her. It has to be admitted that after growth and strengthening, Zheng Xiaowan has undergone earth-shaking changes in both beauty and temperament compared to before. Coupled with her shy and charming look, Hu Xian felt something for her for the first time. Zheng Xiaowan still kept her head down, extremely nervous. Hu Xian approached her slowly, and because of his height, he turned his head and kissed her cherry lips. At this moment, Zheng Xiaowan exploded. Suddenly hugged Hu Xian, like a beast in heat. Constantly exploring, actively. Under the camera, the dress slipped off, revealing the underwear, and two pairs of white jade-like breasts came into being, and then fell at the same time. The bed next to them shook and the quilt flew up. The camera captured two naked bodies entangled together. The quilt fell down, but it was shaking inaudibly, and the sturdy bed creaked from time to time. 2 hours later. Ding ding, the spacecraft has entered the range of Xinghong City and is automatically slowing down. Please confirm the landing site. The screen shows the impact of satellite feedback. As the highest level main city in the genetic world, Xinghong City has reached the extreme level of technology. The video impact alone looks majestic and imposing. This was the first time for Yizu and the others to come to Xinghong City. Simply because it was the center of the continent, the most prosperous city, the only neutral city, and the location of the Alliance's headquarters. It had also become a place that everyone wanted to come to. There are nearly 100 billion intelligent creatures in the entire continent, and Xinghong City can only accommodate 1 billion people after countless expansions. In fact, including the floating population, the population of Xinghong City has long exceeded 10 billion. Therefore, Xinghong City had to implement population control. It became increasingly difficult to enter Xinghong City, and the approval process became increasingly strict. Fortunately, with the presence of Gu Xinai, who was from the upper realm, he was able to directly lock onto the Alliance headquarters spacecraft docking center. At this time, Hu Xian and Zheng Xiaowan finally finished their work and came out. Seeing that everyone was looking at her with a smile, Zheng Xiaowan lowered her head shyly, not daring to look them in the eye. But she felt very proud in her heart. "Honey, Xinghong City is ahead." Gu Xinai walked up to Hu Xian and said, "Well, have you decided on the landing site?" "It's confirmed it, at the Alliance headquarters." Finally everyone could see the majestic, technologically advanced buildings in the distance through the windows. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of Xinghong City. Wow, it's so majestic and magnificent it deserves to be the best main city in our genetic world. Of course not, this is the city where the Alliance's headquarters is located. I'm afraid it can be compared to the upper realm, right? Hearing this, everyone looked at Gu Xinai. The latter shook his head and said, "Xinghong City may not be bad, but it can't compare with the cities in the upper realm. You will know when you go there." Chapter 298, Accident. As a spaceship from the upper realm, it was not subject to any restrictions and flew into Xinghong City in a swagger. Ground and air security forces, report immediately. The Alliance headquarters received the news immediately and made arrangements as quickly as possible. When the spacecraft approached the Alliance headquarters, dozens of small spacecraft came to greet it warmly, all hanging banners. The scene was huge and extremely shocking. The spaceship was greeted by the Alliance spaceship and landed on the Alliance leader's special helipad. The leader's spaceship had already been moved away. Before the spaceship was stable, a large group of people in suits and ties came quickly to greet them. Waiting at the door of the spaceship with respectful eyes, the warehouse door opened, and Hu Xian took the lead and appeared in everyone's sight. "Welcome to the guides from the upper realm, and welcome to the heroes of the genetic world." On the battlefield, the scene of Hu Xian fighting against the alien coalition had already spread in the genetic world. So naturally, Hu Xian was recognized at a glance. However, everyone was shocked to see that Hu Xian was actually walking in front of the guide, and the guide was walking behind him without any complaints. Hu Xian walked out of the spaceship and said, "This is my first time in Xinghong City. When I go to the upper realm, I want to take my wives for a tour. Do you have any objections?" Wives? Subconsciously looking at Gu Xinai. Seeing that Gu Xinai had no objection, it is even more shocking. I thought to myself that Hu Xian was so awesome that he even captured the guy from the upper realm. It took me a while to react. A fat old man said, "No problem. Hero and Master Gidio Shui, if you have any needs, just let us know and we will do our best to meet them. We just want to go out for a stroll by ourselves, so you guys don't have to follow us, so as not to cause any commotion." "Okay, hero, guide, please do as you please." After saying that, he gave a look to an ordinary staff member beside him. The staff member observed the situation and immediately took action. Walked over and said, "Hero, Jian asked me to lead the way for you. Anyone who can work at the Alliance headquarters nowadays must be a good person." Good. Soon, everyone followed Hu Xian through the underground passage and walked out of the Alliance headquarters in a low-key manner. Enter an inner ring full of technology. Intelligent robots serving people can be found everywhere. The guy who led the way introduced, these robots have a comprehensive map of Xinghong City in their minds. No matter where the guests want to go, they can be hired. A QR code on their arm is the paid employment channel. Huaxian nodded and said, since there is a robot leading the way, then you can go back and get busy. We can just hire a robot. Okay, have fun. The staff laughed respectfully, and Huaxian quickly turned on the communicator and scanned the code. Sure enough, a paid hiring option appeared, and it wasn't expensive. Only 10,000 gold coins per hour. Huaxian, who was too poor to have any gold coins, asked the female protagonists, wives, can anyone transfer some gold coins to me? Honey, have you been restricted again? Chen Yuanian asked curiously. Huaxian shook his head and said, no, my balance has been upgraded to platinum coins, so I don't have any gold coins left. Is that so, then? Husband, if you go to the upper realm, won't you become a great and wealthy person again? Huaxian smiled bitterly and said, this time is different. This time, the level will rise a little more each time. So if you want to become a big rich man, you have to keep a low profile and wait a while. They were all his women, and Huaxian did not hide it. Fushinayan and those who didn't know the story listened with curiosity. What kind of great rich man is my husband? Huaxian explained. The people behind me will keep sending me money, and my job is to keep spending money. What kind of power is behind you, husband? Why do you have such a weird mission? Test, they say if you can't even spend money, then you are nothing but a waste. So I often worry about how to spend money. Everyone was speechless. This is the first time I heard that spending money is also a worry. Yao Hongjing transferred 10 billion gold coins to Huaxian. After paying, the robot looked at Huaxian respectfully and said, hello, boss wisdom no, 990,000 is here to serve you. Is there anything I can do for you? The intelligent robot in the image of a beautiful woman looks no different from a real person. Huaxian thought for a moment and asked, can you provide special services? Sure, boss, if you need it, I can book a room right away. If necessary, I can even give birth to a child. The charge is based on the hourly rate. And a pregnancy of 10 months is a bit expensive, the beautiful robot replied. Huaxian smiled, walked over and touched the beautiful robot. It had the feel of a real person and had the same temperature as a real person. Overall, it was no different from a real person. Can you fight? Huaxian asked again. Hello boss, no, 990,000 can fight. But his fighting power is only equivalent to the third stage of the G-Lock. After curiously learning about the intelligent robot for a while, Huaxian said, take us to the most luxurious consumption place in Xinghong City. Okay, boss, please wait a moment. I saw that the intelligent robot actually took out a small spaceship, which was specially used by urban robots and had a shared brain. So this spaceship could only be used by the corresponding intelligent robot. Everyone got on the spaceship and the intelligent robot controlled the takeoff. The real visual experience of the city from the air up close is even more shocking. There are countless aircraft coming and going in the city's buildings. The tallest building in the city is said to have 999 floors, towering into the clouds, and the city relies entirely on oxygen for breathing. Boom! There was a loud noise in the distance, and it turned out that two aircraft collided. Boom boom boom. After the collision, the two private aircraft actually started fighting each other. Various weapons are displayed. Beep, no fighting is allowed within the city. Both sides must stop immediately, or else we will be destroyed. The security robot arrived immediately, sounded the alarm, and locked down both parties. Whoosh! Neither side dared to confront the security robots and fled at the same time. The strange thing is that they all fled in the same direction, which was towards Huaxian and his group. The private aircraft reached such an extreme speed that Wisdom 990 had no time to dodge. Ding ding, danger, automatically eject all passengers. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Huaxian and his companions were all ejected automatically. Boom. With a loud bang, the intelligent robot 990 Jiao, who had no time to dodge, was engulfed in the sea of fire along with his spaceship. Buzz. High in the sky, a safety craft dropped water to put out the fire, like a torrent extinguishing the flames. Huaxian and his companions were flying high in the sky in a panic. Beep, flying is prohibited in this city. Hold your head. Land on the ground and squat, or you will be destroyed. A group of security robots surrounded Huaxian and his team and sounded the alarm. Only the bottom is empty. Damn, is this the high intelligence of Xinghong City? Even a moron wouldn't be so smart, right? Huaxian said, depressed lie. Warning, flying is prohibited in this city. You have one last minute to land on the ground with your head down, or you will be destroyed. Chapter 299, Dark Faction. Boom. Da 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 da. A dark combat mecha suddenly appeared and attacked the security robots surrounding Hu Xin and his men. The next moment, a dark spaceship appeared and opened its door. A man dressed in black shouted at them, "Hurry, get on the spaceship. The Alliance's experts are coming, our hackers can't resist for long." From the tone of voice, you can tell that such a big thing has happened. That only ordinary security patrol robots have arrived. With no more advanced robots or Alliance strongmen appearing. Obviously something went wrong. It turned out that the network was hacked. And the people above probably don't know what happened yet. People near the scene were already stunned by the scene. After they realized what was happening, someone shouted in horror, "Oh my god, they are from the Dark Faction, what are they going to do?" Subconsciously, he looked at Hu Xin and the others. Seeing Hu Xin, someone shouted in surprise, "It's him! The invincible war master on the battlefield, he has come to our Xinghong city." Nonsense, if he wants to go to the upper realm, he must come to our Xinghong city. I see the Dark Faction must have been keeping an eye on him for a long time, waiting for his arrival. The whole place was in an uproar. A man in black suddenly shouted, "Hu Xin, you have performed very well. My master is very satisfied with you. If you go back now, I will confer you the title of Young King." What? The invincible warlord is from the Dark Faction? The whole audience was shocked. Some people were skeptical and unbelieving, while others gradually began to believe it. After all, the Dark Faction made such a big fuss and took such a big risk. Wasn't it just to get Hu Xin away? As a result, more and more people began to believe that Hu Xin was a member of the Dark Faction. Hu Xin frowned and looked at the other party and asked calmly, "You slandered me just to make us follow you? Young King, what do you mean by that? Your undercover work in the Alliance has ended, and the King awaits your return. Please welcome the Young King back." Other people from the Dark Faction also shouted frantically. Such a scene even shook those who did not believe that Hu Xin was a member of the Dark Faction. The other party achieved his goal, opened the warehouse door, and made a gesture of invitation to Hu Xin. "Honey, what should we do?" Huang Xingyu asked curiously. "Let's go and see what kind of organization this so-called Dark Faction is." Hu Xin took the lead and flew towards the Dark Faction's spaceship. Oh my god, the invincible warlord really flew towards the Dark Faction's spaceship. He really is a member of the Dark Faction. Brown Friar. After Hu Xin and his companions boarded the spaceship, the Dark Faction's spaceship rose rapidly, and its high-end technology broke through the energy shield of Xinghong City and sped away. At this time, the network that had been hacked returned to normal, and the top leaders of the Alliance learned about the incident. Everyone was shocked and held an emergency high-level meeting. "Do you think Hu Xin is really a member of the Dark Faction?" the leader asked the audience. Everyone looked at each other, unable to answer. After a while, an old man said, "Alliance leader, I think we can ask the upper realm. After all, the guide Gushinai is with Hu Xin." "Yeah, that makes sense." On the Dark Faction's spaceship, a group of people surrounded Hu Xin and his companions. They were all very arrogant, thinking that Hu Xin and others were like fish on the chopping board, to be slaughtered at their will. "Captain, these girls are prettier than each other. Not as good as us." "Pa." A captain interrupted the guy's next words with a hard slap. Then he angrily scolded, "If you dare to have such thoughts, you will die. The Young King's woman dares to have such thoughts. She is tired of living." "Young King? Captain, do you mean that he will really become our Young King?" "Nonsense, what do you think?" After he finished speaking, he looked at Hu Xin and said respectfully, "Young Prince, these subordinates are ignorant, so don't take it too hard." Hu Xin said coldly, "Since he dares to catch my attention, what's the point of keeping him around except for death? Is it a waste of air?" The guy didn't take it seriously when he heard this, thinking, "We are all on the spaceship, you want me to die? Besides, we haven't arrived at the base yet, and the king hasn't confirmed that you are the Young King." Phew. But then he saw a flash of a knife, and a chill appeared on his neck, and all the strength in his body seemed to be drained away. He slowly lowered his head, wanting to see what was going on. Ding dong. The head rolled down and blood splattered. It was a tragic scene. The advanced genes prevented him from dying so quickly. He stared at the captain with disbelief. Yes, he wanted to speak but didn't have the chance to say it. The other men in black were so frightened when they saw this that their bodies were shaking. The captain looked at the others and said, "The existence of the Young King is second only to the king. The Young King's orders are the king's orders. If anyone dares to offend the Young King again, this will be the end." "Young King, are you satisfied?" "Well, that's right. Now, I order you all to take off the hoods on your heads." "Yes." The captain took the lead and quickly took off his hood. He was a middle-aged man. The others dared not to be negligent and quickly put on their masks. "There are both old and young men and women. Put them all on. Arrange a larger lounge for me, and call me when we reach our destination." "Young King, please." The captain led the way himself. Huaxian and his group entered the lounge. It was a super huge room with beds that could accommodate 50 people. After all, Huaxian had many wives, and the other party had obviously made special arrangements with this in mind. Huaxian opened the communication and checked it with hacker technology. There were many monitoring and eavesdropping devices in the room, but they were all turned off. I thought, this guy is quite sensible. Husband, you are not really the young prince of the Dark Faction, are you? Gu Xinai asked worriedly. The Dark Faction, like the Alien Alliance, is a powerful enemy of the Human Alliance. Huaxian chuckled. Anyway, it's all for the sake of becoming stronger. For the sake of saving the world, darkness and light, justice and evil, as long as they are used properly. Aren't they all effective weapons? Husband, do you mean that you want to take down the Dark Faction and use it for your own benefit? As a god of war on the battlefield, Yao Hongjing was very careful and thought of this. Yes, the Dark Faction seems very strong since they are also members of my human race. Why can't they be used by me? But this is too dangerous. Gu Xinai said worriedly. The more dangerous the better. It proves that the Dark Faction is not weak. Such a sharp blade will be more convenient to use. Seeing Huaxian so confident, everyone had nothing to say. Then I'll be free. Everyone looked at Huaxian, and Huaxian also looked at them. Then he said, wives, if you have nothing to do, come and play games with your husband. Everyone understood what Huaxian meant. They all had the same idea in their minds. But they couldn't face it because they were in the same room with dozens of people watching them. Are you embarrassed? Then I will just have to flip the cards. After saying that, he stretched out his hand and pointed at everyone. Everyone dodged Huaxian's fingers, unable to save their dignity. Ubby, stop making trouble. Huang Xingyu just opened her mouth. Huaxian said with a sly smile, Xingyu, my wife, if you speak up, then it's your turn. Then he pounced on her. Chapter 300. Invincible Battle Lord. An underground base. Huaxian and others were brought here. The spaceship came to a complete stop and there was already a group of people waiting outside. Most of them are young men and women, and they are all very arrogant. I wonder if this invincible warlord in the invincible battlefield will be too weak. A young man holding a big sword said contemptuously. From his expression and tone, everyone could see that he didn't take Huaxian, the so-called invincible warlord, seriously at all. The hatch of the spacecraft opened and Huaxian took the lead and walked out. Oh my god, is this the invincible warlord? He's clearly a gigolo. Seeing Huaxian, someone immediately shouted out. The whole audience burst into laughter. Obviously everyone knows him, Huaxian. Huaxian had a dull expression as he glanced around the room. There was nothing of interest and it seemed boring. Look at those beauties behind him, they are pretty good. They are all curvaceous and beautiful. Ill. After hearing this, Huaxian only said one word. A whole audience was stunned. The team leader at the side said, Young lord, it may not be possible to kill him. This guy is a potential genius and he can be put to good use. The guy also reacted. After laughing crazily, he said, Kill me? Just you? Come on, I'll stand still and watch how you kill me. The next moment, a graceful figure disappeared from Huaxian's side. Phew. The guy who was laughing wildly had no idea. The same goes for others. No one even noticed that someone moved around Huaxian. Suddenly, the guy's laughter stopped, and then his head rolled off. Blood splattering. In an instant, the whole scene became eerily quiet. A long time. Tan Ruxin looked at a young man and asked in surprise. You are Duan Yingjun, you performed very well on the battlefield. I have seen the video files about you. Who are you? Duan Yingjun thought for a while and said in shock. You are the daughter of the Lord of the Central City battlefield. Your name seems to be Tan Ruxin. You were still a little girl back then. I haven't seen you for 10 years. You have grown up. And you are Cao Ying. You were also a heroine on the battlefield. Extremely fierce. Why are you both in the Dark Faction? Cao Ying smiled bitterly and said nothing. Huaxian looked at everyone in the audience and said, Anyone who is not convinced can stand up. I don't accept you. The young man holding a big sword stood up. He continued. Huaxian, aren't you the invincible warrior on the battlefield? Fight me if you dare. Huaxian said contemptuously, You can't even beat any woman around me. What do you have to challenge me? The other party counterattacked. Huaxian, I don't know why these powerful women follow you, but I firmly believe that you are definitely not as powerful as them. If you have the guts, fight me. What good would it be for me to fight you? If you win, you can get the honor of defeating me, the invincible warlord, but if I win, what will you get? Maybe someone will say that I bullied you. Bullshit. I am the strongest of the younger generation in the Dark Faction base. As long as you defeat me, you will gain recognition from other geniuses. A bunch of rubbish, why should I gain their approval? Let a bunch of rubbish approve of me. Do you think there's something wrong with my brain? As soon as these words were spoken, All the geniuses in the audience were extremely angry. They thought that even if we are not as good as you, if we were put in the outside world, we would all be monstrous beings. It is really too much for you to humiliate us like this. Huaxian, stop talking nonsense if you have the guts. Accept Qian Tao's challenge. Don't be a coward. That's right. Don't you think you are very powerful? Then accept Qian Tao's challenge. The whole place was in an uproar. Qian Tao looked at Huaxian with a proud look on his face, thinking that Huaxian's refusal to fight was because he was not strong enough and did not have confidence in himself. Huaxian nodded and said, well, some people are so ignorant as to challenge me, so I will just agree to it with reluctance. However, let me say this first, fists and feet cannot speak. If you kill him with one punch, don't be unwilling. These words were said while looking at Qian Tao. The absconder was furious and roared, stop talking nonsense and attack now. If I die by being beaten to death by you, it will be because I am inferior in skills. After saying that, he rushed directly towards Huaxian, eager to knock him down. Seeing Qian Tao approaching Huaxian, everyone became excited. I watched it intently, afraid of missing the wonderful scene. Bang! With a loud bang, a black shadow flew out. From the direction it flew from, everyone had guessed who it was, but they couldn't believe it. The speed was so fast that their eyes could not keep up. When a residual shadow disappeared from the place, they could see clearly that it was Qian Tao who flew out. Looking at Huaxian, he stood there as if he had not moved. Oh my god, did any of you see how Huaxian made his move? The first person to react asked in horror. I didn't see it. It's so weird. Qian Tao fell to the ground, seriously injured and passed out. Snap snap snap. A round of warm applause came, attracting everyone's attention. Everybody looked over. Greetings, King. Huaxian also looked at their king, who was wearing a black lace long dress and a hat with a veil. She looked ordinary and nothing special. Huaxian was a little surprised that the king of the dark faction was actually a woman. I'm curious about what kind of woman this is. Transparent eyes. Suddenly seeing through everything and seeing that flawless body, Huaxian felt a little moved, but when his eyes fell on the face, he was stunned. A face that looked like it was burnt. Extremely ugly. After a closer look, I found that the ugliness was not caused by burning, but by damage caused by a special energy that could not be cured by ordinary means. The king of the dark faction was shocked when he saw Huaxian staring at his face and his expression changing. It seemed that this guy could see through his veil and see his dignity. Huaxian, can you please move over and talk? The voice sounded like the sound of an immortal. This made Huang Xingyu and the others frown. Looking at Huaxian, he thought that with his playboy mentality, he might want to take the other party down again. Huaxian nodded and said, okay. The king turned and left. Huaxian said to everyone, you guys just walk around. I'll go talk to her. The most powerful person here is only at the ordinary pseudo-god level, so Huaxian doesn't worry about everyone's safety at all. Following the king, we came to the depths of the underground palace, walked into a secret room. Wang stopped and asked without turning his head, Huaxian, what do you think of me? Huaxian was stunned, thought for a moment and replied, she has a graceful figure and a voice as sweet as a fairy. She must be a super beauty. Super beautiful lady. Muttering, Wang was silent for a while and then said, since you say I'm a super beauty, are you willing to marry me? After that, he turned around and looked into Huaxian's eyes. Chapter 301, Dragon Yilin. This. Why you don't want to? There are so many beauties around you since you said I'm a super beauty. Are you afraid of having me? No, it's just, I want to know what race you are. Beautiful lady. Roar. With a roar, Wang changed in front of Huaxian and finally turned into a dragon with the word Wang on its head. You are from the Zhaoyilong clan. Huaxian was a little surprised. Simply because he didn't find any Zhaoyilong characteristics in her. Why are you willing to marry me now? The other party asked while changing back into human form. Huaxian nodded and said, okay, I'll marry you. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have bound the alien Zhaoyilong clan heroine Zhaoyilong Yilin. And your combat power has increased by 500. Zhaoyilong Yilin was stunned. She looked at Huaxian in disbelief, seeing his sincere eyes. She knew he was not joking, so she asked, you seem to have seen through me. Do you really not dislike me? Back then, she ran away from home and joined the dark faction because her boyfriend disliked her. Huaxian nodded seriously and said, I do see through you. Everything about you, don't you worry. I may be able to fix the injury on your face. Really? In fact, she had lived for 3,000 years. Of course it's true. How could your husband lie to you? Only after her husband had used all these methods did Zhaoyilong Yilin feel certain that Huaxian had not deceived her and was really willing to marry her. She reached out and untied the belt around her waist, then gently pushed down her black lace skirt as the skirt slid off. Huaxian could clearly see that Zhao Long Yilan belonged to the Zhao Long clan, with dragon scales all over her body. At this time, the scales squirmed and were actually retracted into the body, revealing the rosy and white skin. Huaxian looked at the place he shouldn't have looked at. It was so perfect and flawless that he couldn't help swallowing his saliva. Zhao Long Yilan slowly took off the hat she was wearing, but her eyes were always fixed on Huaxian's eyes. If there was anything wrong with Huaxian, it would prove that he was deceiving her, and she would kill him without hesitation. Soon, the ugly face came into Huaxian's sight. It's ugly, so ugly that it's beyond description, so ugly that it can make people faint. Zhao Long Yilan was deeply relieved when she saw Huaxian smiling and looking calm. This man was not deceiving her. Huaxian, that's not right. Now you are my Zhao Long Yilan's husband since you don't dislike me and want to marry me. I belong to you now. After saying that, he opened his arms, and apart from the ugly face, his whole body was extremely seductive. Huaxian walked over step by step, hugged him, and felt the softness. Soon the two of them got into the mood, but the dragon Yilan started crying. Because of her ugliness, all creatures that see her face will stay away from her. Because of this, she had been a woman who had never come into contact with a man for 3,000 years. But now she had finally tasted the forbidden fruit and had a man who did not despise her. So she cried with joy. Why are you crying? I have a set of dual cultivation secrets that can heal the injury on your face. Really? Long Ling Yizu looked incredulous. Of course it's true. How could your husband lie to you? But how did you get this scar on your face? Hearing this, Long Ling Yizu thought of the past and instantly became murderous. Noticing that the situation was not right, she put away her murderous sorry and apologized. I'm sorry, husband, I was too angry 2,950 years ago. When I was only 50 years old, I followed the human coalition into the battlefield. I thought. Later, in order to save my teammates, I endured the explosion of the alien creature's body. I was disfigured. I tried every method to heal it but it didn't work. Even in the upper realm. Not only was I not healed, but all living things also despise me, so I fell. Silly girl. Your husband doesn't dislike you, okay? Next your husband is going to use that special dual cultivation method. Is your wife ready? Zhao Long Yilan was extremely expectant. Thank you, husband. The system enhances the heroine Zhao Long Yilan's beauty by 10 billion. Ding, congratulations to the host. The female protagonist Zhao Long Yilan has successfully enhanced her beauty by 10 billion points, consuming 10 billion points of enhancement, and the remaining enhancement points are 2 billion points. Zhao Long Yilan also felt wonderful changes in her body. But she couldn't tell what the changes were. She thought that the special dual cultivation method her husband had mentioned was effective. And she touched her face excitedly. Stunned, Huaxian looked at Zhao Long Yilan's unchanged face and said apologetically, Wife, I'm sorry, I didn't expect that my special method couldn't cure you. But don't worry, I will definitely find a way. Zhao Long Yilan gave up and said with a wry smile, Thank you, husband, as long as you don't despise me. It doesn't matter if I can't recover. Huaxian said seriously. Wife, I Huaxian, swear that I will never dislike you. System, how can we continue to heal the wound on Zhao Long Yilan's face? Ding, this is the poison of the poisonous corrosive beast. The only treatment is to capture the poisonous corrosive beast and let it suck out the toxins from the female body. Thank you, husband, for loving me. Zhao Long Yilan gave up. She had gotten used to enduring for nearly 3,000 years. Now that she had an excellent man who didn't despise her, she was already very satisfied. She cooperated with Huaxian very actively, and the two of them were madly in love. 10 hours later, Huaxian, who had a super strong physique, was exhausted and gasping for breath. Zhao Long Yilan, who also had a strong Zhao Long physique, was so tired that she collapsed on Huaxian. Both of them looked very satisfied. Thank you, my husband. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid I would never experience this kind of happiness in my life. Silly boy, be confident, don't worry, I already know how to cure you. Ah? Zhao Long Yilan was shocked and couldn't believe it. Honey, are you telling the truth? Is there any way to cure me? I was very much looking forward to it. Huaxian said. The wound on your face was caused by a poisonous corrosive beast. We just need to catch a poisonous corrosive beast to suck out the poison from your face. And you will be healed. Hearing this, Zhao Long Yilan smiled bitterly. The poisonous corrosive beast is in a foreign land and only appears occasionally on the battlefield. How can we catch it there? And try your luck on the battlefield. If that doesn't work, when you are strong enough, I will take you to a foreign land. Seeing Huaxian's serious expression, Zhao Long Yilan was extremely moved. Thank you, husband. I thought to myself, although it is a little unrealistic, but you love me and are willing to give everything for me. Huaxian, I, Zhao Long Yilan, will never let you down. Hubby, come with me. The two men put on their clothes and walked out of the secret room. A terrifying hurricane pressing down, covering the entire underground base. And a majestic roar like a dragon was heard. Get out. Chapter 302, Horrible, Too Horrible. The next moment, a tall and burly figure came into sight. As members of the Zhao clan, they have a secret method to feel the blood of their own kind. So the other party came directly. Zhao Yilin looked at the newcomer and angrily asked, "Fifth brother, why are you still looking for me? I, Zhao Yilin, left the Zhao clan 50 years ago." You want to quit the Zhao clan? Unless you don't have the Zhao blood flowing in your body. And you don't have Zhao tendons in your body, follow me now. Extremely powerful. These words made Zhao Yilin even more heartbroken. He shouted in pain, "Go away, Zhao Oju are not welcomed here." Since they were bound to fall out, Zhao Yilin didn't bother to be polite anymore. "Very good, you dare to disrespect your elders today, will teach you a lesson." At the wave of his hand, a palm print condensed with genetic power hit the dragon Yilin. At the genetic realm of the pseudo-god Zhao Yilin at level 55. Beating the pseudo-god Zhao Yilin at level 50 is simply bullying. Wu Xian stood up. Zhao Yilin was shocked. "Hubby, don't be impulsive, he is at least at the 55th level of the pseudo-god Jin realm." "Husband, Zhao Yilin, I think you have completely fallen. You actually called a human your husband today, I must make you wake up." Boom. Wu Xian raised his hand and waved it, destroying the genetic palm print that the dragon Ode was sending over. The dragons Yilin and Ode were both stunned. I didn't expect Hu Xian to be so powerful. Zhao Yilin was especially shocked because she knew Hu Xian was only in his 20s. "You have some strength, boy. Today I will use your life to tell you that there are women of certain races that you cannot touch." Whoosh. The Zhao aliens are good at close combat and also like the feeling of blood boiling. So Zhao Yilin rushed towards Hu Xian. "Scum." Hu Xian said these two words casually when the dragon Ode approached him and was about to attack. He kicked forward with lightning speed. Any realm is the peak of pseudo-god genes. Not to mention the peak of pseudo-god genes with multiple attributes. And there is an additional combat power bonus. Hu Xian's kick is a truly casual kick. After all, he was at the 55th level of the pseudo-god gene realm. And he still saw an afterimage coming at him. That was all. He only had time to look horrified. Bang! There was a loud bang. Click, click, click. All the bones in his body were hit by this seemingly random kick. And I don't know how many bones were broken. It flew thousands of meters away, collapsing and smashing through dozens of buildings before falling to the ground dying. There was no intact part of his body. He struggled to stand up. But his movements were very weak. Zhao Yilin looked at Hu Xian. Shocked and stunned. Hu Xian turned around and looked at her and asked, "What's wrong, wife?" Coming back to her senses, Zhao Yilin asked in shock, "Husband, tell me honestly, what realm are you in?" Hu Xian smiled and replied, "Just barely, the peak of the pseudo-god gene realm." The dragon Yilin was stunned again. This time, it took longer to come back to her senses, seeing that Hu Xian didn't seem to be joking. She asked very suspiciously, "Honey, are you more than 21 years old?" Hu Xian nodded seriously. Zhao Yilin heaved a sigh of relief upon seeing this. Thinking, "So I told you, even if he is a demon, it is impossible for him to reach the peak of pseudo-god realm at the age of 21. Hu Xian then said, "Almost 22 years old." "What?" Zhao Yilin's breathing became rapid. She was almost 22 years old, which meant that she was less than 22 years old. Wasn't she 21 years old? "Husband, are you teasing me on purpose?" Zhao Yilin asked angrily. "I'm not lying to you. I'm almost 22 years old. Well, let's go see this Zhao Ode. I don't know why he wants to see you." Hearing this, Zhao Yilin was also very curious. Fifth brother would never come to visit someone without a reason. So if he came, there must be something. While following Hu Xian all the way, she asked again, "Hubby, are you really only 21 years old and already at the peak of the 60th level of the pseudo-god gene?" This time, the questions were more detailed. "Yes. That's right, it's this realm, and you will be in this realm soon." Zhang Longyi smiled bitterly. "I would like to, but the improvement of genetic realm becomes more and more difficult as time goes by. It took me 800 years to improve from the 49th level of pseudo-god genetic realm to the 50th level. Even so, my realm is far superior to that of the outside world. I am a genius among geniuses. Unlike you, you have already reached the peak of the 60th level of the pseudo-god gene at the age of 21. By the way, husband, you are not the reincarnation of a real god or a more powerful god. Right? I feel that this must be the case, otherwise even if he is a monster, it is impossible for his overlapping energy to be so terrifying." Huaxian said seriously, my husband is not the reincarnation of a god. But my husband is lucky and has encountered many opportunities. Therefore, he has gained a lot of chances because of this. His genetic realm has improved so rapidly. But that requires. While chatting, we arrived at the scene. Everyone from the entire Dark faction was present. Even Huang Xingyu and the others were there, believing that Huaxian would definitely come with the vixen. Everyone in the Dark faction is very proud of the dragon Oder, who came with a lot of aura but was only handsome for 10 seconds before turning into a pile of shit. Obviously they all thought that all this was caused by their king. Seeing the miserable condition of Zhao Long up close, Zhao Long Yilin was even more shocked. You know, although their Zhao Long clan is not a real dragon clan, their physical strength is extremely terrifying. Even the defense of a Yo Zhao Long is as strong as an iron plate. Let alone an adult Zhao Long at level 55 of the pseudo-god gene realm. One can imagine how terrifying the defense was. Even so, he ended up in such a miserable state at Huaxian's hands. When Huang Xingyu and the others saw Zhao Long Yilin and Huaxian walking almost close to them, they knew that they would have another sister. I've gotten used to it and it doesn't matter to me anymore. The Dragonode looked at Huaxian fearfully and asked in a deep voice, human, who are you? I never thought that there would be such a powerful human being by the side of Zhao Long Yilin. And he is her man. I am Zhao Long Yilin's man if you bully her. Isn't that a slap in my face? So I decided to send you off? A terrifying murderous aura was released, and not only the Dragonode, but everyone in the audience was terrified. Especially those guys who went to Xinghong City to kidnap Huaxian. Only then did they realize how terrifying he was. Everyone instantly felt that the death of the guy who offended Huaxian and was killed by the captain with a single blow was natural. He also understood that the one who dealt a heavy blow to the powerful enemy was not Wang, but Huaxian, who was known as the invincible warlord. It's horrible, so horrible. Huaxian walked towards the Dragonode step by step. And with every step he took, his murderous aura became more intense. The air seemed to freeze, and everyone thought that the Dragonode was dead. Chapter 303, No one can bully my people. The Dragonode himself seemed fearless on the surface. But as Huaxian approached, fear grew in his heart. Boom! A powerful lightning gene arc appeared in Huaxian's hand, exuding the aura of Miren, like a divine punishment, making people's legs tremble uncontrollably and want to kneel down involuntarily. Ding dong! In the end, those with weak willpower could not withstand the pressure and knelt down before Huaxian. At that moment, it was as if the sin was released, as if kneeling down could extinguish the wrath of the gods. It was extremely strange. Go to hell. Huaxian was about to take action after saying this. Zhao Long Yilin, I am your fifth brother. Do you really want to watch me get killed? Zhao Long roared at Zhao Long Yilin in fear. Zhao Long Yilin's body trembled violently and she shouted, husband, wait a moment. Only then did Huaxian stop what he was doing. Dragonode, tell me honestly, why are you looking for me? I have already escaped to the underworld, and you still want to disturb me. Zhao Long Yilin breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Huaxian had stopped for the time being. We then said, someone from the Zhao Long clan of Diyuan Star has come down to the mortal world and asked for you by name. Diyuan Star? Muttering, Zhao Long Yilin frowned, and then said angrily, I have never been to Diyuan Star, and I have never had any dealings with any creatures in the upper realm. Why would the Zhao Long tribe of Diyuan Star come to find me by name? This. Seeing the Dragonode hesitate, it was obvious that he was hiding something. Huaxian said, wife, why don't we kill him and go directly to the Muyin Xing Zhao Long clan to ask for clarification? Zhao Long Aode was afraid that Zhao Long Yilin would agree. So he quickly said, fifth sister, don't be like this. Fifth brother will tell you that it was the eldest brother who recommended you to Zhao Long Dili, the Zhao Long clan of Diyuan Star. Ah, big brother. What a good big brother, you really don't treat me as your own. Zhao Long Yilin was extremely disappointed and said angrily, go away. I have nothing to do with the Zhao Long tribe anymore. If anyone bullies me again, don't blame my husband for being rude. When saying this, Zhao Long Yilin was extremely grateful to have met Huaxian, and she also felt relaxed. It was really good to have a strong man to rely on. The Dragonode had all of his bones broken, but even so, in order to survive, he had to endure extreme pain and struggle to leave. After Zhao Long Aode left, Zhao Long Yilin threw herself into Huaxian's arms in front of everyone and said excitedly, thank you, husband. Silly boy, you are my wife. It would be awkward to say thank you. Your business is my business, and no one can bully you. And my wives, if you have any problems, you must tell me. I will never allow my women to suffer even the slightest injustice. Huang Xingyu and the others were deeply moved when they heard this. It's just that husband, our Zhao Long tribe, like the angel tribe. is outside the human alliance and does not participate in the human alliance's affairs. Our Zhaoyilong tribe is very powerful, so you are under a lot of pressure. TSK, why should I be under any pressure? Just don't provoke me. I'll tell you in secret that the people behind me are extremely powerful. Really? Of course it's true. If you don't believe me, ask your sisters. Zhaoyilong Yelin looked at Huang Xingyu and the others, and said shyly, Sisters, my name is Zhaoyilong Yilin, and I am my husband's new wife. We will be a family from now on, so please take care of me. We are all family, no need to be polite. Huang Xingyu acted like a big sister. Although she is not the best among Hu Xian's wives, she is the first to follow Hu Xian, and this is her advantage. Zhaoyilong Yilin also realized that Huang Xingyu was the leader of Hu Xian's harem and kept it in mind. Honey, what should we do next? Huang Xingyu asked Hu Xian. Hu Xian asked Zhaoyilong Yilin again, how many people are there in your dark faction? Do you have any superiors? Zhaoyilong Yilin answered truthfully. The dark faction is a very powerful and mysterious organization. I am the leader of the dark faction that Mu Yanxing selected to develop. I have a total of 130 people here. Only 130 people? Hu Xian muttered in a deathly tone. Zhaoyilong Yilin smiled bitterly and said, Ubbi, our dark faction develops great geniuses. In other words, we take the elite route. We don't ask for a large number of them, but we ask for genius masters who can stand on their own. Hu Xian nodded in understanding and said, if that's the case, and take these people with you, but change their names. Let's call them Ren Wang Wei. Not to mention Zhaoyilong Yilin. Even everyone else was stunned. Why, can't we call you that? Hu Xian asked curiously. It's possible, but the term human king is very sensitive nowadays and it's easy for darkness and evil to target us. Zhaoyilong Yilin explained, hoping that Hu Xian could change his name. It's just right to be targeted. Aren't they all geniuses? Geniuses in the greenhouse are all trash. Only geniuses who have experienced targeting in danger can truly grow and eventually stand on their own. Like me, if I was afraid of death and hid behind my elders, would I have achieved what I have now? Hearing this, Huang Xingyu and the others all understood deeply that along the way, Hu Xian was always on the edge of danger. This ultimately made him as invincible as he is today. Hubby, I understand. Then we'll change our name to Ren Wang Wei. Zhaoyilong medical doctor said firmly, and he looked at his 128 subordinates at the scene, and found that 2 of them had been beheaded by Hu Xian's order. You all heard what my husband said. Geniuses who have not experienced danger cannot grow. From now on, the title of the dark faction will be changed to the Human King Guard. Is there anyone who is unwilling? Everyone looked at Hu Xian. Although his expression was calm, they felt as if he was hiding a knife. How could they dare to say no? We do, they answered in unison. Hu Xian had seen through these people's little thoughts a long time ago, and said coldly, if you are willing, then you are willing. If you are not willing, then you are not willing. Now I will give you a chance. If you are really willing, then stay. If you are not sincere, then leave. I will not make things difficult for anyone. But if you stay here with false sincerity, don't blame me for being rude. Do you really keep your word and it won't be difficult for us if we leave? A young man asked. Boom. A terrifying pressure erupted from Hu Xian's body. This guy was scared to death, thinking that Hu Xian was enraged. His face turned pale, and he roared. Hu Xian shook his head and said, I'm just using my strength to tell you that with my strength, I don't even bother to play tricks with scum like you. If you want to get out now. This guy was the first to escape. He thought that given his situation, he would die whether he ran or not. But there was a glimmer of hope if he ran away. The others watched this guy run away. And when they found that Hu Xian really wasn't in trouble, more people were tempted. As a result, these people fled in droves. Thinking, Human King Guard, who dares to mention the word Human King these days? Chapter 304, Violation. In the end, there were only 3 people left. There were 2 men and 1 woman, one of whom Hu Xian knew. Oh, Qian Tao, one genius who was beaten by him. Looking at his pale face, you can tell that even with treatment, it will be difficult to fully recover from his injuries in a short period of time. Very good, you 3 will be glad for your choice today. Hu Xian, who eavesdropped on their thoughts with practical line reading, understood that the 3 of them wanted to stay sincerely. After saying this, he said to Zhaoyilong Yilin, Wife, the Human King Guard will be handed over to you from now on. Thank you, husband. Thinking that Hu Xian's reuse of her was a sign of Hu Xian's appreciation of her. Husband, I am also a god of war on the battlefield. Why don't you let me be in charge of Ren Wang Wei? Yao Hongjing asked directly. Hubby, me too. Everyone expressed their opinions and wanted to do something for Hu Xian. I'm so hungry, my wives. Don't be anxious, you all have your own responsibilities in the future. The most important thing to do now is to work hard to improve yourself. The stronger the better. Next, it's time for us to leave. Everyone left the underground base on the Dark Faction's spaceship. As soon as the spacecraft left the base, without signal shielding, it was immediately locked onto by military satellites. Honey, we've been targeted by almost all the continent's weapons systems, Zhao Long Yilin said with a wry smile. No problem. Fly directly to Xinghong City. Soon, the spacecraft's screen was controlled by the other side's hackers, and the Alliance's top leaders appeared in the video. Evil Faction U. The leader of the Alliance was about to make a threat, but he was stunned when he found that the leader was Hu Xin. It took him a while to react. Hu Xin, what are you doing? Hu Xin said calmly. Who am I? What can a small dark faction do to me? Get ready, we are about to report to the upper realm. Yes. It was obvious that Hu Xin was so powerful that the Alliance leader did not dare to offend him and quickly agreed. First, he ordered the lock on Hu Xin and his spaceship to be lifted, and then he arranged everything. I have some free time. Hu Xin looked at everyone with a smile. Wang Xingyu said. Abi, can't you be more serious? You're always thinking about those things. Hu Xin grinned. I want to be serious too, but who told me that I have so many beautiful wives? If not now, when will I enjoy them? After saying that, he carried Huang Xingyu on his back and left. Bad husband. So many people are watching. A few hours later, the spaceship arrived at Xinghong City. The military had obviously received the order, and the Dark Faction's spaceship flew into the city in a swagger and landed directly at the leader's private airport. A group of senior executives had been waiting for a long time. Hu Xin walked out of the spaceship hugging both sides. There was also a large group of stunning beauties surrounding him, making the top leaders of the Alliance extremely envious. Invincible Warlord, the Dark Faction. The Dark Faction in the genetic world no longer exists. But some people still escaped if they don't mess around and are willing to turn over a new leaf. Give them a chance if they continue to do evil, kill them. Yes. Invincible Warlord, we have prepared the dinner. You see. Forget it, we have wasted too much time. It's time to report to the upper realm. After saying that, he took the lead and walked towards Gu Xinai's spaceship. Then Gu Xinai controlled the spacecraft to fly to the cross-space super teleportation array. The layout of this teleportation array is extremely complex, consumes a lot of energy, and is very time-consuming to build. Such teleportation arrays are only built in stable areas that will not be destroyed. The spaceship flew unimpeded into the huge teleportation array. Immediately, the entire continent was broadcast live. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, a dazzling white light completely enveloped the spaceship. After a violent space shake, there was nothing left on the spot. Are you going to the upper realm now? Yes, from now on. It will soar to the sky. Countless people sighed with envy as they watched the spaceship of the guy from the upper realm leave. Muyan Xingwanzheng City, military base. The super huge teleportation formation lit up with a dazzling halo. The soldiers guarding the formation immediately understood that they were being teleported by an interstellar spacecraft. He immediately checked the transmission record nearby and found out that it was the guide spacecraft from the genetic world returning, so he quickly contacted his superiors. After a few seconds, the light disappeared and the spaceship appeared in the teleportation array. Hu Xin took the lead and walked out. Is this guy the genius from the lower world? He's so arrogant that he actually walks ahead of the guide. When they saw that the person coming out was not the guide, the soldiers looked at the house with cold eyes. Gu Xinai hurried out to avoid any misunderstanding. Guide, your superiors have ordered you to take them there and report immediately. Okay, I got it. Hubby, let's go. What? The soldiers were dumbfounded. One person asked in disbelief. Guide, did you call him the wrong name just now? You actually called him husband? Gu Xinai said seriously. Why, is it not possible? After saying that, he took Hu Xin's arm and left. The soldiers were stunned when they saw beautiful women coming out of the spaceship one after another. Then he reacted and shouted, wait! Everyone stopped. A soldier said to Gu Xinai solemnly, Guide, the number of people coming from the lower world has been adjusted from 3 to 10. But how many people have you brought now, 45? And immediately called his superior. The phone was connected. What's going on? Is the guide back? Didn't I ask you to notify her to come see me immediately? The superior shouted angrily. Sir, it was the guide who violated the rules. After the adjustment, the quota for people from the lower realms was 10. But the guide brought 45 people. What? The commander was shocked and angry. Then shouted angrily, very good, take them to the first training ground for me. Yes, sir. After hanging up the phone, the soldier said to Gu Xinai, Guide, you heard it all, the first training ground invites you. Gu Xinai said to Hu Xin, Hubby, let's go to the training ground first. Okay? Okay, let's go take a look at how the soldiers in this military district are trained. The soldier heard this and said proudly, Although our military is not the most powerful military in Muyuanxing, it is definitely not comparable to the military in your lower world. Don't be scared later. All the way to the first training ground. Judgment, Consumption Task Countdown, 605,958. As the system counted down, Huaxian remembered that he had a consumption task. He took out 4 platinum coins and handed them to Zhu Shaikan, saying, "Wife, this is my gift to you. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have consumed 4 platinum coins and received an evolution gene pill as a reward. Ding, new mission, completed within 36 hours and consume 5 platinum coins. If the mission fails, the host's highest gene realm will be deducted by 1 level. If the mission is completed, the reward is 1 evolution gene pill." When the soldier saw Huaxian take out 4 platinum coins as a gift, he sneered. And he looked at the beautiful Zhu Shaikan and said distressed, "Beauty, why are you still following a man who wants 4 platinum coins as a betrothal gift? Be my woman, and I will give you 100,000 platinum coins as a betrothal gift." Chapter 305 Traitor. "I'm sorry, even if my husband doesn't give me anything, I'm willing to follow him." Zhu Shaikan put away the 4 platinum coins, treated them as treasures and said to the soldier. The soldier's expression suddenly turned ugly, and he said angrily, "Stupid woman." Huaxian frowned. "You'd better keep your mouth clean, otherwise." "What else? Do you want to hit me again?" the soldier said in a tone of "hit me if you dare." Huaxian smiled, but it was just a cold smile. "You want to be beaten, right? And I'll grant your wish." He disappeared from the spot in an instant. And the next moment, there were bang-bang sounds at the scene. It didn't last long when it stopped. The soldier had curled up into a ball. His bones broken, but his life was not in danger. He looked extremely miserable. The soldiers guarding nearby finally reacted and their expressions changed drastically. The soldiers shouted loudly, "Rebellion, someone is rebelling." This place was very close to the first training ground. And suddenly a large number of troops rushed over. The soldiers on duty nearby also rushed to the scene as soon as possible. Soon, Huaxian and his men were surrounded. Various technological weapons are aimed at them. And they will be fired at if they dare to make trouble. In the distance there are tall and mighty combat mechas, all of which have entered combat status. After a while, the highest military commander arrived. He was an old man with gray hair. When he saw the serious scene, his brows were furrowed and he was very angry. "What's going on?" he asked sternly. "Sir, they are from the lower world. And they actually attacked our military soldiers. Look how miserable this soldier is." A junior officer who was aware of the scene reported angrily. The old man glared at Huaxian and the others. Noticing Gu Xinai, he asked, in a deep voice, "What's going on? Didn't I tell you to bring 10 people? Why did you bring 45 people? And you even injured the soldiers. Do you really want to rebel?" Gu Xinai hurriedly explained. "Sir, they are all Huaxian's wives, and the other 3 are also Huaxian's capable subordinates. Each of them is a genius, so it is really difficult to choose. So I have to bring them all up and let you decide." As for injuring the soldier, he deserved to be beaten. He knew that these women were Huaxian's wives. But he still planned to use 10,000 platinum coins to snatch Huaxian's wives away. After being stopped by Huaxian, he not only did not repent, but also made wild and provocative remarks, which is why he was beaten. Besides, as a soldier in the military, he was beaten so badly. Most likely because he didn't train hard enough, so he was easily beaten by the genius from the lower world. The last sentence made all the soldiers present look very ugly. A general said, "You are just a mere guide. Who gave you the courage to say such arrogant words? You said they are very powerful, right? Well, let's go to the training ground and practice." Knowing everyone's strength, Gu Xinai was not afraid at all. He looked at the old man and said, "Master, what do you think?" The old man frowned and thought for a while before saying, "Well, if they are really as evil as you said, I can forgive you for your violation this time. If not, then I will definitely punish you severely." After saying that, he walked towards training cabin No. 1. The others hurried to follow. However, the looks those soldiers gave Huaxian and his companions were very unfriendly. Especially the looks they gave Huaxian, as if they wanted to eat him. I thought it was too much for one person to monopolize so many beautiful women. As for the disabled soldier, he was taken away by the medical staff. When we arrived at training cabin No. 1, we looked around and saw that it was so huge that we couldn't see the editor. This place is divided into countless sections to train different types of soldiers. Recruit training ground. There's no one here. Apparently, no new recruits have been recruited recently. After both sides took their positions, a soldier said impatiently, "General, let me go meet them." "Okay, go ahead." After making the report and getting approval, the soldier excitedly walked to the center of the training ground, looked at Huaxian with contempt and said, "You, come up." I thought to myself, if I defeat you, the leader, won't the other girls worship me? Duan Yingjun, one of the three Wang Wei, stepped out and said, Wang, let me deal with him. Wu Xian nodded, okay? Duan Yingjun walked quickly to the center and looked at the soldier. The soldier said disaffectedly, go back, you scumbag. You are not qualified to fight me. Duan Yingjun was not angry despite being insulted. Instead, he looked at the other officer and asked, can we start now? Seeing this, the military leaders all looked at Duan Yingjun differently. This boy is not afraid of humiliation if he has good talent and strength. He is a good candidate, by general praise. Although the others didn't say anything, they also agreed with this. The battle begins. The soldier with the rank of battalion captain came out and shouted. The soldier continued arrogantly, boy, it's not too late for you to get out of here and avoid being beaten. Boom! Duan Yingjun didn't waste any time, he just exploded and attacked with all his strength. This is the result of the Dark Faction's training. When a lion fights a rabbit, it will use all its strength and will never give the enemy a chance to react. Bang! There was a loud bang, and the explosive force and speed were too fast. A soldier, who underestimated the enemy, was knocked away before he could react. I just felt my internal organs churning. Puff. He spat out a large mouthful of blood and felt extremely uncomfortable. Duan Yingjun pursued the victory. The soldier was extremely unwilling to see the enemy coming again. So he burst out with all his strength to try to defend himself. It's a pity that he was seriously injured and in the air. So he couldn't concentrate on his attack. Bang, bang.